The sky stretches wide above the city, a canvas of blue and white. The Tianshui capital sprawls below, a maze of rooftops and bustling streets. Li Yunxiao recalls that his former pupil, Yang Di, is here, now a master alchemist. He remembers the statue Yang Di had made for him, a testament to his devotion. 15 years later, Gu Feiyang is reborn as Li Yunxiao. Looking at his own statue, Li Yunxiao feels a bit sentimental. The Tianshui capital alchemist tower looms in the distance. This is the place. Li Yunxiao reflects on his current body, calling it a natural-born trash constitution. It is too weak. He recalls being the third strongest martial sovereign in his previous life. He needs to find a way to recover his strength. Li Yunxiao decides to find Yang Di first and properly fix his trash body. If it works out, it will only take a few years. He thinks that with the experience and cultivation of both his lives, he can definitely reach for a higher level in this life. Li Yunxiao declares that he shall reign at the pinnacle of this world. A chibi figure clasps her hands, offering thanks to everyone. Other chibi figures offer their support to the ancient sovereign of eternity. The man points to the book, stating that Lord Yang Di's book mentions 36 methods. The woman with red hair demands to know what he just said. The man thinks to himself about Yang Di and how he dared to forget the 12 methods that Gu Feiyang invented. It is said that the martial sovereign Gu Feiyang was the third highest ranked martial artist on the Tianwu continent. The woman wonders how he knows of those methods. She recalls that he was also a top-tier rank 9 alchemist, and indeed invented 12 additional refining methods. One of the people at the table asks what is in the textbook. Another person explains that these 12 methods are completely beyond the grasp of the average person, so Lord Yang Di didn't include them when he wrote his book. The woman explains that sky crystal sand is of the water element, so it can't be used in a refinement centered around fire elements. The woman asks how one eliminates the negative effects of the sky crystal sand when fusing red copper and karmit. The man says to simply treat the sand as an impurity and use the refinement essence to remove it. The woman exclaims that she understands. The woman's eyes widen behind her glasses, realization dawning. Professor Luo's face is contorted with anger as she shouts at Li Yunxiao. She demands he attend her next class. The students whisper amongst themselves, wondering if Professor Luo was just asking Li Yunxiao for advice. He smirks, thinking to himself that he doesn't have to attend her classes anymore. Li Yunxiao walks away from the other students, leaving them in awe. The other students wonder what's up with Yunji, questioning if he suddenly got smart. Another student yells, wondering what's going on. They ask if Li Yunxiao is actually an alchemy genius. Li Yunxiao looks off to the side, surprised that Yang Di, his stupid pupil, happens to be a master alchemist. He looks at the statue, thinking that Yang Di probably had it sculpted for him, how devout of him. Li Yunxiao is feeling a bit sentimental looking at his own statue. This is the place, the Tianshui capital alchemist tower. Li Yunxiao thinks that unfortunately, this body of his is too weak, and he hasn't even opened his meridians when he is already this old. He reflects on his previous life, remembering he was still the third strongest martial sovereign. Li Yunxiao ascends the steps towards the Alchemist Association, Tianshui branch. He resolves to find Yang Di and properly fix his current, inferior body. He believes that with the experience and cultivation of both his lives, he can definitely reach a higher level in this life. Li Yunxiao looks up, a fierce determination etched on his face. He vows to reign at the pinnacle of this world. The inscription on the stone tablet details the state of his meridians, revealing they are completely dried up. The only solution is to find Yang Di and have him open them. Li Yunxiao resolves to recover his strength on his own, a determined glint in his purple eyes. Inside the Alchemist Association, Lu Yao, the Tianshui Alchemist Association receptionist, greets him with a polite inquiry. Li Yunxiao asks if Yang Di is still there, but Lu Yao seems confused by the question. She asks if he means the former chairman, Lord Yang Di. Lu Yao confirms that Yang Di is no longer there, explaining that it has been 20 years since he last worked there as the chairman. She notes that it is troublesome, as he was going to have Yang Di make some pills for his breakthrough. Li Yunxiao realizes he will have to find a way to open up his dried-up meridians by himself. He recalls his past glory as Gu Feiyang, revered across the Tianwu continent. He remembers his achievements in martial arts, standing at the pinnacle of the ring. He was granted the title of Vanquisher Martial Sovereign and ranked among the top experts of the Tianwu continent. Now he has fallen to a trash with clogged meridians. The former sovereign knows that this body is already 15 years old. If he doesn't clear up the meridians as soon as possible, he'll have a much harder time regaining his peak strength. Meanwhile, Lu Yao offers to write down a list of herbs for him to find. She insists that opening up his meridians is the most crucial thing to do right now, and asks him to go ahead. Lu Yao is interrupted by a voice, as someone off-panel demands to know who she is talking to. The speaker is Jian Rong, a Tianshui Alchemist Association alchemist. He is approached by Lu Yao, who explains that the man was just asking about materials. Jian Rong offers to take a look, but his expression darkens. He is a rank 1 alchemist. Examining a prescription, Jian-rong scoffs, declaring it nonsense. He seems annoyed by the request. Elsewhere, Li Yunxiao stands before a shadowy figure. The figure claims any prescriptions written are treated as priceless artifacts, yet were thrown away by a rank 1 alchemist. Jian-rong greets someone off-panel, calling them Roger. He bows respectfully. Jian-rong tells Liu Yao that she should be at a place kids should be at. He tells her to piss off. Turning to Li Yunxiao, Jian-rong asks if he is Jia-rong, noting it hasn't been 7 days since he became an alchemist. Jian-rong asks if Li Yunxiao really became an alchemist, reminding him to call him Lord. Jian-rong questions what Li Yunxiao is implying. He notes that Li Yunxiao's fingers have taken on a dark gray hue and are showing signs of peeling, likely due to exposure to Yin Windstone. Jian-rong continues, stating that Li Yunxiao's goal for using the stone was probably to improve his fusion ability before the alchemist exam. He also smells a faint scent of blood flame orchid. Li Yunxiao sniffs the air, noting the smell of tiger sulfur stone as well. He realizes that Jian-rong's alchemist exam was to forge a Xian weapon with tiger. Jian-rong's eyes widen, a bead of sweat trickling down his temple. He wonders how Li Yunxiao managed to use the sulfur stone. From above, Jian-rong speaks to Li Yunxiao, telling him that he has no idea of the consequences of what he did. Jian-rong explains that the blood flame orchid has side effects just as severe as the Yin Windstone. He asks if his Mei Chong, Tian Tu, and Zhong Yuan all feel extremely comfortable at noon every day. Li Yunxiao looks up at Jian-rong, who says it's a shame that a talented alchemist like him would have to chop off his right hand and destroy his dantian in order to stay alive. Jian-rong's eyes narrow as he says that Li Yunxiao dares to try to scare and intimidate him. He then says he was going to teach him a solution, but never mind. He guesses. Jian-rong grabs Li Yunxiao, demanding that he tell him the solution right now, his expression intense. Jian-rong stares intently at Li Yunxiao, awaiting his response. Li Yunxiao's eyes glow with an inner power, his expression unreadable. Jian-rong gasps, noting the imposing and piercing aura and the look in Li Yunxiao's eyes. He wonders how a teenage brat like him can be so. Jian-rong bows deeply, begging Li Yunxiao to please tell him the solution. The surrounding alchemists are shocked to see Jian-rong bowing to such a young kid. Meanwhile, Li Yunxiao wonders where his material checklist went. Jian-rong exclaims that he will get it for him, and quickly retrieves Li Yunxiao's material checklist. The onlookers are shocked, their faces etched with disbelief and confusion. What could be causing such a stir? Li Yunxiao clenches the crumpled paper in his hands, his expression unreadable. The air crackles with unspoken tension. He demands 10 batches of every item on the list, his voice sharp and commanding. He instructs the recipient to find him at the Jialan Academy. A figure with long blue hair appears, his gaze intense as he speaks a cryptic warning. Remember, the crumpled paper lies discarded on the ground, revealing a bold declaration. My name is Li Yunxiao. Li Yunxiao's piercing gaze conveys a harsh truth. Respect is not freely given. He declares that someone has lost his respect from the start. Before the spectral tiger, a figure stands, seemingly unfazed by the immense power before him. Elsewhere, a man's eyes widen in shock, his expression a mask of disbelief and dawning horror. The man states that his right hand can only last 3 days at most. He demands results, threatening to abandon alchemy if he doesn't get what he wants. His face contorted with desperation, the man exclaims that he has never even heard of half of the ingredients needed to save his life. He demands proof that he is not being lied to. A voice assures him that he is smart and trusted to find a way. A temporary medicine can be made from specific ingredients to alleviate the pain and save his hand for 2 more days. The man, his arm outstretched, pleads for someone to come back to him alive. A crowd murmurs, their faces a mix of shock and concern. One wonders why he felt such paralyzing fear before someone who is neither a martial artist nor an alchemist. The man's eyes narrow, his face a mask of grim determination as he calls out the name, Li Yunxiao. His face contorted in rage, the man vowed to make someone pay. Inside a room lined with bookshelves, a man sits at a desk as another asks about a youngster. Liang Wenyu, a rank 2 alchemist, confirms that the youngster requested spirit crane roots and white phoenix dragon lotuses. The woman learns that phoenix dragon lotuses are used for the strength improvement of martial warriors, and asks what else was on the prescription. Liang Wenyu, seated at his desk, is asked if the youngster left any contact details or his name, but the answer is none. The boy left such a deep impression on Lord Liang, a girl thinks, wondering who on earth he is. Liang Wenyu examines a document, noting that there are a few herbs listed that are unknown to him, but the combination is certainly mysterious. It seems that he won't be able to figure out their relationships in a short time. Liang Wenyu thinks, ordering his subordinate to keep the youngster there by all means. Meanwhile, those herbs might be too difficult for Jian-rong to find. Li Yunxiao thinks, walking down Tianshui Street. He decides to look at what Li Yunxiao has in his storage ring, his hand glowing as he activates it. Inside the ring, a collection of items floats in a swirling vortex of energy as he wonders what all this junk is. He spots a sword and wonders if it is an aphrodisiac. He examines the black iron sword within his storage ring, noting its weight. Li Yunxiao admits he misses his own sword, the Star Piercer, and wonders where it is. The sword hums with a faint, ethereal glow as he grips its hilt. The metal seems to respond to his touch, eager for the coming battle. He slings the black iron sword across his back. Li Yunxiao resolves to use it until he can unlock his 7 chakras. Meanwhile, the Jialan Academy school gate stands tall, a testament to the institution's long history and prestige. Students bustle about, eager to begin their training. He walks along the path, lost in thought. Li Yunxiao decides he will craft a weapon for himself after he's condensed his yuanqi. The path stretches before him, leading deeper into the academy grounds. The air crackles with unseen energy, a testament to the powerful cultivators who reside within. He continues his walk, unaware of the figures trailing him. The academy's training grounds loom in the distance, a place of both triumph and tribulation. Du Feng remarks that Li Yunxiao is drawing quite the attention today. Luo Jie stands beside him, a smirk playing on his lips. Li Yunxiao stops, his expression hardening. He glares in the direction of the voices, his eyes narrowed with suspicion. Hanbai and Chunjin observe Du Feng and Luo Jie. Hanbai wonders what they are doing to Yunji, noting they are 2 of Lan Fei's dogs. A sudden burst of energy erupts as someone attacks. The attacker declares that Boss Lan told him to check things out. Someone shouts that the attacker is going overboard. The situation escalates, threatening to spiral out of control. He descends upon Du Feng, energy crackling around his descending foot. The supporting fighter clutches his arm, pain etched across his face. Hanbai, already having opened 4 chakras, sprints away with another student. He is told that he has already opened 4 chakras. Hanbai scoffs at the idea of only having 4 chakras open. He and the other student are viewed from a low angle, emphasizing their position above the fray. Hanbai is suddenly engulfed in a blinding light. His attacker questions if he is being too cocky. Du Feng cries out in pain, clutching his arm. He exclaims that it is his arm that is injured. The scene widens to show the academy grounds. The huge difference between having 4 and 5 chakras opened is mentioned. Li Yunxiao tells the pair to get lost. He wonders how they plan to make him get lost, and says he will see who they are. A woman with blue hair and a crescent moon ornament declares that no one dares to bully Li Yunxiao. Meanwhile, the princess of Tianshui, Qin Ruxue, is introduced. She seems annoyed that she's not more popular. Du Feng tells Chunjin that they have to give face to the princess. He is referring to Qin Ruxue. Chunjin asks if she's going to pack up and leave after beating up his friends. He is looking back at Qin Ruxue. Chunjin remarks that it looks like the trash has some objections. He is still looking back at Qin Ruxue. A group observes the unfolding battle, eager to witness the disparity in power. One of the spectators calls out to protagonist Li Yunxiao, his expression unreadable. Nearby, a man with bandaged hands chuckles, anticipating the coming clash. Another man smiles widely, his hands open as if welcoming a spectacle. Suddenly, a figure plummets downwards, surrounded by swirling energy. The crowd erupts, shouting Li Yunxiao's name as the battle intensifies. The sound of impact echoes through the air. Bam! A man's face contorts in shock, while others behind him look on in fear. Protagonist Li Yunxiao delivers a swift kick, his movements precise and powerful. A close-up reveals a person's anguished expression, their mouth agape as birds flutter around them, a visual representation of their pain. Leaning against a wall, a figure expresses frustration, contemplating drastic measures in the face of perceived weakness. A lone figure stands, staff in hand, as the sound of wind echoes around him. Another man lies prone on the ground, seemingly defeated. One of the onlookers points, declaring that Du Feng ran right into the attack. Another calls it bullshit. Another man observes that it looked like Du Feng really ran himself into it, calling it a rare and unheard of sight. A man with a goatee finds it strange, stating that there's no way Du Feng would get knocked down by just chance. A figure is surrounded by swirling energy, declaring that no matter how he tries to explain himself, he's in for a bad time. The crowd observes that the brother doesn't have a single open chakra, wondering if he's overestimating himself. Another notes his strength, believing him to be an advanced martial apprentice. A flurry of attacks is unleashed, accompanied by the declaration that someone's manhood will end today. The attack connects, as the attacker vows to avenge Du Feng. A woman cries out, urging Li Yunxiao to flee with haste. But Li Yunxiao stands his ground, hefting his massive blade. Power radiates from him as he prepares to strike. Onlookers watch with wide eyes, stunned by the display. A fist, tightly wrapped, is poised for impact. The man's face contorts in a grimace of pain. He cries out as blood splatters from his injured hand. The bandaged fist connects with brutal force. His face is a mask of agony and disbelief. The man collapses, defeated, as Li Yunxiao gives a thumbs up. The crowd murmurs, stunned by the swift defeat. Whispers spread through the crowd, questioning Luo Jie's judgment and skill. One spectator believes the swordsman is the problem. Another saw Luo Jie aiming for the sword's edge with his fist. Mfing, Li Yunxiao leans on his massive sword. He thinks to himself that if he can't handle these apprentice punks, he might as well smash his head into a wall. Standing over the fallen Luo Jie, he declares that attacking his friends will have grave consequences. The air crackles with energy. Luo Jie, prone on the ground, weakly begs and pleads, but it is no use. He is defeated. With a resounding thud, Luo Jie is sent flying backward from the force of the blow. He cries out in pain. Li Yunxiao swings his sword with incredible speed and power. The air itself seems to crackle with the force of the blow. Luo Jie is thrown violently into a pile of rocks, the impact creating a cloud of dust and debris. He screams in agony. The camera focuses on the point of impact as Luo Jie slams into the ground. The sound of the collision echoes through the air. The onlookers are shocked by the display of power. One admits that his crotch just tensed up. Two figures approach Li Yunxiao, one suggesting that his meridians have been unclogged and his chakras opened. He tells him to get lost. Li Yunxiao stands between the two figures, thinking that if only it were that easy. But those two guys. One of the figures says that the others ran into Li Yunxiao themselves. Another jokes that you could say that. A woman looks up, her expression a mix of shock and disbelief. Are you really Li Yunxiao? She asks, the question hanging in the air. Another man's face is tight with anger. He warns, if they don't keep their mouths shut about this. Below, a sword is swung with great force. The blade connects with a resounding clang, the force of the blow sending vibrations through the air. The metallic echo hangs heavy. A man smiles, making a cutting gesture with his fingers. His expression is one of smug satisfaction. The woman from before is now visibly enraged. She shouts, how vulgar, acting like nothing happened after causing such a ruckus. He's pissing me off. Three figures stand together, discussing the situation. One says they'll die faster than if they've offended the Li family. Another adds, the academy. A man's face is contorted in anger as he says, the academy would turn a blind eye. A woman asks, you mean Lan Fei? A man with purple hair declares, that's right. Everyone knows Du Feng is Lan Fei's lackey. The group continues their discussion, and Lan Fei has already opened 7 chakras. One says he's close to condensing his yuan qi and breaking into the warrior realm. Meanwhile, a lone figure stands before a large, ornate building. The structure exudes an aura of ancient power and authority. Inside, the same figure stands in a spacious room. He thinks to himself, Li Yunxiao hasn't unclogged his meridians yet. He's not even a martial apprentice. His eyes glow with an intense light. He resolves this body is way too weak. I must somehow strengthen myself, even if I haven't unclogged my meridians. The tyrant body tempering technique is in full effect. A reporter shoves a microphone forward, asking if they gained weight over vacation. The reporter continues her line of questioning, but one of the interviewees refuses to answer. The reporter watches as a girl admires her reflection in the mirror, commenting on how realistic it looks. The girl in the mirror is shocked by the reporter's question about gaining weight over the vacation. Du Feng, having awakened a special hobby, stands before the reporter. The girl yells to leave the tape behind as she runs away from the reporter. Tianwu once held a martial conference to rank the 10 strongest martial artists. They were named the 10 martial sovereigns and represented the apex of the martial society in Tianwu. Among those 10 sovereigns, the strongest one was given the title Tyrant Martial Sovereign. A.O. Changkong. And this tyrant body tempering technique was his signature technique, which was acquired by Gu Feiyang, Li Yunxiao's past self, by chance. The refining technique that conquers everything beneath the heavens. He gained the cultivation method in his previous life, but died before he could cultivate this technique. This is the perfect chance to start. Whoosh. He braces himself, hands flat on the ground. Yuah. Crack. 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 Ah. Thud. He grits his teeth, the pain almost unbearable as he thinks aloud. The technique is tearing him apart. Struggling to rise, Li Yunxiao acknowledges the difficulty of the tyrant body tempering technique. Even without opening his chakras, he believes it will bring him to the level of the martial sovereigns. His face contorts with effort, sweat beading on his brow as he pushes through the agony. He remembers his past glory, ranked 3rd among the 10 martial sovereigns. Talent, courage, determination. He possesses them all. Rising to his feet, Li Yunxiao announces the first style of the tyrant body tempering technique. The air crackles with energy as he unleashes the lunar sun. A surge of power slams into him, the force of the technique overwhelming his body. The impact sends him flying, crashing against the hard stone of the training room. Blood splatters as he coughs, the pain searing through his body. He kneels, struggling to breathe, the taste of blood filling his mouth. Despite the agony, Li Yunxiao's eyes burn with defiance. He vows to surpass the tyrant. Slamming his fist against the ground, he steels himself to continue. The sky is bright, illuminated by the lunar sun. Li Yunxiao reflects on the gravity chambers and their purpose. He recalls his past, when he was just like the other apprentices. The apprentices train ceaselessly, advancing on the path of the strong. They hold their goals firmly in their hearts. Li Yunxiao observes that those who come here voluntarily are mostly apprentices from poor families. Considering his body, Li Yunxiao decides to start with the basic tenfold gravity chamber. Activating the teleportation array, Li Yunxiao prepares to enter the tenfold gravity training hall. The teleportation array activates, enveloping the area in a surge of blue energy. Inside the chamber, Li Yunxiao struggles against the crushing gravity. He grits his teeth, acknowledging the burden of even tenfold gravity. He is thankfully prepared mentally. Emerging from the tenfold gravity training hall, Li Yunxiao walks down the long corridor. He decides to take a quick scan with his divine sense, his eyes glowing with power. The scan reveals a room, number 013, that looks like it will be vacant soon. He walks down the hallway, the numbered doors lining the corridor. Li Yunxiao thinks to himself, he needs to grasp the lunar sun style as soon as possible. So that his body can endure it, he'll use medications to unclog his meridians. The sound of his footsteps echo in the empty hallway. He pauses, hearing a voice. A man approaches, calling out to him. He seems to want something. Nearby, a group discusses the recent chamber exit. They wonder how someone got it taken by that punk. They also note that he doesn't seem to have any yuan-chi flow. Li Yunxiao thinks to himself, wondering how these newbies could understand the greatness of his divine sense. He continues walking, unfazed by their comments. Suddenly, a hand slams against the wall, stopping him. "Little bro," a voice calls out, filled with a threatening tone. Yu Hajung, a peak-level martial apprentice with 7 open chakras, tells him that he should let him have this room. He leans in close, trying to intimidate him. Looking down at you, he coldly replies, "I'll let you have these nuts. Piss off." His eyes narrow with disdain. Yu Hajung, taken aback, states that he must be new here. He demands that he give him the room today, adding that he can use his name if anything happens. A close-up reveals Li Yunxiao's face contorted with anger. His eyes burn with a fierce intensity, promising retribution. Yu's face is filled with shock as he hears the booming laughter. "Ha ha, you're quite brave," the laughter seems to say. Pointing a finger, Li Yunxiao declares that today, he shall teach you some of the rules a newbie should follow. His shadow looms large. The arrogant senior is getting trashed, as the fight intensifies with a resounding bang. The woman considers what she wants in a future husband, thinking he must be a hero of unbreakable spirit, someone who will rise to be the guardian of this kingdom. She won't consider anyone who can't defeat her someday, but wonders why her screen time is so low. The man with long hair throws his head back and laughs, declaring that he will teach the rules. With a cry of laughter, he launches a kick, the force of the blow sending his opponent flying. A group of onlookers discuss the fight, noting that it shouldn't have taken so long to condense his yuan-chi, and that he should still be at the martial apprentice stage. The man with long hair smirks, stating that he is in a good mood and will only break all the bones in his opponent's body, but won't take his life. His face contorts into a manic grin as he prepares to strike again, ready to use the crouching tiger fist. The man who was kicked lies on the ground, seemingly defeated, as his opponent declares that he has the form but lacks the essence. The onlookers continue to discuss the fight, wondering if he is critiquing his opponent and questioning how he could mock a peak-level martial artist. With a shout of "pretentious bastard," the man with long hair unleashes another attack, energy crackling around his fists. Protagonist Li Yunxiao's eyes narrow, and he declares that he won't be going easy on him anymore. He is set to be crushed as 2 hands descend, intent on destruction. But the attack is interrupted as a foot stomps down, unleashing a spectral blue lion. Blue energy swirls around Li Yunxiao, who stands firm against the assault. The man with long hair looks down, his eyes wide with disbelief. What is this, he wonders. He is shocked that his attack has failed. He thinks, didn't my fist lock him down and fully suppress him? The man with long hair plummets downwards, realizing he has miscalculated. Why does it feel like I'm a sheep walking into the jaws of a tiger? Li Yunxiao's expression hardens, his eyes narrowing. He thinks, this feeling, it's as if he's trying to swallow heaven and earth. The man with long hair falls directly into Li Yunxiao's trap. He wonders, was he waiting for me to throw myself right in? Li Yunxiao's face contorts with rage, his teeth bared. My strength is more than enough to crush you. His hands clamp down with immense force, ready to end the fight. The sound of the impact echoes through the air. The man with long hair is crushed in Li Yunxiao's grasp, defeated. The force of the blow reverberated, leaving cracks spiderwebbing across the floor. He stands over his fallen opponent, the man with long hair, who is sprawled out on the ground. Li Yunxiao sighs, frustrated with his current body. He thinks he should have been able to defeat him with one hit. The onlookers are baffled. They wonder how the man with long hair managed to dispel such a powerful punch, especially without yuan energy. One of the onlookers tells Senior Yu to forget about it. implying that he should not pursue the matter further. The man with long hair, still on the ground, vows to cripple Li Yunxiao and take the training room for himself. Meanwhile, a woman with long, purple hair and a tight, white dress stands before a group of students at Jialan Academy. Li Yunxiao recognizes her. He realizes that it is Luo Landuo, a name that carries significant weight. Luo Landuo smiles, her expression suggesting she knows more than she lets on. Li Yunxiao smirks, a hint of defiance in his eyes as he prepares for what's to come. Luo Landuo speaks to another person, asking if he knows Li Yunxiao, while also stating that the difference between them will become greater. The other person identifies Li Yunxiao as the infamous trash young master of the Li family, expressing disbelief at his stubbornness. Whispers follow Li Yunxiao, branding him a useless loser from the Li family. They say he lacks the ability to cultivate, a disappointment despite his lineage. He walks away, unaware of the gossip. The whispers claim he pursued Luo Landuo before, only to be rejected. The woman with purple hair believes her future husband must be a hero. Li Yunxiao pauses, a determined glint in his eyes. He thinks to himself that he will only reconsider their proposal if they manage to defeat him one day. But who would know that he is now the reincarnated Gu Feiyang? Luo Landuo laughs, standing beside the man she just defeated. She mocks him for trying to woo her, calling him a good-for-nothing. The man's eyes widen, a flicker of fear crossing his face. He realizes he is truly overestimated. Li Yunxiao stands with Luo Landuo as the man raises a hand. He declares that he won't fight, believing he's been misunderstood. Turning his back, Li Yunxiao states that if there's nothing else, he's going to go train. The sound of something slamming echoes. Luo Landuo watches the man, who is now sweating. He wonders what is going on, as he is just a piece of trash who couldn't even open a single chakra. How come just a single glance from him was enough to feel cold all over his body? His eyes wide with terror, the man wonders if he has completely lost his motivation to fight Li Yunxiao. A voice declares that what Li Yunxiao said was not wrong. Although his crouching tiger fist had a very imposing aura, it was just an empty form. Luo Landuo explains that if he could learn its essence, he wouldn't have been caught and dispelled so easily by him. Li Yunxiao's expression hardens, a storm brewing behind his eyes. He stands in a vast training room, two black iron figures awaiting him. The iron stones are ancient, likely over 100 years old. Regardless of time and place, the training must continue. Li Yunxiao knows this is not the time for sentimentality. He must recover his strength. He estimates he can climb back to the peak of the Nine Heavens realm in 10 days. With a shout, Li Yunxiao begins his training. The force of the blow sends spittle and blood flying from his mouth. Li Yunxiao, under the tenfold gravity, feels the lunar sunstyle's effect multiply. He vows to reach the level of a martial apprentice physically within 3 days. When that happens, he'll have at least a 60% chance to successfully unclog his meridians. Again, the sound of cracking bones echoes as he pushes his body to its limit. His foot slams down, the impact sending tremors through the training chamber. Meanwhile, when Li Yunxiao was in secluded cultivation, the story of him defeating Yu Hajing with a single strike had spread throughout the tenfold gravity chamber. 3 days later, the doors to the training chamber slide open with a resounding thud. Two figures react with surprise, their faces a mixture of shock and awe as they witness the aftermath. Li Yunxiao stands battered but unbroken, his breath coming in ragged gasps. A small crowd murmurs, their expressions a mix of shock and awe. A figure walks away, leaving the crowd behind. They wonder why he's so desperate to grow stronger. One recalls Li Yunxiao defeating Yu Hajing with a single strike, while another mentions Luo Landuo's offer. The students discuss Luo Landuo, one of the strongest new students who has reached the first origin realm. They're told to stop lamenting and work hard. A student gasps, his eyes wide with disbelief at what he's hearing. Another student turns, equally bewildered, questioning what is happening. The training dummies lie in pieces, shattered by an unseen force. The crowd is in awe. Water splashes as someone notes that the scars have completely healed already. Li Yunxiao stands in a shower, musing on the tyrant body tempering technique. He believes it's the #1 body tempering method. Now in bed, Li Yunxiao thinks that with the physical strength of a martial apprentice, he can attempt some simple refining. He believes his cultivation speed will accelerate if he can obtain a few low-level pills. Energy surges from Li Yunxiao's back, a visible manifestation of his training. He clenches his fist, a determined look on his face, as a cracking sound echoes. Li Yunxiao's hand glows with power as he continues his training. The force of the blow sends someone hurtling backwards through the air. With a heavy thud, he crashes to the ground as Hanbai approaches. Looking up from the ground, the other man exclaims, "Young Master Yin, it's me." Hanbai, addressed as Fatty Han, looks down as the other man cries out, wondering if anything is broken. The man accuses Hanbai of causing his arm to fall off, but Hanbai retorts that it wasn't his fault he snuck up on him. A cracking sound echoes as Hanbai peeks around the corner, asking why the man is here. Hanbai explains that he thought the man was acting odd, so he wanted to test him a bit, as the man denies opening any chakras. The man is shocked that he has become so strong without opening any chakras, and Hanbai asks where he has been hiding. With a surge of energy, Hanbai reattaches the man's arm, as he mentions that teacher Luo Yunshang has been looking everywhere for him. Hanbai states that he reconnected the man's arm, as the man wonders why that little girl is looking for him. The man is surprised to hear that Lan Fei has disappeared, and that he's cultivating in seclusion to break into the First Origin realm. Hanbai calmly states that Luo Jia are his lackeys, so when he gets out, he'll definitely come looking for him first, but it's just the First Origin realm. He is grabbed roughly by the collar, the other man emphasizing the difference between warriors and apprentices. Chunjun, Princess Rushue, and others have been worried for days, but the young master dismisses their concerns about the First Origin realm. Hanbai states he has something more important for Li Yunxiao to do, prompting the protagonist to wonder what could possibly take precedence. Hanbai's eyes glow in the darkness as he asks someone to lend him all their money. A hand reaches out, seemingly in response to the request, as the person states they want to buy pills. A bag of money is handed over, the coins within clinking softly as it changes hands. Young Master Yun is questioned about his lack of worry, despite the danger of only 30 out of 3,000 students becoming martial warriors. The young master smiles, stating there's no use in worrying, and promises to return the money if he's still alive. Someone observes that even in bad situations, the young master can still laugh, acknowledging he has changed a lot and giving up. A loud crash echoes as something breaks, sending splinters flying. A figure is sent hurtling downwards, arms outstretched as they plummet towards the ground. The figure lies prone on the ground, dust and debris swirling around them from the impact. He is sent sprawling, the force of the blow knocking him off balance. His opponent's face contorts in a scream, blood splattering from the impact. Li Yunxiao's expression hardens, his eyes narrowing as he assesses the situation. His gaze intensifies, a focused determination burning in his eyes. A figure stands before a group, shouting insults. "You damn trash bastard." A figure engulfed in purple energy declares, "How dare you touch my men? Today, I shall cripple you completely." The challenge is laid bare. Lan Fei demands submission from Li Yunxiao, or threatens to cripple him. Two figures lay prone on the ground, while a third stands tall, looking down at them. The standing figure looms over the fallen ones, their presence casting a long shadow. Two men, bruised and battered, cry out, "Boss, please avenge us." They recognize the glow of Yuanqi, the sign of a martial warrior. The figure scoffs, asking if they really think they're so special just because they can glow a little. The figure's expression hardens, a clear sign of disdain. The figure points, demanding to know if they will bow and admit their mistakes, or if he has to cripple their arms and legs. A voice responds, asking, "Cripple me." The speaker's face is shadowed, but their defiance is clear. The figure walks away from the fallen man, stating that it has been a long time since they've heard such an arrogant statement. The challenger's eyes glow with power, a surge of energy emanating from them as they prepare to face their opponent. The figure recoils in shock, sensing the immense power emanating from their challenger. Her eyes widen, a cold sweat forming as she senses danger. With a mighty cry, Li Yunxiao brings his blade down with incredible speed. The swing generates a shockwave, as the woman wonders at her inexplicable fear. High above, a figure stands silhouetted against the moon, poised to strike. Below, another figure stands firm, acknowledging that he would never have the courage to do so. Li Yunxiao grits his teeth, finding it absurd that he would feel such a thing. His expression hardens, the swordsman finding the situation not bad at all. The woman's face contorts in rage, demanding how he dares mock her. The blade descends, a scream echoing as the strike connects. A blinding flash erupts, the sound of impact reverberating through the air. Li Yunxiao lands amidst shattered debris, the battle's climax reached. A surge of power emanates from the blade, a tangible force. He stands his ground, facing his opponent, a group watching from behind. Those watching from above can only look down in stunned silence. The opponent is shocked. How could this trash have withstood his attack? As a martial warrior, even a martial apprentice should not withstand such power. Could he have opened his chakras? The opponent wonders why he can't feel any Yuanqi fluctuation from him. He finds this exhilarating, a long time since he fought with full strength. The opponent says, "So come, let me give you a few more pointers." The opponent's face is contorted with rage as he prepares to attack again. His teeth are clenched, a snarl forming on his lips. The opponent raises his red sword, feeling that although his current condition is strange, Li Yunxiao's sword slash felt satisfying. The red sword glows intensely, ready to strike. The opponent declares he is now a real First Origin realm martial warrior, ready to see how Li Yunxiao will block this attack. Tears well in his eyes as the red-haired figure laments the flowing cloud sword technique. The opponent holds the glowing sword aloft, preparing to strike. He shouts that Li Yunxiao is dead for sure. Red energy crackles around the attacker as he screams for Li Yunxiao to shut up and die. Li Yunxiao remains calm, a slight frown creasing his brow as he prepares to meet the attack. A figure smirks, confident in the advice he gave. He wonders what Li Yunxiao is. The sound of impact echoes as the sword connects, the force represented by the word BM. The attacker, cloaked in white, descends rapidly, his sword aimed directly at Li Yunxiao. The sound of a blade being drawn fills the air, a sharp shick cutting through the tension. A sword plunges into the ground, its blue light illuminating the cracked earth. Meanwhile, a group of onlookers stands before a traditional building, their expressions a mix of shock and concern. One of the onlookers stares wide-eyed, a large exclamation point emphasizing his surprise. The crowd watches with bated breath, their attention focused on the unfolding battle. He is enveloped in a torrent of swirling energy. Li Yunxiao stands firm, his gaze unwavering as he grips his sword. Lan Fei clutches his arm, his face contorted in pain as he mutters about trash. A surge of power emanates from Lan Fei's hands, his eyes wide with disbelief at the impossible turn of events. Blood splatters, a sign of the brutal exchange. A deafening BAM echoes as a massive energy blast erupts, shaking the very foundations of the arena. Bleeding from his nose and mouth, Lan Fei is warned to be careful. A sharp dong rings out as Lan Fei is struck, his expression a mix of shock and pain as he asks what is happening. Lan Fei lies defeated, protesting that he is being touched. Li Yunxiao's eyes gleam, his opponent's blow having only numbed his hands, making it difficult to hold the sword. Li Yunxiao holds his sword, but his hand trembles slightly. He explains that the earlier blow has left his hands numb. A man sits on the ground, pleading with him to remove the sword. He begs Li Yunxiao not to kill him. The man on the ground explains that he was too lazy to settle previous scores. He says that he was injured by Chun Jun and Han Bai. The sword is pressed against the ground. Li Yunxiao wonders if he is supposed to just let this slide. The man on the ground begs for mercy. He claims to still be a child and says he can't lose his bird. Behind the man, a group of people stand, watching the scene unfold with a mixture of fear and anticipation. The man offers money, claiming he has it. He asks what the people are staring at, telling them to pay up if they want to live. A pile of treasure glitters, filled with coins, gems, and various valuable objects, a testament to the man's wealth. Li Yunxiao holds a bag, asking if they can leave now, implying he has accepted the man's offer of money. The jade pendant hangs suspended as a hand reaches for it. Lan Fei looks up, startled by the sudden movement. He snatches the jade pendant, the light glinting off its smooth surface as it's pulled away. Li Yunxiao holds the jade pendant aloft. Lan Fei, desperate, pleads, "This jade pendant's nice, I'll take it. I can give you anything else, just not." Li Yunxiao's expression is unreadable, his eyes shadowed as he simply acknowledges Lan Fei with a curt ack. Lan Fei's face is a mask of anguish. "If I lose this, my family would surely skin me alive. It's of no use to you, but it's extremely important to me." Lan Fei is reminded of his duty to his subordinates. He is told, "Your underlings had barely anything to give me, or you give me the jade pendant, and they can all leave." The group behind Lan Fei watches with bated breath, their faces a mixture of hope and anxiety. Torn between his personal desire and his loyalty, Lan Fei agonizes, "Damn it, my jade pendant is obviously more important. But if I choose this jade pendant over them, how can I ever look them in the eyes again?" One of Lan Fei's subordinates calls out, "Boss Lan." Her face is etched with worry. Lan Fei clears his throat, steeling himself. "This jade pendant is extremely important to me, but when compared to my fellow brothers," Lan Fei declares, "it's nothing." His subordinates cheer him on, their chibi forms expressing their unwavering support. Lan Fei raises his arm, signaling the group to follow. "Let's go," he commands, turning away from Li Yunxiao. He smirks, remarking that he let someone off too easily. Suddenly, Lan Fei throws a punch, the force of it creating a visible shockwave. A nearby woman looks on in shock. Lan Fei grits his teeth, realizing he cannot avoid the incoming attack. In a desperate move, Lan Fei grabs the blonde-haired woman, pulling her in front of him as a shield. The woman screams in terror as she realizes what is happening. The attack slams into Lan Fei's impromptu shield, sending shockwaves through the air. The energy of the attack dissipates, leaving a swirling residue. Lan Fei, still holding the woman, glares at his unseen opponent, rage contorting his face. His subordinates watch in dismay. One of Lan Fei's subordinates curses under his breath. Lan Fei, deciding to retreat, orders his group to leave. Li Yunxiao watches them go, a look of surprise on his face as he murmurs in astonishment. Examining the prize in his hand, Li Yunxiao realizes he holds a 5-colored divine stone. Li Yunxiao, his expression hardening, announces that someone has been watching for too long and should reveal themselves. The tiled roof of the ancient structure gleams in the dim light. He stands atop the roof, the wind whipping around him. Below, 2 figures lie prone, seemingly defeated. The air crackles with residual energy. A man watches from afar, his expression a mix of shock and contemplation. Li Yunxiao smirks, his eyes gleaming with amusement. Did you enjoy watching? Have you gathered everything I wanted? The man approaches, handing him a package. He explains that he only gathered 6 batches of the herbs, as they were difficult to find. Li Yunxiao demands the herbs, but insists, before anything else, heal them both first. The man is taken aback by the order. He is a rank 1 alchemist with prestigious status. His face contorts in anger, insulted by the command from a mere kid. The 2 figures remain unconscious, their fate hanging in the balance. Reluctantly, the alchemist places a pill into the mouth of one of the fallen. Li Yunxiao retorts that the alchemist has done everything he asked and shouldn't be so sure about ordering him around again. The larger figure looms over another, declaring that soon they will listen. The other figure shouts, accusing them of trickery. Previously, following Li Yunxiao's suggestion, Jiao Rong immediately took the medicine. It was a temporary solution, but one he trusted. Agony grips him as the medicine takes effect, a searing pain coursing through his body. He writhes in bed, overwhelmed by the intensity of the treatment, his screams echoing in the night. Suddenly, the pain subsides. He sits up, astonished, declaring himself as good as new. He lies back, gazing at the moon, thanking the gods and Li Yunxiao. Just what is the background of Li Yunxiao? The alchemist's face contorts in rage, veins bulging as he accuses someone of lying. He points a trembling finger, demanding to know who the other person thinks he is. The alchemist recoils, aghast at the notion of being addressed by a mere rank 1 alchemist. The alchemist peers at a document, his expression shifting from anger to disbelief. He wonders how someone so young could dare. His eyes widen, and he shouts in utter astonishment, declaring the prescription absolutely incredible. The alchemist sits, muttering to himself that the youngster is too eccentric to read. He recalls a promise, stating they are now even. The prescription can remove toxins without side effects, but the alchemist recalls the weakening of his soul power. The alchemist stands with his back to the viewer, questioning if there were signs of his soul power deteriorating. The alchemist sits on the steps, contemplating the deterioration of soul power and the difficulty of recovery. The alchemist reflects on the toxins and the slim chance of breaking through the ranks, deciding his life is more important. Li Yunxiao holds up his hand, stating there's a chance it will only take 50 years. The alchemist, looking up, thinks that if he's unlucky, he'll have to stay an advanced alchemy apprentice for the rest of his life. Li Yunxiao says he didn't mean much by it, but he just so happens to know a way to make the alchemist a real rank 1 alchemist within 50 days. The alchemist questions how that's possible, accusing Li Yunxiao of lying, stating that even if his soul power didn't deteriorate, there's no way he'd be able to break through to the ranks of a rank 1 alchemist within 50 days. The alchemist asks Li Yunxiao who he thinks he is, and if he thinks it's worth his time to fool him. The alchemist is shocked. The alchemist thinks Li Yunxiao's words are too suspicious, but becoming an alchemist is too great of a temptation for him, and he wonders how he could give it up. The alchemist apologizes, saying he was too shocked just now, and asks if Li Yunxiao really has a way for him to recover his soul power within 50 days. Li Yunxiao says he can not only recover his soul power, but also make him a real rank 1 alchemist. The alchemist asks what he would have to do for Li Yunxiao to help him. Li Yunxiao, sitting on a high platform, demands that he be his servant. The alchemist is in shock. Preposterous, the alchemist shouts, looking up at Li Yunxiao. He scoffs at the idea of a mere child making a rank 1 alchemist his servant. The protagonist simply states that it's not happening. Li Yunxiao sits calmly, questioning if Jiao Rong truly believes he is qualified to be his servant. He amends his statement, saying the alchemist is only qualified to be his servant for 50 days. Days have passed, and Jiao Rong is furious. He thinks to himself that Li Yunxiao isn't pretending, and it's as if it's an unquestionable truth that he isn't qualified to be his servant. He wonders what the hell is going on. The alchemist wonders if the protagonist is a lunatic. He reflects on how Li Yunxiao could identify his problems with just one glance and have the cure to those problems. He recalls scouring the entire Alchemist Association for a cure, but finding nothing. Inside Jiao Rong's consciousness, he looks up, questioning if he feels aggrieved to be Li Yunxiao's servant. The question hangs in the air, unanswered. Jiao Rong looks down, a shocked expression on his face. He thinks to himself that he of course feels aggrieved. Below him, red lines radiate from the protagonist. The alchemist's eyes widen in terror. He is clearly experiencing something overwhelming and frightening, his face contorted in a silent scream. With a sudden thud, Jiao Rong finds himself standing, his hair flowing upwards as if caught in a powerful updraft. The force of whatever is happening is palpable. The alchemist looks up, his expression a mixture of fear and confusion. He wonders what is going on and what the protagonist is doing, questioning how a child could possess such power. Jiao Rong is surrounded by a blue, watery environment. A monstrous, shark-like creature looms behind him, and he is terrified by the crushing pressure targeted at his soul. The monstrous creature's mouth opens, revealing a small, turtle-like creature inside. The alchemist realizes that if Li Yunxiao wanted to, he could disintegrate him at any time. Jiao Rong is conflicted, wondering if he should accept Li Yunxiao's offer or not. He knows that if he does, there's a chance he could rise to the top, but if he doesn't, he might regret it for the rest of his life. He struggles to speak, his face contorted in a grimace of pain. Despite the vision, Jiao Rong declares that he will accept the offer. He sits, the weight of his decision settling upon him. Li Yunxiao smirks, impressed by Jiao Rong's resolve. He notes that Jiao Rong made the correct choice. The protagonist, Li Yunxiao, instructs Jiao Rong to cultivate following the instructions on the paper. Jiao Rong examines the prescription, unsure if it is supposed to be 5 or 50. Li Yunxiao states that if Jiao Rong isn't qualified to be his servant, he needn't come to see him again. The paper proclaims this to be a soul cultivation art. Li Yunxiao explains that it's only the trashiest of all the soul cultivation techniques, but it's still enough for Jiao Rong to completely recover within 5 days and break through to rank 1. Jiao Rong, surrounded by a pink, dreamlike aura, wonders if this soul cultivation is real. Li Yunxiao tells him to just call him Young Master Yin. He adds that as long as Jiao Rong behaves well, he won't be stingy when rewarding him. Li Yunxiao tells Jiao Rong that he may go now, and that he'll look for him at the Alchemist Association if he needs anything. The sky stretches out above them. It is said that the most important part of an alchemist's cultivation is nourishing their soul power. Legends speak of ways to directly refine soul power, methods rarely described in classics, shrouded in mystery. Jiao Rong never expected to get his hands on something like this, a precious soul cultivation technique. He finally understands why he was trembling, feeling the weight of the legendary soul-dementing technique. Jiao Rong reflects that Li Yunxiao gave him the precious soul-cultivating technique as if it were nothing. He marvels that nobody in the entire state of Tianshui is as generous as Li Yunxiao. Jiao Rong truly can't understand just who exactly Young Master Yin really is, pondering the mystery. After being reborn, his soul power was inferior to even a mere rank 1 alchemist. To frighten Jiao Rong, Li Yunxiao used the soul-dementing technique, losing much of his remaining soul power as a result. But he can't stop there. He wants to become an existence surpassing even his previous life, breaking through into the realm of the legends. It's a soul cultivation technique he had discovered in the Tiandang Mountains before his death. The Divine Soul Expansion Technique, a method to cultivate his soul. This soul cultivation technique was unheard of, and the method recorded within was beyond anyone's imagination. His soul being reborn must have had something to do with it. When he regained the memories of his past life, the voice in his mind was reciting the text of this divine technique. As long as he is able to successfully practice the Divine Soul Expansion Technique, his soul power will recover at a terrifying speed. The cultivators on the Tianwu continent are basically divided into 2 types, the martial cultivators and the alchemy cultivators. The muscular figure looms over the smaller one, who sits in contemplation. The text highlights the alchemist's focus, cultivating the soul. But Li Yunxiao, having cultivated both energy and soul, understood the vital balance. Few martial sovereigns achieved such harmony, limiting their potential. Driven to obtain the tyrant body tempering technique, he sought to reach the 10 worlds realm. Only with body, chi, and spirit at their peak could one break through. His soul power recovered quickly, thanks to the Divine Soul Expansion Technique. Coupled with the tyrant's body tempering technique, he felt his potential growing. When all 3 become one, he thought he would break through to the 10 worlds divine realm. He would become invincible. He would use the 5-color divine stone to craft 13 divine needles. These needles would unlock his body's potential, clearing his meridians. Meanwhile, Jiao Rong surveyed the room filled with materials. He thought to himself that Jiao Rong was quite good at handling affairs, and these materials weren't bad. The figure gripped the large, flat blade. A surge of power emanated from him, crackling in the air. Raising the blade high, he prepared to strike. Energy flared around him, illuminating the space. The blade descended, impacting a circular symbol. Below, a hand reached out, seemingly to manipulate a disc-shaped object. With a resounding crash, he struck. A golden object gleamed within his eye, reflecting the immense power. Surrounded by fire and energy, he felt the surge within. Soul power, he thought, enfold. He focuses, channeling his soul power. The swirling flames dance around the glass containers, each filled with mysterious ingredients. A shattering echoes as the 5-color divine stone undergoes refinement. His past life as a top-ranking alchemist guides him. Li Yunxiao configures the marrow-cleansing medicines. He prepares to combine the refined stone and medicines with the engraved array. The swirling concoction takes shape under his expert hand. He is turning something only a rank 1 alchemist is able to do. An advanced apprentice alchemist, Li Yunxiao combines the medicines. He focuses intently to congeal the needles. The medicines have been refined, ready for the next stage. Golden needles point towards his outstretched hand. With a shout, He commands the needles to enter the medicines. A burst of energy erupts. The divine needles insert into the body. They're meant to unclog the meridian points, restoring balance. The needles surround him, glowing with power. The air crackles with unseen energy. He grits his teeth, feeling the power surge through him. His chakras begin to open. With a final surge, the chakras open completely. The needles are fully integrated with the medicines. He exhales sharply, the process complete. The air hangs heavy with the residue of his efforts. A lone figure stands amidst the dissipating smoke, breathing heavily. The man's bare chest rises and falls as he catches his breath. Above, a voice echoes, surprised that only 5 chakras were opened. Young Master Yin contemplates the 5-color divine stone's effectiveness and plots to obtain the other 4 jade pendants. One of the men exclaims that Lan Fei and his lackeys have gone too far, noting young Master Yun's pallor and threatening to gather 10,000 men. Young Master Yun, his face still tinged green from the medicine, attempts to explain that it's all a misunderstanding. The 2 men shout, their faces contorted with rage and disbelief at the explanation. One of the men confirms that young Master Yun kicked and robbed them, and that he unclogged his meridians and opened 5 chakras. The 2 men continue to yell, their expressions unwavering in their anger. One man declares that upon graduation, they will inherit their family's titles and destroy the Lan family, while the other warns that young Master Yun's open chakras mean danger. An older man with a beard questions if they think outsiders will cause trouble in the academy, reminding them of Zhong Lishan, the headmaster. A woman emphasizes that within the academy, one can only rely on their own strength, as the academy doesn't prohibit students from fighting each other. One figure dismisses Lan Fei as a problem, but another reminds him of the Lan family's other descendant. The conversation turns to Lan Fei's half-brother, Lan Xian, his face shadowed with a sinister smile. 2 figures express their worry, noting that Lan Xian is graduating this year and that he was once ranked 3rd in the entire continent's Fengyan ranking. The figures continue to discuss Lan Xian, noting that he is an 18-year-old martial master and could become a deputy commander of the Guardians. One of the figures declares that if Lan Xian doesn't come to them, they will go find him, his expression determined. Another figure begs young Master Yin not to make things worse, his face contorted in fear and desperation. A figure states that they can't wait to get their hands on Lan Xian's 5-color divine stone, their intentions unclear. A memorial plaque is shown, ominously labeling Lan Xian as the next doomed opponent of Li Yunxiao. A man fumes, declaring he won't let something go, while someone off-panel tells him to shut up. Wang Feng, a Jialan Academy teacher, stands with the agitated man, telling him he almost made a big mistake. Fortunately, Lan Xian is in secluded cultivation. The man insists it's not serious. He just wanted Brother Xian to teach that trash a lesson and vent his anger, his face contorted in frustration. Wang Feng asks him to vent his anger, then scolds him for calling Lan Xian Xianji, as if he's close with him, calling him a muddle-headed fool. Wang Feng warns that Lan Xian is his worst enemy, and that if Lan Xian finds out that he, a Lan family direct descendant, has lost the jade, he's lost his position. The man is shocked, realizing he would be reprimanded by the family and fall out of favor, possibly even losing his status as a direct descendant. The man asks what he should do, begging his uncle, Wang Feng, to help him. Wang Feng reassures him, saying he's his dear sister's son, and if he doesn't help him, who else would? Wang Feng says he'll apply to be the chief examiner of their academy's annual assessment that will be held in 7 days. He notes that Li Yunxiao hasn't opened any chakras. Wang Feng plans to use the academy's rules to expel him as long as he can't show his chakra glow and retrieve the jade once he leaves the academy. 7 days remain, and Lan Xian's rage burns hotter with each passing moment. Wang Feng scolds his nephew, questioning how he will ever accomplish great things if he cannot tolerate trivial matters. Wang Feng notes that the gap between Lan Xian and Li Yunxiao is still too large. Wang Feng relents, stating that he will listen to his nephew. A sinister smile spreads across Wang Feng's face as he considers his next move. Wang Feng tells Lan Xian to enjoy the next 7 days, because he has plans to ruin Li Yunxiao's reputation and will need his nephew's help. Wang Feng's eyes narrow as he plots his scheme. Lan Xian is told to go ahead, and if this works, they won't need to wait for 7 days, as Wang Feng laughs. Meanwhile, a building stands silently under the night sky. Li Yunxiao, meditating, wonders who is disrupting his divine soul expansion technique. Using his divine sense, Li Yunxiao realizes that 2 thieves are approaching. A letter addressed to Li Yunxiao is slipped under the door. A letter, penned by Luo Landuo, speaks of a moonlit rendezvous. He reads the letter, a smile forming as he considers the maple grove. Li Yunxiao adjusts his sleeves, seemingly preparing for a romantic encounter. 2 figures plot in the shadows, anticipating the downfall of a piece of trash. One of the figures scoffs at the idea of Luo Landuo being interested in him. The pair scurries away, eager to set their plan in motion before he realizes. Oblivious, Li Yunxiao smiles, lost in his thoughts. Elsewhere, a bed is prepared, surrounded by a strange, pink mist. A pile of discarded clothing lies on the floor, hinting at the trap being set. Li Yunxiao holds a piece of clothing, a sinister smile playing on his lips. He declares that he will play this game. The Maple Grove, a dating sanctuary, awaits under the chirping of insects. He walked through the forest, unaware of the danger ahead. This place was known for other, less noble pursuits. A desperate cry pierced the air. A woman's voice, filled with terror, echoed through the trees. Panting, she scrambled up the stone steps, her pleas for help growing more frantic. Li Yunxiao stood below, alerted by the commotion. Tears streamed down her face as she begged for salvation. Her voice cracked as she called out for a senior to help her. A pursuer's voice dripped with malice as he stalked closer. He spoke of twisted honor and unwanted affection. Her eyes wide with fear, she continued to call out, hoping someone would hear her desperate cries. Desperate, she brandished a sword, a fragile barrier against the encroaching threat. Two figures emerged from the shadows, their intentions unclear. She stammered, questioning if they were the help she sought. Li Yunxiao's voice cut through the tension, a warning laced with deadly intent. The woman, tears streaming, begged for aid. Beneath the moonlit sky, she offered anything in exchange for salvation, her voice trembling with desperation. The sword gleamed, a symbol of the violence about to unfold. Brutally seized, she screamed as her captor threatened her life, his words laced with cruelty. The man's face contorts into a sneer as he leans over her. She cries out, begging him to stop. He ignores her pleas, striking her. The woman cries out as she falls to the ground. Her face pressed against the dirt, she desperately pleads for someone to save her. A pair of eyes watch the scene unfold, their expression unreadable in the dim light. Protagonist Li Yunxiao smiles, adjusting his collar. He promises to save her, but a question lingers. What are his true intentions? A woman in a white dress stands defiantly as she announces, "Do you know who I am? I'm the Imperial Guard Commander Lu Siqi's son, Lu Etian." The man with dark hair smirks, unimpressed by the declaration. He replies, "Oh, so you're Lu Etian." Lu Etian reaches out, his hand near the woman's chest. He says, "I'm not the one saving you." From a distance, a crowd of onlookers has gathered. They stare in shock, whispering amongst themselves. A man with a long braid points accusingly at Lu Etian, shouting, "Lu Etian, how could you do something this shameful?" The speaker is revealed to be Feng Buping, Jialan Academy's dean of students. He continues to berate the young man, calling him a good-for-nothing animal. Feng Buping's face is contorted in rage. He is known as the god of slaughter. The crowd murmurs, wondering why Teacher Feng is present at the scene. With a resounding slap, Feng Buping strikes Lu Etian across the face, leaving him stunned. A cacophony of shouts rises as the mob descends, intent on violence. They declare that Lu Etian must die. Amidst the aftermath, a figure is asked if they are all right. The crowd demands to know their name and why they were with that animal. The blonde woman stammers, barely able to speak. She manages to get out that her name is Meng Wu. The man comforts Meng Wu, telling her not to be scared. He notes that she is sweating from fright as he holds her. Meng Wu cries out, seemingly in response to unwanted contact. She is clearly distressed by the situation. Meng Wu's eyes widen in shock, her face flushed. She wonders if he saw through them. One man instructs another to take care of Meng Wu. He will check on that animal to ensure he hasn't been killed. From the shadows, a man reveals that Li Yunxiao was behind this. He believes Li Yunxiao has already seen through Meng Wu. The woman angrily shouts to save Lu Etian. She argues that going out now would be walking right into a trap. In the forest, one man asks if everything has been put in place. The others look on with concern. Two men discuss handling the affairs, assuring their boss that he can count on them. They failed in handling the affairs and almost let the prey escape. A man's eyes narrow as he declares that Li Yunxiao might have escaped this one. He holds the woman close, assuring her that he will deal with what comes next. Another man watches the scene unfold, his expression unreadable as he observes Li Yunxiao. Li Yunxiao continues to comfort the woman, telling her not to be scared because everything is fine now, unaware of the other man's gaze. Tears well in her eyes as she clutches at Li Yunxiao, seeking solace in his embrace. A man stands with his hands on the shoulders of a kneeling figure, declaring that the pervert has been crippled. Another man smiles, remarking on how ruthless the action was, and admits that he learned from the best. The man orders the others to report everything that happened to the headmaster, stating that Lu Etian brought this upon himself and can't blame anybody. The man with the ponytail tells Li Yunxiao that it's not appropriate to keep hugging her, and asks if anyone knows her and can send her back. A woman says that if anything happens, they should feel free to report to her, and tells her junior sister not to be afraid. The woman is comforted by another woman, who places a hand on her shoulder in a gesture of support. Li Yunxiao tells them that there's no need to thank him, he's just doing the right thing, and that they should come find him if they need help. Meanwhile, A group of people stand in a forest, their expressions unreadable as they look towards an unknown destination. The students and teachers stand together, a palpable tension hanging in the air. The group has gathered to discuss a serious matter, their expressions a mix of concern and disbelief. What's wrong? One asks. The gravity of the situation becomes clear. Many female students' underwear was stolen. The news spreads through the crowd. The students react with shock and disgust. One exclaims, "No way, that's so perverted." The atmosphere thickens with outrage. A man looks on, his eyes wide with surprise as he hears the news. "Who?" he asks, seemingly caught off guard. The woman with the crescent moon ornament in her hair steps forward, her expression stern. "Teacher Feng, you must find and catch that perverted thief," she commands. Another man reports that someone saw the thief running in the direction of Maple Grove. He adds, "Ha, Li Yanxiao, you piece of trash, you are finished." A student looks bewildered, questioning the accuser's motives. Many female students may have lost their underwear, but Lan Fei, what does that have to do with you? Lan Fei appears flustered, his face a mask of conflicted emotions. He stammers, "This I," as others question his sudden involvement. Lan Fei points dramatically, his face contorted with righteous anger. "Running here with my own eyes," he declares, trying to justify his actions. Lan Fei continues, explaining that he personally brought everyone to help catch the thief. He insists, "Yeah, I brought everyone here to catch the thief." Lan Fei concludes, stating that as a student at the academy, he has this obligation and responsibility. He gestures emphatically as he speaks. He points an accusing finger. Lan Fei declares that Li Yanxiao is the underwear thief. A student smirks, anticipating the unfolding drama. He suggests that Li Yanxiao should allow them to search his dorm. Another student questions why Li Yanxiao should comply with the demand. A third student interjects, stating that Li Yanxiao wouldn't do something like that. A student worries about the potential consequences of lying to the princess. He fears severe punishment for himself and his family. Lan Fei and another student exchange serious glances. The tension in the room is palpable as the accusation hangs in the air. Lan Fei presses Li Yanxiao, demanding to know if he has anything to say. The other students watch intently, awaiting his response. Li Yanxiao agrees to the search, but demands an explanation from Lan Fei if it proves his innocence. He stands firm, awaiting their decision. One of the students confidently declares that there is no problem. He seems eager to proceed with the search. Two students discuss the situation. One hopes that if Li Yanxiao is innocent, he will receive an explanation. The other believes Teacher Feng will be fair. Li Yanxiao reassures the princess, telling her there is no need to worry. He asserts his honesty and believes good will triumph over evil. Several students discuss Li Yanxiao's character. Some believe he is an upstanding person, while others remain skeptical of his innocence. Li Yanxiao invites everyone to follow him to his dorm. He intends to prove his innocence once and for all. Lan Fei appears troubled, thinking that something is clearly off with the plan. An unseen voice declares that someone is obviously trying to frame him. Meanwhile, Liu Yitian and his group are shown with smug expressions. They seem confident in their scheme, whatever it may be. The details of Liu Yitian's daily injury report are displayed, showing a diagram of a body covered in various wounds and fractures. Instructor Wang stands outside a building, his expression unreadable as he contemplates the situation. Instructor Wang explains to Director Feng that he is there to observe the situation, as there is a perverted thief causing trouble. Instructor Wang questions why they are observing the front of his dormitory, as Meng Kuan said the thief went towards the maple forest. Instructor Wang states that he is there to capture the thief, just like Instructor Feng, proposing that the perverse and arrogant criminal be expelled. Instructor Wang orders everyone to agree to it, stating that when there is both proof and evidence, he will notify the department director immediately. Li Yanxiao tells everyone to search freely, wondering if he, Li Yanxiao, is a pervert like young Master Lan said. Instructor Wang watches as the students begin their search, a slight smile playing on his lips as he observes their efforts. Instructor Wang commands the students to go and search thoroughly, his voice booming with authority. The students respond with a casual "suri" as they begin to spread out and search the area, their expressions nonchalant. Instructor Wang warns that if anyone dares to plant fake evidence, he will be the first one to get expelled, his expression stern. He declares that he will also help with the search. Wang Feng believes he can stop Meng Kuan if he tries anything. Wang Feng suggests that everyone enter together, since no one trusts the accused. Seeing as everyone is curious about his bedroom, Wang Feng thinks they should all look at it together. Someone searches under the bed, kicking up dust as they look for any sign of the missing item. Meng Kuan tells the searchers to look carefully and not miss anything as they continue their search. The search continues, but no one seems to be finding anything of interest in the room. Two figures stand together, whispering to each other, their expressions unreadable. Someone yells, demanding that another repeat what they just said, their face contorted in anger. One of the searchers wonders what the pair are doing standing there. Another says the bedroom isn't big and they won't find anything. Wang Feng's expression is unreadable as he listens to the conversation. Wang Feng clearly expected this to happen, and the other person says they were worried for nothing. Since Li Yunxiao is innocent, someone suggests they go back, and another agrees to leave. Wang Feng listens as the older man explains the difficulty of finding the thief. The academy, he says, will deal with it. Li Yunxiao accuses Lan Fei of being behind everything, pointing directly at Wang Feng. He tells him not to slander others. Li Yunxiao states that he has already proven his innocence. Now, he demands an explanation from the others. Wang Feng, looking surprised, asks what Li Yunxiao wants from him. He seems taken aback by the accusation. Li Yunxiao states that he wants to search Wang Feng's dormitory to prove his innocence. He claims he cannot bear to do nothing while wrongly accused. Wang Feng agrees to the search, stating that he will prove his innocence. The group then begins to walk towards the dormitory. Meanwhile, the group arrives at Lan Fei's dormitory. A sign above the door clearly marks the location. Wang Feng says he doesn't care if they search, but warns them not to break anything. He adds that he's afraid they won't be able to pay it back if they do. Li Yunxiao orders the search to begin. Two other men accompanying him seem eager to comply, smiling as they move forward. The older man watches the scene unfold, a thoughtful expression on his face. He seems to be considering the implications of the search. Two men struggle to carry a heavy chest. One of them exclaims that they can't open it, indicating it is locked. Wang Feng holds up a key, stating that he stores his private clothes in the chest. He adds that it can only be opened by this key. A lock clicks open with a burst of pink energy. Bathed in the same strange light, the group advances. The group peers down, their expressions a mix of shock and disbelief. A chest overflows with women's undergarments, glowing with a faint pink aura. The discovery provokes a stunned reaction. Nanny? Another member of the group is clearly taken aback, exclaiming, "Wow." Complete silence falls over the group as they process the scene before them. Lan Fei vehemently denies the accusations. He insists that Li Yunxiao framed him, pointing out that the chest requires a key to open. The crowd turns on Lan Fei, demanding his expulsion. One of the women declares Lan Fei a pervert and vows to get the dean to expel him. Another notes the presence of half a box of soap. One of the students claims that Lan Fei forces his lackeys to pick up the soap after he throws it into the male showers. Three figures stand ready, prepare to take action. He winces, a throbbing pain evident on his face as Li Yunxiao clenches his fist. The crowd demands justice, insisting that he is guilty and should be punished. They declare that even though they are infuriated and want to tear him apart, the instructors of the academy are here, and the law must be followed. The crowd awaits the decision of Instructor Feng and Instructor Wang. The crowd raises their fists, chanting, "We want justice." The crowd surrounds Li Yunxiao, their fists raised in anger as they continue to demand justice. The crowd, signs in hand, continues to chant for justice, believing Li Yunxiao is good at scheming. A man in robes addresses the crowd, assuring them that he will immediately notify the dean and provide a satisfactory explanation. The crowd declares that if that doesn't work, they will go to their father, refusing to let this perverted animal go unpunished. Lan Fei, on the ground, pleads for his uncle to save him from the crowd's wrath. The crowd continues to demand justice as someone slaps Lan Fei, declaring him useless. Lan Fei remains on the ground, crying out for his uncle as the crowd continues to demand justice. Lan Fei kneels, uttering a cry of distress. His eyes wide with fear, Lan Fei looks up, bound and helpless. Tears well in his eyes, the weight of the accusations crushing him. The humiliation is complete. The word defeated echoes his despair. Li Yunxiao stands tall, the victor looming over the kneeling Lan Fei. Meanwhile, the academy's verdict has been released. Lan Fei has been expelled for stealing girls' underwear, according to the notice. Young Master Yun is being called for near the building. The architecture is traditional and ornate. One man asks if the other wants to hear the news, and the other man says that the good news must be that Lan Fei was expelled. The man confirms that the bad news is that this year's examiner is Lan Fei's uncle, Wang Feng, and they are all doomed to fail. The man is told not to mess around, as Lan Fei is a student, but Wang Feng is an instructor at the academy. He scoffs, not caring about who it is. One man asks if there is any news from Lan Xian, and the other man says that he would have forgotten if he didn't mention it. Lan Xian already announced that he will avenge his brother, and the man is worried that they are really in trouble now. The other man is surprised. It is announced that the 5-color divine stone will soon be delivered by Lan Xian. The man thinks that would be great, as the Tower of the Alchemist Guild is in the inner chamber on the 4th floor. The Tower of the Alchemist Guild is shown, with a group of people standing around a table. Crimson energy crackles and roils, coalescing into a tangible form. Yunchang's brow furrows with concentration as she commands the volatile energy, solidify. With a final surge of power, the energy condenses, forming the glowing outline of a massive axe. The Hongyang axe materializes in Yunchang's hands, its weight evident in her labored breaths. Yunchang presents the axe to the examiners. Below, The judges note the axe has reached upper first-tier quality. The Alchemist Guild president, Su Han, announces, Yin Chang, you passed the examination. Yin Chang looks up at Master Su and the other masters, offering her gratitude for their time. Master Su acknowledges her hard work, but admits it had nothing to do with them. He then asks how she merged the Yao gold and Chilean copper. Yin Chang pauses, placing a finger to her chin as she considers the question. In a flashback, Yin Chang recalls the properties of Chilean copper and her solution to the problem, Tianjing sand. A close-up reveals Yin Chang's confident expression as she remembers her breakthrough. Master Su exclaims, so that's why? He praises Yun Chang's skill and announces a feast to celebrate her success. He thinks to himself that Li Yunxiao is knowledgeable. The masters weren't even aware of this. Yin Chang asks His Majesty to not hold a feast. He would prefer to remain anonymous. In the Tianshui country, whenever an alchemist becomes a first-tier alchemist, His Majesty will hold a feast. Yin Lei, of the Guild of Alchemists, states that Yun Chang is the first person in Tianshui country to step into the fourth Wujun realm. He also became a first-tier alchemist. One of the men states that in these 100 years, he only remembers Sir Yang Di receiving this treatment. Yin Chang responds that Master Yin is too kind, and he cannot compare himself with Sir Yang Di. The man tells Yin Chang that he doesn't need to be so modest. Although Sir Yang Di has the talent for it, most of his success comes from being a disciple under the 9th-tier alchemist Gu Feiyang. The older man thinks that Yin Chang is lucky. In the future, his achievements might not lose to Yang Di's. He is just missing a good teacher. Su Yuanxiao of the Alchemist Guild says that they got 2 new first-tier alchemists in this short year, Yun Chang and Jia Rong. Both are the rising stars of their Tianshui country. A man thinks that if he is not wrong, someone is severely poisoned right now. The other 2 people in the panels look shocked. A man with his back to the viewer is addressed as president. He is standing on a platform with another man sitting. President Su agrees that Yun Chang is a rising star. Another man says that he just heard that Master Yun Chang has also been promoted to first-tier alchemist and is indeed talented. The man says, he heard that amongst the 5 commanders of the country guardians, Master Yun Chang is considered the strongest. The man in the center says that he was refining in seclusion and asks the reason behind this hasty summon. Another man wonders if it could be to celebrate Yun Chang's promotion. He holds the documents, his expression a mix of concern and contemplation. Jia Rong's complexion is strangely good, despite the circumstances. In a flashback, the speaker insists that everyone needs an explanation. Another voice notes that if he hadn't acted, his soul cultivation technique would have been lost. Su Yuanxiao, face contorted in rage, shouts at Yin Chang, calling him an old codger. Su Yuanxiao demands that Yin Chang give an explanation. The surrounding alchemists look on with shock and concern. A hand glows with a faint light, seemingly untouched by any corruption. The bearded man observes that Yun Chang's hands are as pure as jade. There is no trace of corrosion from the Hellwind Stone. Su Yuanxiao, his face a mask of disbelief, demands to know how Yun Chang cured the toxin of the Hellwind Stone. Even if he got rid of the toxin, Su Yuanxiao believes it's impossible for Yun Chang's soul power to reach the level of an alchemist. Su Yuanxiao's eyes glow with anger as he asks if Yin Chang really thinks he's worthy of examining him. With a swift motion, Su Yuanxiao strikes out, his attack landing with a resounding impact. The force of the blow sends Yun Chang reeling, blood streaming from his mouth as he cries out in pain. A figure stands tall, his robes billowing around him as he gazes down. Below, a man lies prone, bloodied, his hand outstretched as he gasps. Your soul power? Another man, clad in a white coat, declares his soul power is far superior to those he deems fakers. The man clutches at his chest, blood staining his white coat as he struggles to speak. 2 figures watch in shock as the man coughs, his face contorted in pain. A woman with red hair looks on, her eyes wide with alarm at the bloody scene unfolding. The man's face is a mask of agony, his mouth agape as blood pours from his lips. Standing over the fallen man, a figure in white robes looks down as the man gasps, Su Yuanxiao? Was this really necessary? Su Yuanxiao, bloodied and kneeling, begs for permission to retire and return to his birthplace. The memory replays. Su Yuanxiao was defeated by a single strike. His soul power diminished, and his body aged from the blow. He reflects on his recent victory. He has only practiced the soul cultivation art for 5 days, yet it was enough to defeat Su Yuanxiao. He marvels at the power he now wields. With such an art, he would gladly be someone's slave for 50 years. The president acknowledges Jia Rong's progress. He instructs him to take Yun Chang to get the alchemist badge. Inside the building, someone calls out to Sir Jia, seeking his attention. Madame Yun Chang asks if he has ever considered taking a disciple. She explains that she has a student with a unique constitution. She continues, noting that the student is extremely interested in alchemy and has already learned a great deal on his own. Sir Jia is reminded that she is one of 5 state guardians. He questions why she wants him to teach the student. Madame Yun Chang explains that this person is the eldest grandson of Duke Jinghua and the son of General Filong. Meanwhile, Sir Jia notes that Duke Jingwe's eldest grandson is trash in the field of martial arts. He believes it would be difficult for him to practice alchemy. Madame Yunxiang is aware of this, but there is something unique about him. She asks him to guide the young man to become an apprentice alchemist. Sir Jia agrees to meet this person to give her face. However, he must meet the soul power requirement for an apprentice alchemist. The figure in red expresses his gratitude, stating that Yunxiang will remember Jia Rong's kindness. Jia Rong reflects on the exchange, believing he has repaid a favor by allowing Li Yunxiao to stay. 3 days later, the Jialan Academy's annual assessment is about to begin, and Li Yunxiao is considered a promising person. The Jialan Academy's martial arts arena, sponsored by the previous Alchemist Guild president, Yang Di, stands ready. Each year, many students are culled, those who fail packing their bags and leaving the academy. A student remarks that the statue was personally carved by Yang Di 15 years after his own death. One student worries about being eliminated despite opening his second chakra, but his friend reassures him that only one is needed to advance. A student tells his companions not to listen to the others, dismissing them as trash talk. One student notes that many in their class are from influential families, but considers most of them to be trash. He observes that at least a dozen have already given up. A man addresses the students, stating that because teacher Luo Yunxiang is away, he will be judging the assessment. He believes they have all failed. The man explains that in the past, students could pass by opening one chakra or having a punching force exceeding 1,300 pounds, but some cheated using pills. As such, the man declares that this year, students must open one chakra and have a punching force exceeding 1,300 pounds to pass. He asks who will go first. A crowd of students gazes forward, their expressions a mix of curiosity and apprehension. One student, face contorted in anger, shouts at the crowd to open their eyes wide. A figure in a white robe walks toward a glowing portal as others watch with anticipation. A student with long dark hair on a goatee looks up, the words sacral chakra above him. 2 students look up with wide eyes, the words heart chakra floating above them. A group of students looks on with varying expressions, the words throat chakra and third eye chakra displayed. A figure in white steps forward, the ground cracking beneath their feet with a resounding BAM. A student stands amidst glowing orbs, the words crown chakra and opening chakras complete displayed. A text box reads, N, the function of chakras. A drawing depicts a figure with 7 chakras, labeled as the strongest and 7 chakras. A group of stylized figures interacts with glowing orbs, one exclaiming, huh, in confusion. Stylized figures are scattered around various objects, one figure thinking 10 sucks per ring. Whispers spread, questioning the impossible. Had he truly opened all 7 chakras? One man wonders how he could have done it. The crowd discusses the matter. One recalls that the Li family once invited a rank 4 alchemist to treat him, but even that attempt failed. A man reflects on the past, recalling that he always thought that he defeated Lan Fei using elixirs or martial arts. He is told to look carefully. A foot descends with tremendous force, the impact creating a shockwave that reverberates through the surroundings. A fist, radiating heat and power, clenches tightly, ready to unleash its might. Golden energy flares around him, a testament to his awakened power. Chains shatter under the immense pressure, their links unable to withstand the force. He stands at the center of a swirling vortex of golden energy, his presence commanding and absolute. Determination etched on his face, he prepares to strike, his fist leading the charge. The surface cracks and splinters, a visual representation of the power unleashed. The crowd stares in disbelief at the glowing green crystal before them. The observers discuss the impossible feat, speculating on the techniques used. One notes Li Xiaoyan hid his abilities well. The man with the ponytail asks if everyone is satisfied, looking down at someone. Instructor Wang Feng declares he is very busy and will take his leave, a smirk playing on his lips. The crowd murmurs about Instructor Wang Feng being mocked, some finding it harsh. Wang Feng, face contorted in rage, calls him an arrogant brat, questioning if opening his chakras makes him great. The man smiles, walking away as Wang Feng and another man watch him go. The man with purple hair is seen from a distance, a look of surprise on his face. The man with purple hair kneels on the ground, defeated. Lan Xian introduces himself as a final year student and leader of the Xian group. The crowd murmurs in recognition of Lan Xian, the final year student. The crowd wonders if he's in secluded cultivation and if he reached the first origin realm. He extends a defiant middle finger, declaring that a good dog doesn't block the road. Li Yunxiao's expression hardens, his eyes narrowing as he glares at Lan Xian. Lan Xian states he doesn't care about such trivial matters and that he is there to talk about his useless brother. Turning away, Lan Xian casually mentions having beaten the little dog. Lan Xian asks if everyone from the Li family is as uncivilized as Li Yunxiao. Li Yunxiao's face is contorted in rage as he shouts at Lan Xian to shut up. Lan Xian questions if Li Yunxiao is stupid, stating that their families have fought for years, and he crippled Li Yunxiao's brother. Lan Xian declares that he will make Li Yunxiao regret being born, as Li Yunxiao retorts that a delinquent should act cool. Lan Xian holds up a document, stating that it is his brother's fault for being involved in such a heinous act. A member of the crowd exclaims that it's really true, and that he thought Li Yunxiao was framed. It is revealed that Lan Xian admitted it was his brother's doing, calling him a despicable schemer. He offers two options. Lan Xian states that Li Yunxiao can either kneel and swear to never fight against their Lan family, or challenge him, in which case he will cripple him. Lan Xian smiles, suggesting Li Yunxiao take the first option offered. Others exclaim that Lan Xian is going too far, that Li Yunxiao won't be able to show himself in public after this. Lan Xian, a 9-star martial warrior, is one step from becoming a martial master. His followers believe challenging him is shameful. The crowd mocks the Lan family, questioning what the elder brother must be like if the younger brother is gay and steals women's underwear. An older man spits at Li Yunxiao, calling him the eldest grandson of Duke Jinghua and the son of General Fei Long. With a swipe, the spittle is wiped away. Li Yunxiao challenges his tormentor to meet him at the arena in 3 days, promising to beat him until he licks his shoes. Those around him call Li Yunxiao reckless, but he ignores them. He reflects that though this body has lived sloppily for 15 years, he has made some genuine friends. Compared to his past life, he stood at the peak of the continent, but he was alone. Lan Xian grabs someone's chin. Li Yunxiao appears calm, telling himself to relax. Qin Ruxue, along with 2 other men, appear shocked by something. A man reminds everyone that if Li Yunxiao doesn't show up in 3 days, he won't have a place in Jiaolan Academy. One of the men replies that he won't wash his feet for the next 3 days. Another man declares that if he doesn't crush Li Yunxiao, he will give up his family name. The Li family and Lan family have fought for many decades, and he will start with those brats. He vows to wipe the Lan family out of existence. Shenzhen and Han Bo thought to themselves to relax. One of the men is extremely worried, while the other wonders where Li Yunxiao got his confidence from, but Qin Ruxue happily exclaims that she will marry him. Alchemist apprentice Lu Yu adds a bit more refined grass to the concoction, hoping to balance his soul power. Flames lick at the sides of the pot, the ingredients within bubbling furiously. Lu Yu is startled by a voice, as the man states that he put in too much refined grass. Lu Yu, looking annoyed, tells the man not to bother him, questioning what he knows. The man warns that adding a dust flower will lower the potency, otherwise it will explode in 5. The concoction explodes in a burst of light and energy. Lu Yu is shocked by the explosion, his face covered in soot and bits of grass. The man asks how Lu Yu knew he put in too much refined grass, stating he just smelled it. He is looking for Jiao. The man explains that Master Jiao seems to always be in seclusion, and he doesn't even have the qualifications to seek him out. The man stands beside Lu Yu, both looking toward a woman in a pink dress. He wipes his brow, lamenting the wasted materials and his own uselessness. The man in the suit looks on. Lu Yao greets the man, surprised he remembers her. He replies that he is honored that such a pretty lady hasn't forgotten him. Lu Yao, the Tinshui Alchemist Guild's receptionist, mentions that Master Liang Wenyu praised the prescription he turned in before. The man is surprised that Master Liang praised him and asks if he is also an alchemist. Lu Yu says he was before, but presently. The man asks if she can help him find Master Jiao. Lu Yao says that he just came back and tells him to follow her. Lu Yao tells her discouraged brother not to feel down, and that with a few more tries, he will definitely succeed. She just knows it. Lu Yu thinks that maybe he's just not cut out to be an alchemist. Lu Yao tells him to stop, and that he needs to believe in himself. Lu Yao says that her brother will always be number 1 in her eyes. She tells him to trust her, and that during his next try, to add 3 less blades of refined grass. Lu Yu asks if she really thinks he's an alchemist. Lu Yao tells him to follow his words and give it another try. Lu Yu says okay, and that he will try again. He, Lu Yao, and the man in the suit walk up the stairs. Meanwhile, Lu Yao and the man in the suit have arrived. They are standing in a hallway. The woman in the pink dress looks toward the door, utterly bewildered. Li Yunxiao stands behind her, urgently demanding that Jia Rong open the door. Jia Rong braces herself against the door, trying to keep it shut as she hears Li Yunxiao's demands. With a swift kick, Li Yunxiao sends Jia Rong flying away from the door. Jia Rong, still reeling from the kick, wonders how this could be the lofty Master Jia. Meanwhile, inside a room filled with alchemical equipment, a breakthrough is occurring. Li Yunxiao dismisses the alchemist's work as trivial, stating he needs help refining a few pills. He specifies that one is an origin-impacting pill, and the other an origin-blasting pill. The alchemist is shocked to hear about the origin-impacting and blasting pills. Li Yunxiao urges him to start preparing the materials, stating that his time is limited. The alchemist wonders if young Master Yun is personally going to instruct him, and if he is actually an alchemist. The necessary ingredients are laid out on a table, ready for the alchemist's work. He stands at the table, questioning why 3 batches were prepared. The alchemist explains that even a rank 1 alchemist has only a 60% success rate. He adds that the origin-impacting pill and origin-blasting pill are close to rank 2 pills. Li Yunxiao tells the alchemist to start refining and to do exactly as he is told. The alchemist, flustered, apologizes as he focuses on balancing the pill's strength and purifying it, following Li Yunxiao's instructions. The refining process continues, with pink energy swirling around the ingredients. The alchemist exclaims that he knows what to do and to take it out. 2 glowing orbs float in the air as the refining process intensifies. The alchemist's expression is obscured by the light. The alchemist is overjoyed, exclaiming that he actually succeeded in refining both the origin-impacting pill and the origin-blasting pill. The alchemist is ecstatic, musical notes floating around him. He thinks to himself that he definitely did it, as Li Yunxiao watches on. The alchemist's face is shown in close-up with a flashback image of him being called garbage. He is an amazing alchemist with him. The story goes that one day, everything changed. The Trash King was no longer the trash everyone loved. A voice cries out in disbelief, questioning if the song itself is trash. How come he feels this way? The robed figure wonders aloud if the officials are slandering him, his expression a mix of confusion and dawning realization. Li Yunxiao observes the situation, deciding that he will purify it himself, seeing that they are already in this state. With a dismissive gesture, he prepares to purify the object, not seeing what all the fuss is about. He remarks that it is just purifying, and that his sole power as an advanced martial apprentice shall suffice. The crowd wonders if he can purify it, as the protagonist looks up at the glowing orb. The crowd is shocked that he can purify a finished pill, and not only the original. Many hands reach out towards the glowing orb, eager to witness the purification process. One observer notes that these are young Master Yun's hand signs, and that he has never seen any of them before, but they must be superb techniques. Li Yunxiao holds 2 glowing orbs, noting that he could only purify them to this extent, as his soul power is just too low. Another observer notes that he used a total of 72 signs, as the pill is purified. A woman exclaims that young Master Yun not only purified a pill, but also purified a finished pill, and that she will forever follow him. Meanwhile, 2 men walk away, seemingly unaffected by the events that just transpired. He stands with his back to the crowd, who are celebrating his success. A woman smiles, seemingly pleased with the outcome of whatever just transpired. Li Yunxiao, still facing away, declares that he needs to go into seclusion immediately. To even have a chance of defeating Lan Xian, he must step into the first origin realm. A nearby scroll boasts that Li Yunxiao's punch was over 1,300 pounds. Meanwhile, Yun Shang and Zhong Lishan discuss the recent events, surprised that he completely opened his 7 chakras. Zhong Lishan notes that quite a number of interesting things happened while he was in seclusion. Yun Shang is shocked that Li Yunxiao is only 21 years old, and already a 4 Guardians realm martial lord and a rank 1 alchemist. His future is limitless. Zhong Lishan tells Yun Shang that he plans on telling everyone during the feast that she will become the vice principal of Jialan Academy, but Yun Shang interrupts, saying she needs to stop them. Yun Shang believes that other matters can wait, and asks how Li Yunxiao can fight Lan Xian, as it is clearly a joke. Yun Shang asks if Zhong Lishan still thinks he's trash, who hasn't opened a single chakra. Zhong Lishan says that Yun Shang's statement is impossible, and that Li Yunxiao's schemes run deep, and he's afraid he's already broken through to the first origin realm. The tapping of fingers echoes as the woman with red hair speaks. Regardless of his alchemic achievements, she can't bear to see him crippled. An old man offers to accompany her. The old man agrees to observe the student's skill level, intrigued by Lan Xian's ranking. Meanwhile, the Jialan Academy's tenfold gravity chamber awaits the impending battle. Landua's upcoming fight against Lan Xian is the topic of conversation. The woman with purple hair wonders why they aren't going to watch. Lan Xian's position is only below the Lin brothers, but she believes Li Yunxiao will become a laughingstock. She adds that Lan Xian only picks on the weak. She declares that only the Lin brothers and Bai Changfeng can be considered true experts. The woman with purple hair admits she has always wanted to see that piece of trash die. She believes Lan Xian can't defeat Li Yunxiao, so he finds joy in watching someone else do the beating. She calls him a complete loser. The woman with purple hair continues to watch the arena. She expresses surprise, recognizing Li Yunxiao in the arena. The arena awaits the start of the battle. He sits in quiet contemplation, legs crossed, eyes closed, a picture of serene focus. Whispers spread among the crowd, some questioning if Li Yunxiao would even appear. One man declares that losing face is better than losing your life. A stout man wonders aloud if Li Yunxiao will come, while another admits they haven't seen him in days, doubting he'd run away. One woman scoffs, declaring that if Li Yunxiao doesn't appear, he's unworthy of being the Li family heir. She asks how he could bear such humiliation and continue to live. The crowd gasps as one of them points, exclaiming that the piece of trash has arrived, silencing the life and death talk. His eyes narrow, a steely glint of determination hardening his gaze as he prepares for what's to come. Meanwhile, from high above, the arena is revealed, and Li Yunxiao stands alone in the center, a tiny figure amidst the vast expanse. Li Yunxiao stands tall, his sword held firmly, a confident smirk playing on his lips as he surveys the scene. Elsewhere, a figure stares intently at a screen filled with hand signs, questioning what makes them superb, while a voice insists they are nothing special. The figure with a box on their head furrows their brow, arms crossed, wondering how the hand signs could be considered easy. The screen displays a multitude of hands performing the gestures, each accompanied by enthusiastic affirmations. The figure kneels, sweat dripping, determined to make the hand signs more impressive next time, acknowledging their current simplicity. Lan Xian stands confidently before the crowd, unaware of the whispers, questioning his opponent's ability to withstand even a single move. The crowd expresses their disbelief that the young master would actually appear, while others speculate on Lan Xian's intentions and the potential consequences. Teacher Luo points, demanding the foolishness cease, her expression a mix of anger and determination as she addresses someone in the crowd. With arms outstretched, Teacher Luo declares the match cancelled, her voice echoing with authority and finality, silencing the murmurs of the crowd. The crowd wonders if this was the plan all along, some commenting on the loss of face for the Li family, while others dismiss Li Yunxiao as trash. Teacher Luo states firmly that Li Yunxiao is her student, asserting her authority and claiming responsibility for him. Li Yunxiao confirms that he is indeed Teacher Luo's student, as she questions why he is being protected from the beating he is about to receive. Teacher Luo confidently tells everyone to leave, stating that she will cripple him in a couple of minutes, her expression unwavering. Teacher Luo wonders if there is something wrong with his brain, questioning if he could have been scared stupid, her gaze intense. A surge of power erupts, a red aura emanating from Teacher Luo as she prepares to unleash her strength. She stands in the courtyard, a crimson figure amidst the onlookers. Teacher Luo is determined to prevent Li Yunxiao from being crippled. Below, Li Yunxiao stands firm, his sword held ready. He faces his opponent with unwavering resolve against the clear sky. The challenger speaks, his expression one of grim determination. He thought his opponent wouldn't dare come. Energy crackles around a clenched fist, power gathering for a decisive strike. The air vibrates with anticipation. The red-haired woman watches intently, her eyes wide with concern. She wonders if words will extend his pitiful life. The crowd is in disbelief, struggling to comprehend the shift in power. They can't believe he became a martial warrior. The figure unleashes his power, energy swirling around him. He reveals that his power was deeply concealed. With a resounding crack, the energy intensifies. The figure stands poised, ready to strike with overwhelming force. The sword descends, a blur of motion and deadly intent. The crowd shouts, urging the fighter to be fierce. The onlookers discuss the fight, analyzing the difference in their auras. They believe it will only take one hit to pulverize him. The principals observe, one disagreeing with the assessment. He believes it will take more than one move. The older man speaks, his expression grave. He believes they're all looking down on Li Yunxiao. The crowd watches intently. One of the onlookers comments that the match is worth seeing. Li Yunxiao and Lan Xian face each other, the tension palpable as they prepare to fight. Lan Xian takes a step forward, initiating a technique that seems to resonate with the very ground beneath him. Teacher Luo observes Lan Xian's movements with a keen eye, noting the subtle shifts in energy. He furrows his brow, sensing something unusual about the technique. It doesn't feel right to him. The air around Li Yunxiao shimmers, becoming peculiar as he prepares to counter Lan Xian's attack. Li Yunxiao stands within a complex, glowing circle. The rules of heaven and earth seem to follow his footsteps, as if alive. Teacher Luo clicks his tongue, realizing that Li Yunxiao's footsteps must contain some secret technique. The red-haired woman observes that it is a high-level technique, as Teacher Luo looks on with concern. Lan Xian prepares his attack, energy swirling around him as he focuses his power. With a surge of power, Lan Xian unleashes his attack upon Li Yunxiao, the force of it palpable. Lan Xian declares that he won't kill Li Yunxiao, but he will beat him until he admits his mistakes. He unleashes the passing cloud sword technique, a surge of power. Amidst the swirling energy, Li Yunxiao counters with a spinning star palm. One of the observers marvels at the transformation, a sword-turned palm, spinning like a star. The clash of techniques erupts in a blinding burst of energy. Lan Xian's eyes widen in disbelief, struggling to comprehend what just transpired. He sees Li Yunxiao moving with impossible speed and taunts him, asking if he's trying to run. Li Yunxiao executes the moonwalk nether swap, a technique of impossible grace. Lan Xian stares, utterly baffled, questioning if he's walking on air. Li Yunxiao floats serenely, suspended in midair. Teacher Luo observes with keen interest, noting the perfect execution and timing of Li Yunxiao's footwork. The diagram reveals that Li Yunxiao wasn't dodging, but completing his footwork, carrying over from previous steps. The energy of the battle dissipates, leaving a swirling vortex. He hangs suspended, a radiant figure amidst swirling, crackling energy. Teacher Luo's eyes widen, his mouth agape, as he witnesses the impossible. Below, his students wonder where the auras are going. The students watch in disbelief, wondering where all the power between heaven and earth is rushing towards. The teacher can only utter a single, stunned syllable, unable to comprehend what he is seeing. Li Yunxiao's eyes burn with golden light as he borrows the power of heaven and earth. The golden light intensifies around Li Yunxiao, a silent promise of the power to come. His robes ripple as something massive begins to take shape around him, piece by piece. Mechanical components assemble with explosive force, the sound echoing through the training grounds. The onlookers gasp, realizing the truth. It's a mecha suit. They are stunned by the transformation. Teacher Luo can only stammer in disbelief as he sees the iron Li Yunxiao. Li Yunxiao stands tall within the completed mechanical armor, a towering figure of metal and light. The planet Tianwu is engulfed in a cataclysmic explosion, the shockwave rippling outwards. The very air seems to crackle with destructive energy as the planet is torn apart. Meanwhile, someone furiously sketches the destruction on a digital tablet. They scream at their own creation, demanding that it stop, as the words Tianwu is obliterated appear above. A massive, white, wolf-like creature observes the unfolding events. An old man watches with wide eyes, exclaiming that he is borrowing the force of heaven and earth. A glowing symbol of power manifests, radiating intense energy. A lone figure stands before a barrage of glowing, hand-shaped energy projectiles. Li Yunxiao focuses, his hands glowing with a fierce golden light. The golden light intensifies, forming a complex array of hand symbols. The symbols converge, creating a powerful formation of glowing triangles. A woman watches in shock, realizing that life passes like a dream, leaving its mark behind. The glowing hand symbol solidifies, revealing the words, Life Seal. A figure stands before a massive, glowing circle, poised to unleash its power. The old man's eyes widen in disbelief. He can't believe what he's seeing. The old man considers the implications. With his current strength, it should be impossible for him to use the Life Seal. The woman with red hair looks on in disbelief. Even the old man can't comprehend how he was able to do it. She wonders if he could be Lord Yangdi's disciple. The woman questions if it is Lord Yangdi's Life Seal. She wonders how a mere one-star martial warrior can use the Life Seal, and what his relationship is with Lord Yangdi. The Life Seal manifests as a glowing orange fist, crackling with energy. The force of the Life Seal washes over the arena. The purple-haired fighter is caught in the blast, his body visibly strained. The energy intensifies, the robes of onlookers whipping in the sudden burst of power. The Life Seal detonates, sending shockwaves of orange energy outward. Meanwhile, a figure stands on a rooftop, looking down at the arena below with a stoic expression. The crowd is in shock, their faces a mixture of fear and disbelief at the display of power. The arena is completely destroyed. The young master of the Li family, Li Yunxiao, has defeated Lan Xian, a 9-star martial warrior. The figure on the rooftop continues to watch, contemplating the tactic of borrowing the force of heaven and earth. Lan Xian lies defeated, broken amidst the shattered remains of the arena. The crowd murmurs in disbelief at the one-sided defeat. He stands over his fallen opponent, the gap in strength between them shockingly vast. As he raises his foot, the onlookers scream for him to stop this senseless violence. High above, a figure watches with an inscrutable expression, their face shadowed. The crowd is horrified. He's completely mad, ignoring the principal's orders. Ignoring their pleas, he continues his brutal assault, heedless of the consequences. His foot descends with terrible force, a crimson aura surrounding the impact. A sickening crack echoes through the arena as something vital breaks within Lan Xian. Blood blossoms across Lan Xian's chest, a testament to the devastating blow. The spectators gasp, their faces etched with horror and disbelief at the brutal act. He crippled him, one of them exclaims, unable to comprehend the sheer ruthlessness. Lan Xian screams in agony, his future as a martial warrior shattered forever. He'll be crippled forever. A figure flees, dwarfed by the looming threat behind him. An older man watches the scene unfold, his face etched with horror. A primal scream tears from the victim's throat, raw and agonized. Teacher Luo gasps, recognizing the name of the aggressor, Li Yunxiao. The victor's foot grinds into the defeated opponent's face. He sneers at Lan Xian, demanding utter humiliation. Lan Xian's scream is a testament to his broken pride and physical agony. A young man's face reflects the shock and disbelief rippling through the crowd. The pristine white and blue of Li Yunxiao's robe stands in stark contrast. A muffled, desperate plea echoes, "Shoes." The image of Lan Xian's humiliation is almost cartoonish in its intensity. Li Yunxiao stands tall, a vial in his hand, looking down at his defeated opponent. The old man below him calls him a brat, saying he was too vicious. The defeated man lies prone on the cracked earth, blood pooling around his head. His eyes are wide with shock and pain. The old man's head is turned away, his white hair flowing. He seems to be in disbelief at what he has witnessed. The old man's face is etched with concern, his one visible eye narrowed. He seems to be questioning Li Yunxiao's methods. Li Yunxiao stands with his back to the old man, his arms crossed. The old man looks up at him, his expression unreadable. The old man's face is filled with a mixture of pity and disapproval. He was already crippled. He says, questioning, "Why did you continue?" Li Yunxiao turns to face the old man, his expression cold. He states that the fight was to the death, and the man's life is now in his hands. Li Yunxiao's face is contorted with rage as he yells, F***CK off. His eyes are wide with fury. Two figures are shown, one with red hair and glasses, the other with a beard and a blue hat. They are reacting to something, possibly the events that just transpired. The students behind him look on in disbelief as the old man laughs, seemingly amused by something. But the amusement quickly fades, replaced by a simmering rage. The old man calls him a brat, demanding to know who he is. Li Yunxiao stands firm, arms crossed, and declares that he wouldn't dare speak to Zhong Lishan, the principal of Jialan Academy. He scoffs at the principal's age and status. The onlookers are shocked by Li Yunxiao's disrespect. They whisper that this brat is crazy, and that he is really crazy. The principal's face contorts in fury, blue flames erupting around him as he shouts the word die. The force of Zhong Lishan's anger cracks the ground beneath Li Yunxiao's feet. The principal's power is immense. Zhong Lishan is now at the center of a swirling vortex of blue energy, ready to unleash his full power. Li Yunxiao grits his teeth, his eyes narrowed in defiance. He calls the principal an old geezer. He continues to berate the principal, accusing him of oppressing a 15-year-old martial warrior despite being over 100 years old himself. The principal, engulfed in blue flames, warns Li Yunxiao that if he doesn't die today, he will make him pay 100 times over in the future. The text emphasizes the power dynamic. Under a martial king's pressure, Li Yunxiao is but a one-star martial warrior. Despite the immense pressure, he remains standing. Li Yunxiao actually didn't kneel. Even those watching from afar feel the immense power he is releasing. His stubborn will refuses to break. How could such an unyielding spirit reside in such a frail body? Golden energy explodes from the ground around him. The onlookers are shocked, recognizing something familiar in his stubbornness. They can't quite place it. Zhong Lishan watches from above, his expression unreadable as he gazes down at the defiant student. The statue of Gu Feiyang stands tall, a silent testament to a legendary figure. The name echoes in the air. His spirit and expression are becoming something more, something familiar to those who know the legends. The energy surrounding him is identical to that of the great Gu Feiyang, a legendary figure of immense power. A cough breaks the silence, a sign of the strain on his body as he pushes his limits. Li Yunxiao glares, defiant. He declares that even if he dies, he will take Zhong Lishan down with him. He prepares to use the Origin Blasting Pill, a dangerous and powerful item, as a last resort. Zhong Lishan wonders how he is about to use the full strength of a martial king to suppress this brat. Even if he makes him yield, his reputation will be doomed. The power intensifies, and he wonders what this new level of strength will bring as he prepares to fight. His eyes burn with an inner light, a power ready to be unleashed. Lan Fei watches with growing alarm, sensing the shift in the atmosphere. Golden energy crackles around his hands, a tangible force taking shape. The very air begins to swirl, a vortex of wind and cloud ascending. He stands amidst the gathering storm, power radiating from his core. Lan Fei gasps, recognizing the technique, while Zhong Lishan struggles to comprehend the unfolding power. Zhong Lishan stares in disbelief, muttering about the ascent of wind and clouds. Fear grips Zhong Lishan as he witnesses the legendary technique firsthand. Zhong Lishan's pride crumbles as he questions his fear of a one-star martial. The wind and clouds continue their ascent, a tangible manifestation of immense power. The world itself seems to stir as he channels the great wind and cloud palm. He stands ready, the power of the wind and clouds at his command. Gazing down from above, a figure surveys the Shun Shao Palace, a place he has teased the mistress of and roamed freely within its forbidden places. A stern voice booms out, cutting through the air with a single, sharp command, "Stop!" The man reflects on Li Yunxiao's abilities, noting that he knows how to use the Life Cloud Palm Seal and the Great Wind Cloud Palm. The man speaks to Li Yunxiao, stating that he has nothing to say about him injuring Lan Xian, but that he shouldn't have been so cruel, warning him that there won't be a next time. The figure stands amidst a crater, the air crackling with residual energy, a testament to the power he wields. Two onlookers observe the scene, one questioning what is happening, their expressions a mix of awe and disbelief. A group wonders aloud when the principal became so easygoing, noting that even a prince or princess would have been punished for such offenses. The woman urgently commands someone to hurry up and disperse the power, her face etched with concern. A close-up reveals a man's face, his expression a mixture of anger and determination as he speaks. Another woman realizes that Li Yunxiao is absorbing all the energy from the origin-blasting pill, exclaiming that he was lucky to run fast. He stands in a meditative pose, surrounded by golden aura. Golden energy emanates from Li Yunxiao as Teacher Luo kneels nearby. Teacher Luo stares intently, realizing, I can borrow the power of this rule of his to cultivate. A group of onlookers watch Li Yunxiao and Teacher Luo. They wonder why Teacher Luo is cultivating with him. A man shouts, declaring that no one is allowed to linger on the fighting grounds. The crowd of onlookers begins to disperse, moving away from the fighting grounds. One of the men watches intently as Li Yunxiao and Teacher Luo continue their cultivation. The ground cracks and splits as the energy intensifies around the pair. The air vibrates with the force of their combined power. The earth itself seems to groan under the strain of the energy. Teacher Luo glows with a red aura, her power surging. Teacher Luo realizes that the bottleneck in her cultivation seems to have completely opened, and she can feel heaven and earth energy flowing into her body. She has broken through, yet Teacher Luo wonders about Li Yunxiao's cultivation technique. Her eyes narrow, a storm brewing behind her lenses as she stares down at him. With a swift motion, Teacher Luo grabs Li Yunxiao, demanding to know what he's doing. Li Yunxiao seems confused by her sudden outburst, as Teacher Luo congratulates him on his advancement to a 2-star ranked martial warrior. Li Yunxiao explains that it's much harder for her to advance, being a 4 Guardians realm martial lord, compared to him, a mere martial warrior. Teacher Luo grabs Li Yunxiao's hair, telling him not to act dumb and questioning how many days it has been since he advanced to martial warrior. Teacher Luo says that she's only been in seclusion for 5 days and the entire world has changed, demanding an explanation. Li Yunxiao, wincing in pain, says his injuries haven't healed yet and that he'll give her an explanation after he's had a good long rest. Bruises and cuts mark his face, a testament to his recent battles. Teacher Luo relents, but only for 3 days, giving Li Yunxiao a brief reprieve. She tells him to come and find her in her office in 3 days, leaving Li Yunxiao to mutter about her demanding nature. Li Yunxiao wonders how she can be so bossy and unreasonable, but acknowledges her great talent. He smirked, a glint in his eye as he considered the possibilities. He thought to himself that he should train her properly. A surge of power emanated from within, a silent testament to his growing strength. The energy crackled around him, unseen but palpable. The student walked with purpose, focused on his own cultivation. He knew he needed to cultivate the remaining energy from the origin-blasting pill quickly. Whispers spread through the academy, carried on the wind. The students were shocked by the news of Lan Xian's defeat. One student wondered aloud what had happened. She questioned if Lan Xian had not crippled Li Yunxiao, noting that it was unlike his usual character. The students discussed the battle, marveling at the protagonist's power. One exclaimed that he had a really strong aura, and they didn't even dare to go within 3 feet of him. The students continued to gossip, now about Lan Xian's injuries. One student thought that even a mini Fengyun rankings top 2 by Cheng Feng and Lin Yu wouldn't even stand a chance against him. The students discussed the implications of Lan Xian's injuries. One student mentioned that Teacher Ku in the infirmary is a first-ranked alchemist, questioning how he could diagnose a patient wrongly. The students warned each other to be careful around Li Yunxiao. They said they should all tread carefully around him and not provoke him, or else no one will be able to save you. The student's eyes widened, a mixture of fear and awe in her gaze. She muttered Li Yunxiao's name, the weight of his power settling upon her. The peak 2-star ranked martial warrior has restored his rank 1 soul power. He didn't expect the great expansion divine technique to allow his soul power to be on the same level as a rank 1 alchemist this fast. It is incredibly effective. Now, he believes he can refine his own Xian weapon and pills. Meanwhile, a bird's eye view shows the architecture of the area. Li Yunxiao reaches for the door, ready to exit. He frowned, sensing something fell off. He shouts that he can't just leave and come back. A woman's voice calls out to Li Yunxiao. The woman stands with her arms crossed, asking if he just ignored her words. She says it has been 5 days, and she hasn't even seen his shadow, as he laughs. Teacher Luo's eyes widen, her expression a mix of shock and disbelief. In a flashback, Teacher Luo confronts Li Yunxiao, questioning his rapid advancement. She states that he became a 2-star ranked martial warrior in just 5 days. Teacher Luo demands an explanation, her anger palpable. Li Yunxiao appears nervous, realizing he's in a difficult position. Teacher Luo unleashes a torrent of questions, demanding to know how he learned Lord Yandi's techniques and how he became a 1-star ranked martial warrior so quickly. Li Yunxiao bursts through a wall, seemingly trying to escape the interrogation. Teacher Luo wonders what Principal Zhong Lishan would think. In another flashback, Li Yunxiao attempts to deflect, claiming Yang Di taught him everything. He thinks that the principal is incredibly discerning to guess it spot on. Teacher Luo explodes in anger, calling his explanation bullshit. She knows that his family has no contact with Lord Yang Di. Standing on a platform, Teacher Luo states that based on what she knows, Lord Yang Di couldn't use the Great Wind and Cloud Palm. Li Yunxiao's expression is serious as he asks how she would know Yang Di couldn't use it. A glimpse of Lord Yang Di is shown. Teacher Luo softens slightly, saying she won't force the matter since he's not willing to say anything. She admits she was worried about him. Regardless, Teacher Luo firmly states that he still has to come with her, as she grabs his hand. They walked along Tianshui Main Street, the teacher leading the way. Teacher Luo explained that Lord Yunxiang wanted to assess his soul power before accepting him as a disciple. Li Yunxiao questioned the worthiness of this master she was forcing upon him. Teacher Luo insisted it wasn't easy to get him to agree. Meanwhile, the Alchemist Guild stood tall, a beacon of knowledge and power. They entered the guild, walking down a long hallway toward the gathering of alchemists. The crowd parted as Teacher Luo led Li Yunxiao through the hall. An alchemist stood before a large screen, addressing the assembled crowd. Teacher Luo announced that she had brought the young master from the Leaf family she had mentioned. A man grimaced, realizing that Jiao Rong had become his master. Lord Yunxiang instructed them to find the apprentice alchemist outside and test his soul power. He shook hands with Li Yunxiao, a sign of respect and acknowledgement. A woman expressed her joy at seeing him again, explaining that her brother's success rate with refining pills was almost 100% after following his pointers. He stands beside a woman in a pink dress and sash. She expresses her gratitude for his help. The woman tells him that his brother's talent is not bad. She adds that if he continues to persist, he will certainly succeed. The woman admits she doesn't know how she can thank him. She looks at him with a slight blush. The woman teases him, asking if he's having trouble being thanked. A shadowy figure looms in the background as she suggests he have sex with her. Li Yunxiao's eyes widen in shock. He wonders aloud if he is hooking up with girls. A woman with red hair grabs him by the head, furious. She asks how he could not see that the other woman was flirting with him. The red-haired woman demands that he go with her to the test. She threatens to beat him up if he doesn't pass. The red-haired woman addresses a crowd, telling two people that if they want to quarrel, they should take it outside. The red-haired woman apologizes, saying they will leave immediately. She gestures with her hand. A man with long green hair tells them to get the hell out. He stands in front of a wall with diagrams. The red-haired woman stands before a crowd with Li Yunxiao. She seems to be explaining something to him. He looks up, annoyed, as someone touches his ear. A small figure looks on with wide eyes. The man's face contorts in rage, his mouth agape in a furious yell. Another man speaks, informing Master Jiarong that two people are causing a ruckus. He declares that he will chase them out. An enraged voice shouts, demanding that they be chased out. Master Jiarong, his face a mask of fury, bellows his orders. In the background, someone is sent flying. Master Jiarong's face contorts in rage, demanding why they are rushing him. The master lectures his students, berating them for knowing nothing of Li Yunxiao's hard work and dedication to his studies. Master Jiarong turns to Li Yunxiao, a wide smile plastered on his face as he awaits a greeting. Teacher Luo urges Master Jiarong to call Li Yunxiao by his name, insisting there's no need for such excessive politeness. Teacher Luo questions why they are standing around, demanding if they aren't going to greet Master Jiarong anymore. Master Jiarong thinks to himself that he was considering bringing this brat here to test his soup power. Teacher Luo tries to dissuade Master Jiarong, but the master insists there is no need to test it. Master Jiarong's face is contorted in pain as he is struck by an unseen force. Master Jiarong is sent flying, realizing he was wrong as he crashes to the ground. Teacher Luo and Li Yunxiao look on in shock as Master Jiarong is defeated. The woman with red hair pushes her glasses up her nose, clearly taken aback. She thinks his talent is great. Master Jiarong gestures wildly, his face flushed with excitement. He declares he'll take him as his disciple. He seems surprised by the offer. Li Yunxiao's eyes widen, a question forming on his lips. Disciple? Master Jiarong recoils, waving his hands frantically. He insists he said something wrong again, retracting his offer. Teacher Luo observes Master Jiarong's strange behavior. She asks if he's taking him in or not, addressing him as Lord Luo. Teacher Luo looks exhausted, her shoulders slumped. She asks that he stop hitting him in the head. A voice booms, commanding everyone to step aside. The crowd parts as Master Zhang is announced. The imposing figure of Zhang Qingfan, chief alchemist of the Tianshui Kingdom, stands tall. He is a rank 3 alchemist. Zhang Qingfan stands with his arms crossed, his gaze fixed on something unseen. Teacher Luo stands behind him. Teacher Luo, Li Yunxiao, and Zhang Qingfan stand together, facing away from the viewer. The crowd watches them. Zhang Qingfan nods slowly, his expression unreadable. He seems to acknowledge something important. The soul power that old man is emitting is incredibly strong, Li Yunxiao thinks. He's at least a rank 3 alchemist. Teacher Luo wonders why Zhang Qingfan came to the Alchemist Guild personally. She wonders if Rushua's illness has gone out of control. The conversation shifts to Rushua. It's revealed she was born with the 5 terminated meridians and wasn't expected to live past 5 years old. It's been 9 years since the Emperor used all the state's resources to find a rank 5 alchemist to help Rushua, who provided a prescription to keep her alive for 10 years. Li Yunxiao states that unless one has the 8th grade 5 Dragons Pure Yang pill, the 5 terminated meridians cannot be cured with medicine alone. If a Pure Yang pill is used, Rushua's illness can be cured. However, an 8th grade pill is something only a legendary rank 8 alchemist can refine. Li Yunxiao dismisses Teacher Luo, stating that she may go back first. He wants to talk with Master Jiao about him becoming his master. Lord Yunxiang assures Li Yunxiao that whether he wants to have a master or anything else, he can do what he likes. Li Yunxiao says he will do what he says and never let him down. Li Yunxiao suggests they find a quiet place, as he needs to think over this. Lord Yunxiang agrees with a simple, "Why yes?" The red-haired woman wonders what is going on. She questions why someone as prideful as Jiao would behave like a servant in front of Li Yunxiao. The camera focuses on the floor, which is a glowing pattern of lines and circles. The group walks along the path. Li Yunxiao instructs Jiao to go to Zhang Qingfan and tell him that the Princess 5 terminated meridians can be cured by him. He explains that Princess Rushua's condition can be cured with the Golden Needle acupuncture method and the 5 Dragons Pure Yang pill. Li Yunxiao sits, contemplating the legendary technique and his own abilities. He believes he can heal her with a few more tries. Teacher Luo asks if he can observe the acupuncture method. Li Yunxiao agrees, but emphasizes the princess's life is on the line. A list of items needed to cure the princess is presented. Zhang Qingfan is instructed to prepare them. The list is held up. A chance to learn the legendary Golden Needle acupuncture method is at hand. Li Yunxiao examines the list, noting the extensive requirements. He realizes he also needs a Xian weapon. Elsewhere, the bustling Tinshui market is filled with people. Even though the Golden Needle acupuncture method only requires a box of golden needles, there's a particularity about the needle's size, thickness, length, weight, purity, and materials. It is best to refine them all. Inside a shop, Meng Wu is told the price is 70 gold coins. She asks Junliang for a favor. Junliang, an intermediate alchemist apprentice, claims 300 gold coins is the lowest possible price. He says he can't afford to lose money. Meng Wu is propositioned by Junliang, who says things will be easy to discuss if she becomes his girlfriend. Meng Wu leaves, rejecting Junliang's offer. He pleads with her to be his girlfriend for 3 months. She pauses, the man's words hanging in the air. He questions her resolve to save her brother. The man boasts of his future as an alchemist, implying Meng Wu is lucky to be used by him. He offers the resurrection magic water for free if she agrees to his terms, but she insists on paying him back. He scoffs, reminding her that without the resurrection magic water, her brother will die in 3 months. He suggests her brother's life is priceless, implying she should accept his offer. Junliang reaches for Meng Wu's shirt, calling her Little Beauty. He claims he's only making her the offer because she's young, otherwise she wouldn't be worth his attention. Suddenly, Junliang is struck, leaving a red mark on his arm. An enraged man demands to know who dared to hit him and touch his woman. The man continues to yell at Junliang. Meng Wu stands beside him, looking surprised by the sudden intervention. A memory surfaces, bathed in a soft glow, where younger Li Yunxiao is seen with a blonde girl. The memory fades as the scene shifts. A man's wrist is seized, his captor sneering, while Li Yunxiao stands in the background. The man's face contorts in anger as his hand is painfully gripped, the skin reddening under the pressure. The man demands to know who they are, promising to wipe the smile off their face as he maintains his grip. A voice booms, declaring himself an intermediate stage alchemist apprentice, whose master is the rank 1 alchemist Jiao. The man continues his tirade, demanding they kneel and apologize, or pay a hefty sum for a doctor. Li Yunxiao acknowledges the name Qing, but claims to have never heard of his son, Long Hao, as he produces a bag of gold coins. But before the coins can change hands, the man is sent flying by a swift kick, disrupting the transaction. A figure looms behind the downed man, their face obscured in shadow, but their presence radiating menace. The shadowed figure's eyes narrow, a chilling intensity promising retribution for the fallen man. The man's eyes widen, a look of pure terror washing over his face. He knows that he'll absolutely be murdered. A girl with blonde hair tied into pigtails looks on, her expression a mix of shock and disbelief. She recalls being forced to participate in Lan Fei's scheme to raise money, never imagining he'd be expelled. Li Yunxiao's memory surfaces, a blurry dream of a peerless figure descending from the sky, imprinted on his heart. The man cowers on the ground, as Long Hao arrives, shouting, "Brother Hao!" Long Hao, followed by a group of guards, stride down the street, his purpose clear. Long Hao points an accusing finger, his expression one of cold fury. The street bustles with onlookers, sensing that someone is in trouble. The group advances, their shadows stretching long in the afternoon sun. Long Hao, junior captain of the Tinshui Imperial Guards, gives the man two options: beg for forgiveness or become crippled and imprisoned. His face contorted with rage, Long Hao awaits the man's decision. He states that the man he calls his sworn brother is Long Hao. A voice warns someone not to be blind to their superiors next time as a sword descends. The sword connects with a man who cries out in pain. The injured man lies on the ground, stating that his dantian broke and that he is crippled. Li Yunxiao states that he chooses the second option, adding that he would like to bother the soldiers. A man with a glowing blue sword prepares to strike. The man with the sword recalls that Jun Liang was crippled in front of him, and he fears his father will beat him again. A woman with blonde hair shouts for someone to just die. A glowing blue sword descends. A man looks on with a shocked expression. Li Yunxiao faces off against the man with the glowing blue sword, who wonders if something is possible. A woman with blonde hair looks on in shock, stating that he caught a martial warrior's sword with 2 fingers. He holds the glowing blade, a smirk playing on his lips. Long Hao's face contorts in rage, his teeth bared. No wonder he dared to be so arrogant. So you have some tricks. Long Hao grips his massive blade, the Blue Moon sword, ready to strike. His eyes glow with power as he prepares to unleash the sword's full potential. The force of the blow sends a figure flying backwards, away from the fray. The figure plummets towards the ground as a blonde girl watches in shock. That is, she exclaims. The girl's thoughts race, recalling the rarity and value of Xian weapons, and the unique craftsmanship of Long Hao's Blue Moon sword. Long Hao declares that his opponent is only the third person to witness the sword's unsealed state, crafted by the rank 2 alchemist Liang Wenyu. He is sent flying backwards, his sword arm extended, as he loses control of the fight. Li Yunxiao scoffs, dismissing the weapon as a mere first-tier Xian weapon, a piece of trash. It's fitting that trash use is trash. The glowing blade connects with Long Hao's sword, the force of the impact evident. Li Yunxiao smirks as the Blue Moon sword shatters, proving his assessment correct. The blade hums with power, glowing symbols swirling around it. Long Hao's face contorts in disbelief, his mouth agape in a silent scream. My sword, he cries, the weapon trembling in his grasp, seemingly weeping. He stares in horror. This what's happening? My Blue Moon, why did you revert back? Long Hao strains to unseal the Blue Moon sword, but the light fades. The Blue Moon sword, once radiant, now appears dull and lifeless. Surrounded by onlookers, Long Hao desperately tries to unseal the sword once more. Long Hao's eyes widen as he realizes the truth. Could it be broken? He wonders aloud. A man's face, twisted with rage, commands, kill him. Long Hao falls backward as the crowd surges forward, echoing the command, kill him for me. Li Yunxiao, followed by a blonde girl, faces a group of armed men. The air crackles with tension as the fight is about to begin. One of the men smirks, dismissing them as insignificant. His arrogance hangs heavy in the air. The battle erupts in a flurry of motion. Swords clash and bodies collide as the fight intensifies. Li Yunxiao takes a fighting stance, ready to unleash his power. His eyes narrow with determination. The blonde girl watches with wide eyes, surprised by the intensity of the battle. She's clearly not used to this level of combat. Petals scatter as the fighters move, creating a surreal and deadly dance. The air is thick with the scent of blood and flowers. The blonde girl wonders aloud if this can even be considered fighting. It looks more like a deadly dance. This martial technique is called the Crazed Fist of 100 Flowers, created by Yuan Shixiao. It is unpredictable and sporadic, sweeping through the enemy with the force of a storm. The force of the Crazed Fist sends opponents flying through the air. They fall like rag dolls from the sky. Li Yunxiao disarms one of his opponents, seizing their sword. He remarks that even though it's garbage, it's still worth a few bucks, and declares he wants it. A crushing grip tightens, the sound of splintering metal echoing. The man's face contorts in rage, declaring his father's position as commander. Li Yunxiao, unfazed, welcomes the threat to destroy his family. The aftermath of the battle is clear, as approaching riders appear in the distance. A frantic cry pierces the air, announcing the arrival of the Imperial Guards. Imperial Guardians arrive on horseback, their presence looming over the scene. Hooves thunder down, the force of their arrival shaking the ground. The symbol of the State Guardian gleams, a promise of authority and justice. State Guardian Hui Guang demands Li Yunxiao surrender his weapon, while State Guardian Hui Ming looks on. He questions how the State Guardians already assume his guilt in the matter. The man expresses disbelief that the 2-star martial warrior defeated Long Hao. A State Guardian, engulfed in flames, declares he must take matters into his own hands. He unleashes a surge of power, of vibrant green energy erupting. Hui Ming is stunned by the display. How could a 2-star warrior wield such a fierce blade? A wave of fiery energy explodes outward. Li Yunxiao prepares to strike, his blade aimed at Hui Ming. Hui Ming realizes the truth. It's a Xian weapon. A manic grin spreads across Hui Ming's face. He desires the Xian weapon for himself. Hui Ming declares that Li Yunxiao's evil ways will end. Hui Guang stands ready. Li Yunxiao steels himself, recognizing that these two are martial masters. He must seize the initiative. Hui Guang's face contorts with rage, promising death. Hui Guang and Li Yunxiao charge, their swords about to meet. The swords collide with a resounding clang. A blinding flash of energy erupts from the point of impact. He descends, weapon raised, a crimson aura blazing around him. The technique, shadow swap. Below, Li Yunxiao stands firm, a platform of fire erupting beneath him. The man prepares to unleash the Devil's Step. The descending figure swings his weapon, a blur of red energy. Li Yunxiao prepares to strike. He thinks to eliminate his opponent in one swift move. The man below grits his teeth, looking up as he shouts to unseal his power. The weapon ignites, becoming the blade of Vajra, wreathed in intense flames. He continues to channel his energy, preparing to unleash the full force of the unsealed blade. The weapons collide in a burst of light and energy. The man is sent flying backwards. A man with glasses looks on in shock, exclaiming about his sword and questioning what is happening. A man on horseback shouts a warning, his face contorted in alarm. Look out! Li Yunxiao stands victorious, but the fallen man is not his only concern. Danger approaches from behind. A blade pierces Li Yunxiao's back, the attack swift and unexpected. An afterimage flickers as the figure with the red blade wonders when he moved. A voice booms, declaring he lured them here. Li Yunxiao, wielding a green blade, declares they could die together, his expression fierce and determined as he prepares to strike. A surge of green energy hurtles towards the two figures, who can only watch in stunned disbelief. One of the figures wonders if he was lured here just to be killed in a single move. He realizes that they're trying to be killed at the same time. The figure feels the impending doom, wondering if this is all a joke. The combination attack, the Guardian's Holy Bow, is about to strike. The Guardian's Holy Bow is formed, a flaming bow crackling with immense power. The two figures combine their power, launching the Guardian's Holy Bow. Li Yunxiao, watching the combined technique, is surprised that they knew such a thing. The Guardian's Holy Bow streaks through the air, a vibrant display of combined power. All of Li Yunxiao's calculations made it clear that he lost. The Guardian's Holy Bow crashes into the ground, sending debris flying. The aftermath of the attack leaves several figures injured and scattered across the courtyard. She stands over the fallen soldiers, her expression unreadable. Li Yunxiao was able to force two of the state guardians to attack together. When he was sent flying, he actually turned his head and told me. The blonde girl's eyes widen as she yells for someone to run. An exclamation mark appears next to her head, highlighting her alarm. The girl is running quickly, and the soldiers are ordered to capture her. Two soldiers stand over their fallen comrades, one exclaiming in surprise. One of the soldiers reflects on the fact that a two-star martial warrior was able to force them to use their combination technique. A soldier swings his sword, preparing to strike down his enemies. One soldier calls out to another, perhaps warning him of an incoming attack. Two soldiers on horseback declare that they have already helped Captain Long by subduing the criminal. One of the soldiers on horseback states that he spent all of his family's fortune on that sword. The man is kneeling, injured, as he orders the soldiers to help him up. He demands they bring the brat to him. Another man, enraged, vows that Li Yunxiao will regret being born for making him lose his sword. A figure flees across a long bridge, pursued by several others. The sound of their pursuit echoes behind them. The blonde girl cries out for help, desperate to find someone. She clutches her hand to her mouth, her eyes wide with fear. Tears welling in her eyes, the blonde girl resolves to find someone to save him. Her expression is a mix of fear and determination. The girl stands before a large gate with the character Li displayed prominently. People in white robes stand guard. The blonde girl realizes that in her panic, she has run to the Li family's mansion. Her eyes widen in surprise. A voice declares that Li Yunxiao is the eldest grandson of the Li family, and now he'll be saved. The narration describes a two-star Xian weapon, emitting power even in its sealed state. The narrator comments that it would be hard to imagine the sword in its unsealed state. The sword rests near a body of water. A man asks why 9527 is running. He is informed that Li Yunxiao has been captured by the Imperial Guards. Another man refers to Li Yunxiao as trash, wondering how he got into a conflict with the Imperial Guards. The man declares that the little one is ignorant of the situation. Li Yi, the Li Mansion's butler, confirms that the girl already knows and shouldn't worry. The sky stretches above the Li Mansion, birds soaring through the air. From a high vantage point, the guards stand watch outside the Li Mansion. A desperate plea echoes, demanding to know when they will save him. The man in the hat explains that the matter is for the higher-ups, and the master has told her not to worry. The woman learns that Li Chunyang is the #1 general in Tianshui, holding the title of Duke of Jinghua. The diagram illustrates the power structure, highlighting key figures and factions within the kingdom. Despite the assurances, the woman feels a crushing sensation in her heart. A close-up reveals the brutal state of the Li family's master, arms, legs, and meridians all broken. Chained and helpless, he laments that he can't exert even a little strength. Surrounded by shadowy figures, the man lies prone, his fate uncertain. Within the confines of a dimly lit prison cell, 3 figures occupy the space. A voice cuts through the silence as the old man asks if the prone figure is awake. The injured man asks where he is. The old man, with a weathered face and long, unkempt hair, chuckles, declaring this to be the Long family's prison. The old man explains that the injured man seemed to have broken both arms of the Long family's young master. He then asks if this is the capital's prison. The injured man lies on the ground, as another prisoner wonders if the Long family has the guts to build a personal prison, and if they will be caught if they escape. The old man laughs, finding the injured man's question funny, and recounts how he ended up in the prison after spitting at the Long family's mansion. The old man continues, stating that the injured man is ballsy, and that he heard that when he was 8 years old, he stared too long at one of the Long family's servant girls. The old man reassures the injured man, saying that he is certain he can escape and free everyone else as well. The old man, his face close to the injured man, tells him to stop dreaming. The old man, with a stern expression, tells the injured man to stay here peacefully. Chained and seated on the floor, Li Yunxiao observes that even rotten food is welcome when it's all you get. Elsewhere, a diagram illustrates the tyrant body tempering technique, specifically the young girl style. Back in the cell, one of the other prisoners believes that Li Yunxiao will give up soon, but another only manages to say I. His eyes glowing with power, Li Yunxiao realizes the energy in his dantian is overflowing, ready to repair his broken meridians. A diagram proclaims the tyrant body tempering technique as the #1 body tempering technique in the world. Meanwhile, a sign indicates the Alchemist Guild is on the 4th floor of the building. Luo Lord Luo, looking distressed, declares that this is no laughing matter, wondering if Li Yunxiao has actually gone missing. A woman with red hair stands beside Luo Lord Luo, explaining that she searched the entire academy and asked his friends, but there's no trace of him. Another man stands with them as Luo Lord Luo is told that his golden needle acupuncture method needs a new assistant because the princess's illness can't be delayed any longer. The red-haired woman suggests that Luo Lord Luo needs an assistant, and since it can save the princess, she'll even act as his assistant. The 3 stand in a large hall, the man in the center looking down at someone kneeling before him. He looms over Jiarong, a dark figure radiating menace. The shadowy figure accuses Jiarong of treating the princess's life as a joke. The shadowy figure continues, stating that Jiarong has been played for a fool. He questions whether Jiarong believed a trashy young master could use the golden needle acupuncture method. The shadowy figure declares that Jiarong will be sent to jail. Once this matter is over, he'll be saying goodbye to his head, the figure threatens. A man in a yellow robe interjects, urging the shadowy figure to believe in young Master Yun. He insists that he can certainly save the princess. Enraged, the shadowy figure strikes Jiarong. Blood splatters as Jiarong is sent flying backward from the blow. The shadowy figure demands if Jiarong understands the severity of his sin. He continues, stating that it's too late to get help for the princess. The man in the yellow robe calls out to the shadowy figure, identified as Sir Zhang. He wonders how he will explain this to His Majesty. Sir Zhang turns to the man in the yellow robe, asking if Li Yunxiao is a student. He warns that he will also be taking responsibility once he reports this to His Majesty. A woman with red hair speaks, stating that she advanced to become an alchemist because of Li Yunxiao. She says he gave her, intentional or not, some advice. The woman with red hair and the man in the yellow robe discuss the situation. The woman says it's normal to gain enlightenment from random things, and questions if he believes Li Yunxiao can use the golden needle acupuncture method. The man in the yellow robe says he doesn't know if Li Yunxiao can use the golden needle acupuncture method. The woman with red hair states that Li Yunxiao defeated Lan Xian. It's revealed that not only were his meridians completely unblocked, but he defeated Lan Xian using the martial technique floating life seal. The man's face contorts with rage, his brow furrowed in frustration. The man, adorned in golden robes, hears of the floating life seal. He wonders if he could be Lord Yang Di's successor. The woman with red hair suggests that if he is truly Lord Yang Di's successor, he might be able to use the golden needle acupuncture method. The old man with the long white beard speaks of the state of Li Yunxiao's body. He recounts how numerous hidden meridians were destroyed and crushed, making it impossible for them to ever heal. The woman with long dark hair declares that they must mobilize everyone. The man in the golden robes insists that they must find Li Yunxiao, even if it means digging 3 feet under. 2 figures stroll along a lantern-lit street, the Jialan Academy nearby. Inside a bar, patrons discuss a recent battle, lamenting that someone missed it. They speculate that even Bai Chengfeng couldn't withstand a single move against Lin Yu. Yu Hajing is told that Luo Landuo doesn't want to hear his thoughts on certain matters. She tells him not to bother her. Luo Landuo announces that she is stuck in a bottleneck and will be in closed cultivation for a few days. She bids Yu Hajing farewell. Yu Hajing slams his fist on the bar, muttering about Luo Landuo. A bartender approaches, offering him some purple melodrama. The part-time wine vendor, Meng Wu, is asked if they have met before. Yu Hajing remembers all the pretty girls in the junior class. Yu Hajing declares his name and his intention to become a martial warrior. Yu Hajing questions why Meng Wu is selling wine, calling it wasteful. He asks if she wants a glass of melodrama, which costs 6 silver. Yu Hajing throws a glass, exclaiming that he's had it with the cheap melodrama. Yu Hajing tells Meng Wu she is too pretty to be working there. He offers to make her his girlfriend and give her 100 gold coins every month. Hajing's offer hangs in the air as Meng Wu stares, her expression a mix of surprise and disbelief. Yu Hajing's face is contorted with anger and frustration, his eyes wide with disbelief at her reaction. Driven by rage, he grabs Meng Wu roughly, his grip tightening on her arm. Meanwhile, in the background, a lone figure sits at a table, seemingly oblivious to the brewing conflict. Elsewhere in the bar, 2 men search for young Master Yin, wondering if they're in the wrong place. One of the men recognizes Meng Wu, identifying her as the girl who tried to trick young Master Yin. Yu Hajing's anger intensifies as he demands to know who they are, giving them 3 seconds to leave. The man scowls, dismissing them as weaker than himself, his expression a mix of disdain and annoyance. One of the men warns that just because they haven't settled the score doesn't mean they can't. The man's eyes narrow, revealing his knowledge that all of Li Yunxiao's people are children of important military families. One of the men declares he's not in the academy anymore, where rich kids can do whatever they want. The man states that Luo Landuo is the girl young Master Yin has an eye on, and they are actually Li Yunxiao's people. One man wonders if something has happened to young Master Yin. The other notes that both the Alchemist Guild and State Guardians are looking for him. Meng Wu looks surprised as she hears the men talking about young Master Yin. She seems nervous and fidgets with her collar. The man with the ponytail confronts Meng Wu, accusing her of framing young Master Yin. He demands to know if she tricked him again. Meng Wu looks shocked by the accusation. The man behind her wonders how that could be, as the Li family should have already saved him. The man grabs Meng Wu by the collar, demanding to know what she just said and what she knows. She cries out in surprise. Meng Wu's eyes widen in fear as she is grabbed. Her expression is a mixture of shock and terror. Red lanterns hang from the eaves of a building, casting a warm glow on the scene below. The atmosphere is tense. Meng Wu looks surprised that the man didn't say such an important thing earlier. She says that she already went to the Li family and informed them. One of the men says that his servant told him. He says that this is troublesome and they need to bring some men and save him quickly. Meng Wu realizes she forgot and was too anxious. One of the men tells her that she can't escape from this matter either and to come with them. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the Long family's courtyard, bathed in the bright light of day. A figure lies on the ground in the courtyard, while another stands over him. The standing figure exclaims in triumph. Long Ran raises his fist, yelling with excitement, ready to spar. Long Ran's tiger knuckle fist has improved, according to the other man. He is far more diligent than his worthless brother, Long Hao. Long Ran's companion notes that his big brother is already a 3-star martial warrior, and he still can't compare to him. Long Ran is asked what's on his mind, and he sighs deeply, seemingly troubled by something. The man explains that the entire capital has been looking for a young man for 3 days, but they still haven't found him. He feels pressure because his dad is the commander of the Imperial Guards. Long Ran asks who they are looking for and why. The man explains that it is Duke Jingwa's eldest grandson, a rich, useless kid. The man asks where Long Ran's big brother ran off to. Long Ran replies that his big brother went to the dungeon. Long Ran's companion explains that a few days ago, a brat broke Long Hao's arms. Now that Long Hao's arms have recovered, he's going to the dungeon to find that person, promising they will regret living. The man says that the person was captured by Long Hao 3 days ago and seems to be a young man. He asks if that sounds like the person they're looking for. The man recalls that Long Hao said that person was called Yun something. Long Ran is shocked by this revelation. The man realizes that since his last name is Yun, that it isn't him. Long Ran suddenly remembers that his name is Li Yunxiao. Long Ran's face is shown in extreme close-up, and he is yelling in frustration. After 3 restless nights of searching, the city guards were mobilized. It was finally revealed that the person they were searching for was imprisoned in the dungeon. 3 days have passed, and Duke Jingwa's eldest grandson, General Feilong's son, is shaking on the ground. A figure with a halo floats above a fallen man, as another wonders if he's already been killed. Bad news arrives. Someone is charged into the Long family's mansion. A man shouts for help. Another man, enraged, demands to know who dares charge into the Long family's mansion, calling it audacious. 2 men cover their ears, one exclaiming that the sound was thunderous and as expected of their master. The commander of the State Guardians, Luo Yunshang, and the master alchemist, Zhang Qingfan, declare the temporary seizure of the Long family's mansion. A man looks up, surprised, wondering if they actually came so fast. A group of figures stand in a circle, their forms blurred with speed. A man observes that they're at least martial masters, as the 4th Division of the State Guardians, led by Luo Yunxiang, arrives. The Grand Hall is filled with figures, the atmosphere thick with tension. He and the others look on, stunned by the sudden turn of events. Master Zhang, Master Su, and Luo Yunxiang stand together, their expressions serious. One of them demands an explanation. Luo Yunxiang, his face stern, declares that Lord Long has sinned. The man recounts how young Master Yin was imprisoned in the Long family's mansion, and how Long Hao captured Li Yinxiao. One of the women asks Meng Wu to recount everything that happened that day, as a hand clenches in anger. Meng Wu carefully explained everything that happened that day, covering Julian's harassment, Li Yunxiao's intervention, and how Li Yunxiao was wounded before being captured by Long Hao. Luo Yunxiang declares that they are temporarily seizing the mansion, warning Lord Long to cooperate. A man laments that one of his disciples caused this situation, admitting he was careless. A man's face is contorted in rage as he demands to know if Li Yunxiao is dead or alive. Another man claims he doesn't know either, stating that this was all his treacherous son's doing. He sits in meditation, his broken meridians slowly healing. Li Yunxiao knows he needs more time to recover his primordial qi. Unfortunately, they came several hours early, which is bad. A cloaked figure, holding a lantern, emerges from a doorway, the sound of the door creaking open echoing in the chamber. Torches flicker as a group gathers outside a barred gate. An order rings out, "Bring that brat to me." A man sits in a chair, surrounded by others, declaring that today, he'll make Li Yunxiao regret living in this world. Li Yunxiao is chained, his arms outstretched, as his captors loom over him, the metallic clang of the chains filling the air. Li Yunxiao's eyes narrow, as he hears that there are 35 people in total, 12 of whom are martial warriors. An older man with a long white beard observes that there's one martial master present. Li Yunxiao realizes his primordial qi has yet to fully recover. It'll be tough to kill his way out. Salted water mixed with special drugs is poured onto Li Yunxiao's wounds. Once it hits, it'll quickly erode the person's muscles and veins. 2 men, holding buckets, look on with a sense of confusion, unsure of what they are seeing. Li Yunxiao's face is covered in sweat, as one of the men exclaims, wondering where his wounds went. He stares intensely, a sinister smile playing on his lips. A man with a bandaged arm lunges forward, fury contorting his face. The man, Long Hao, screams for Li Yunxiao to shut his mouth as he throws a punch. The punch connects, sending Li Yunxiao's head snapping back from the force. Another man, wearing a red bandana, observes Li Yunxiao, calling him a beaten dog. Long Hao smirks, asking about Li Yunxiao's blue moon as blood trickles from his mouth. Another man tries to stop Long Hao, but Long Hao grabs him, yelling to kill Li Yunxiao. The man Long Hao is grabbing shouts that Li Yunxiao's death is inevitable and that he is trying to provoke them. Long Hao and another man stand over Li Yunxiao, Long Hao saying he almost fell for his scheme. Li Yunxiao is tied up, arms outstretched, as Long Hao orders him to be whipped 100 times. He thinks it strange that Long Hao's punch shook his organs, but the force was partly absorbed and transformed into primordial qi. His eyes widen, realizing something about the nature of the attack. He stares ahead, eyes wide with shock, a trickle of blood on his face. Is this the power of the tyrant body tempering technique? The tyrant martial sovereign's domineering body could resist his primordial qi. As the fight approached its end, it became clear that Li Yunxiao had lost. Li Yunxiao reflects, understanding the tyrant's body wasn't as simple as just resisting primordial qi. The tyrant body tempering technique isn't inferior to the great expansion divine technique. Although this technique could absorb the other party's energy, in a 9 heavens realm, who would dare stay still and let a martial sovereign strike them? Even the tyrant didn't dare let his opponents strike his body directly. It is only after experiencing it now that Li Yunxiao realizes how terrifying the technique was, thinking it invincible, but it has flaws. Li Yunxiao is wounded, bloodied, and thinks to himself, however, a large man with a whip stands over Li Yunxiao, taunting him to see what he can do. The whip lashes out, striking Li Yunxiao, as the large man tells him to use more force. Li Yunxiao grits his teeth, recovering his primordial qi. The hooded man observes that the brat's bones are tough. Even after being hit so many times, he hasn't cried out. The man with the wrapped arm agrees, stating it's good that his bones are tough. Otherwise, he would beg for mercy or die after a few hits, ruining their fun. Red energy crackles around Li Yunxiao as he vows to become a 3-star martial warrior. A voice shouts, "Stop!" as a foot descends toward the recovering Li Yunxiao, who clicks his tongue. The man with the wrapped arm chuckles, saying he'll give the main course now. He believes Li Yunxiao will have a great time. Li Yunxiao, injured, thinks that his body is severely injured. The hooded man decides to wait and see what happens. A man holding a container tells his companions to come closer. He says the powder inside was carefully refined by him. The man prepares to administer the powder. The pink dust swirls within the container. The two men behind him react with surprise, uttering, "and ah," as they begin to feel the effects. The two men's faces flush as they begin to feel the effects of the powder, giggling to themselves. The man with the container explains that even a eunuch would have his yang stick revive and be overcome with lust upon consuming this. Li Yunxiao's eyes widen in shock. The man with the wrapped arm tells the powder holder to stop messing around and hurry up and get it to him. One of the captors smugly informs the bound Li Yunxiao that he's getting the whole bag. His eyes widen, a surge of power coursing through him as he grits his teeth. He exclaims in disbelief as he suddenly breaks through his limits. Li Yunxiao is shocked, realizing he actually broke through under these circumstances. With a triumphant shout, he shatters the chains binding him. He retaliates, sending one of his attackers flying with a powerful kick. The other captors watch in stunned silence as their plan crumbles. One of the men frantically calls for an antidote, kneeling beside his fallen comrade. Long Hao appears, grinning as he reveals there is no antidote. The man sent flying by Li Yunxiao curses his misfortune from the ground. Another of the captors urges Uncle Ma to quickly kill Li Yunxiao. The old man, Uncle Ma, steps forward, asking if Li Yunxiao is seeking death. Li Yunxiao prepares to strike, his fist clenched and ready to unleash. He roars, the sound echoing as Uncle Ma challenges him, calling him a warrior. The challenge intensifies as Uncle Ma demands to know who dares face him. The battle is joined, a whirlwind of motion and energy as the two clash. A surge of power ignites within Li Yunxiao, his eyes glowing red as the demonic soul ceiling activates. A figure stands in the distance, dwarfed by massive, glowing red eyes. Li Yunxiao focuses, a brilliant orb of energy coalescing in his hand. My soul! The force of the blow sends someone flying, a pained cry escaping their lips. The impact creates a shockwave, the air itself seeming to crackle with energy. The shirtless man with the long beard grits his teeth. He realizes this rascal could actually use a soul technique. His eyes widen in alarm. The shirtless man is surrounded, a mob of figures closing in, ready to strike. Li Yunxiao covers his mouth, a look of shock on his face as he witnesses the scene before him. The shirtless man is overwhelmed, a flurry of blows raining down upon him. The man with long hair and glasses stands calmly, his hands clasped before him. A blinding light erupts, obscuring everything in its path. The woman clutches her head, a throbbing ache resonating within her skull. He takes a steadying breath, his stance firm despite the unseen pressure. The figure descends the stairs, thinking, I need to first return to the Alchemist Guild. Qin Rushua's treatment can't be delayed any longer. A surge of energy erupts, blurring the air around its epicenter. A foot lashes out, while another man shields his eyes, questioning the disturbance. Confusion ripples through the onlookers, their faces etched with concern and uncertainty. His eyes widen, a mixture of shock and disbelief contorting his features. Someone asks, Are you okay? Another responds, I'm okay, what's wrong? A man's eye twitches as he thinks, thank God, Li Yunxiao is okay. But why is he? Wait, he's actually okay. An observer notes, it seems like this boy has an extraordinary temperament. Are you Li Yunxiao? What's that sound coming from inside the dungeon? A figure recoils, hand clamped over their mouth, eyes wide with terror. The crowd gathers around a fallen figure as someone urgently asks, Chunjun, what's going on? Long Hao has invited his lackeys inside to have some fun, but one man says that they shouldn't enter and disturb him. Li Yunxiao looks on, seemingly unconcerned. The speaker says that Long Hao's taste can't be understood by the common folk. He adds that everyone getting some vomit out is also healthy. Lord Long's rich son invited him to attend without telling him the specifics. He asked what's going on. Li Yunxiao's name hangs in the air. Someone observes that he has the power of a 3-star martial warrior. Another person notes that he has a profound air around him. He wonders if he might not even be his match if he were to attack. A man wonders what's happening, musing that his heart must be unsettled from what he witnessed earlier and that he must be imagining things. A man says he doesn't know the specifics of what happened with him and his son, but that he is standing unharmed right here. He then repeats, well, my son, my son. Someone says that he is afraid the son takes after the father, calling it complete garbage. Another man proclaims himself the dignified commander of the Imperial Guards. Zhang Qingfan asks Li Yunxiao if he is Li Yunxiao and asks if he is Zhang Qingfan. He narrows his eyes, a calculating look upon his face. Zhang Qingfan stands with Su Han, the Alchemist Guild's president, and Luo, the commander of the State Guardians. He explains that he has deduced the other person is either Zhang Qingfan or Xiao Qingwang. Su Han steps forward, offering to try and help with the situation. Li Yunxiao questions if they won't let him try, asking if anyone else has a solution to the problem. Zhang Qingfan observes, flanked by Su Han and Luo, considering the options. Zhang Qingfan agrees to let Su Han try, giving him the go-ahead to proceed. Zhang Qingfan declares that if it happens in Tianshui, he will do his best to protect their life. But if they fail, Li Yunxiao states firmly that his life is in his own hands. Someone shouts for everyone to stop bickering, insisting that the princess needs acupuncture treatment. Li Yunxiao stands with a girl with blonde hair and a man, their expressions unreadable. The blonde girl declares that they are even, her expression suggesting a past conflict. Someone states they need an assistant and asks Meng Wu and Luo Yunxiang to act as assistants, needing to cover their payment. A figure in ornate robes declares that the decision rests with another. The speaker's words hang in the air, as the others look on with varying expressions. The red-haired woman explains that the golden needle acupuncture method is ancient and known only by a few top alchemists. She asks if she can be the assistant. Li Yunxiao is asked if Junyang is his disciple. The question hangs heavy, as the small creature beside him looks on with concern. The man declares that he is finished with his disciple, having already disowned him in his heart. He adds that he didn't pay much attention to him. The man walks away, stating that he never actually knew young Master Yin in the first place. A voice calls after him, begging him not to leave. Meanwhile, the Alchemist Guild's fourth floor ice chamber is revealed. Figures stand in the distance, observing something within the icy depths. A woman lies in a bed of ice, her expression serene. The air around her shimmers with cold. The princess lies still, her condition grave. The treatment slows the illness, but its limits have been reached. Li Yunxiao admits his soul power is too low. Otherwise, he would have found the princess's condition earlier. A piece of gauze bed curtain and 30 gold needles will suffice. The woman with pink hair asks Li Yunxiao if he is confident it'll work. The man with the long beard demands honesty from Li Yunxiao about the chances of success. The group prepares, knowing that if Li Yunxiao fails, they will say farewell to the princess. Li Yunxiao states he'd be 100% sure, but the task is difficult. Li Yunxiao explains that his mental state is still in disarray. Adding it all up, he's about 90% confident. The man with the long beard questions the long-range flying needle acupuncture. He asks if the bed curtain was prepared to avoid suspicion. The old master recalls that long-range golden needle acupuncture requires a rank 5 alchemist's soul power. The red-haired woman questions if Li Yunxiao thinks he is Master Yang Di, demanding seriousness about the princess's condition. Li Yunxiao states that he is very serious about this, his expression grave and determined. Meng Wu is instructed to focus on holding the princess up, as the others prepare for the procedure. The older man demands they ignore the bed curtain and proceed face to face, while the red-haired woman insists the princess is not someone to play with. Li Yunxiao is shocked to hear that the princess needs to be fully naked to administer the long-range golden needle acupuncture. Someone recalls that if His Majesty ordered him to marry her, he would have no choice but to accept. He is warned not to fall for any dirty tricks. Li Yunxiao crosses his arms, a dark mood settling over him as he considers the implications. The older man thinks that Li Yunxiao sees this serious situation as child's play, worrying about the princess's condition. The older man declares that it would be impossible to save her, ordering Meng Wu and Luo Yunxiang to stay while everyone else leaves. Meng Wu is instructed to remove all of the princess's clothes, while teacher Luo is told to raise the bed curtain. Li Yunxiao prepares for the acupuncture, his expression focused as he holds a glowing needle. He declares his intent with unwavering confidence, promising a precise strike. The needle pierces through layers, finding its mark with uncanny accuracy. The woman with red hair gasps, realizing Li Yunxiao knows more than he should. How could he know about her golden threaded undergarments? A faint golden glow emanates from teacher Luo's neck, confirming the presence of the undergarments. She notes that it's a trend with girls now. Teacher Luo, visibly annoyed, accuses Li Yunxiao of having a big mouth, questioning how much he's off. The princess lies still, awaiting the next step of the treatment. The air crackles with anticipation. Teacher Luo urges him to hurry up and start, admitting she's only confident in administering long-ranged flying needles. She wonders how she can find inner peace. Meng Wu, with a determined expression, is told to hold her steady. She acknowledges the instruction. A needle shoots forward, propelled by unseen force, aimed with deadly precision. Teacher Luo watches intently, her expression a mix of concern and anticipation as the needles fly. A flurry of needles streaks through the air, each carrying a potent force. Meanwhile, two figures stand before a robed individual, their purpose unknown. Elder Zhang, his face etched with concern, wonders aloud if Li Yunxiao is the source of some brewing trouble. The man Elder Zhang addresses, his expression grim, declares that he'd swallow anything at this point, even if it was unpleasant. Elsewhere, two men react with shock and dismay, the word medicine echoing repeatedly, suggesting a dire situation. Meanwhile, three figures stand in a hallway, their purpose unknown, but their presence suggests a sense of urgency and anticipation. He stretches, his body feeling the strain of recent exertion, a soft oof, escaping his lips as he finds some relief. A nearby figure, fingers jammed firmly in their ears, expresses their exasperation, declaring that Her Highness, the princess, cannot delay any further. Li Yunxiao's eyes widen in surprise, a mix of shock and disbelief etched on his face as he hears the words, "It's done." Attendants surround the bed, watching as Li Yunxiao stands over the patient. The elder is shocked. He wonders if it's a joke that only a few minutes have passed. The figure is sent flying backwards, realizing it's over this time, and his life is on the line. The man yells that Li Yunxiao has guts, daring to use Her Highness. The princess thinks that someone is messing with her life and making her wait, and even if Li Chunyang was he or she'd, Master Zhang says that it really is done. The woman with glasses is surprised that Her Highness, the princess, has already recovered. Yunxiang is asked when he started cracking jokes, as someone notes that she's really fine now. Everyone is shocked by the princess's recovery. Li Yunxiao thinks that a stubborn illness that has troubled everyone for over 10 years was fully cured by him in a couple of minutes. He lies prone, finally believing his life is no longer in danger. One man wonders why it was done so quickly, suspecting a scam. The other chuckles in response. The man shouts, suggesting they take his sister instead. He claims it would only take a moment to chop him into 18 pieces. He continues to berate someone, questioning how long they thought it would take. He asks if the people in the palace are stupid. The woman with red hair exclaims that he dares to scold the chief imperial alchemist. She wonders if the brat has gone crazy. One of the men states that he doesn't know the boy and asks not to be implicated. The man in the golden robes is shown in a smaller panel. The man recalls the last time he was called stupid, wondering how long ago that was. He feels weird, supposed to feel angered, but feels no rage at all. He wonders if he feels sad instead, realizing that someone called him stupid. He questions if they aren't useless. The red-haired woman tells Li Yunxiao to stop bullshitting and apologize to Master Zhang. Li Yunxiao asks if he should apologize. Li Yunxiao states that when he has the capability to do the long-range flying needles, they can come and look for him. He'll think about apologizing then. The red-haired woman thinks that he'd really dare say something like that. Master Zhang apologizes. Master Zhang thinks to himself that Li Yunxiao was successful, and he's not wrong. The man in the yellow robe announces that since the princess has been healed, everyone can leave. The man in the red robe intends to stay for a couple of days, observing the princess's recovery in the meantime. The figures disperse, leaving the man in the red robe alone in the room. The woman with red hair and glasses demands that the two men accompany her. In the streets of Tianshui Kingdom, the woman's companions discuss Li Yunxiao's recent changes. The woman presses them, asking if they have any idea what's behind his surge in cultivation and medical skills. One of the men recalls how Li Yunxiao used to drag others down, but now he's someone they need to look up to. The woman asks if they think Li Yunxiao was being low-key before, hiding his true potential. The men wonder if the Li family has something to do with Li Yunxiao's sudden change. The man smiles, thinking that everyone thought he was useless trash, an insignificant small fry. He's suddenly shown and stood up, daring to stand center stage at a moment like this. The woman realizes that the Tianshui Kingdom's Li family might have something big coming their way. Whispers of the Li family's internal strife spread like wildfire. One man relays that Li Yunxiao's grandfather is near death. The other man adds that Li Yunxiao's father, General Filong, is unable to intervene. He wonders if everything is in the hands of that rascal. The woman with red hair speculates that something unknown ignited Li Yunxiao's change. She believes he gained some sort of backing, allowing him to stand out. The scene shifts to a view of the city. A voice warns that if the Li family is in turmoil, it will affect the foundation of the country. Two men express their disdain for Li Yi. They declare that as long as young Master Yin stands, they will always support him. Another man agrees, stating that the people of the Yasukuni Kingdom and General Filong despise Li Yi. They will support young Master Yin. The red-haired woman stands before the two men. She asks where they will stand if young Master Yin and Li Yi get into a conflict. The woman's expression is serious as she awaits their answer. Her gaze is intense and unwavering. She declares that she is ultimately one of the state guardians, someone under the control of His Majesty the Emperor. The two men look on, listening intently to the woman's words. They seem concerned about the implications of her statement. The red-haired woman states that Li Yunxiao is her student. Suddenly, someone sneezes loudly. Li Yunxiao sneezes, confused. He wonders why he is sneezing when he is healthy and doesn't have cold. The girl with blonde hair styled in buns nervously asks Yu Hajing a favor, addressing him as young Master Yin. Her expression is earnest as she asks if he could take a look at her younger brother. Elsewhere, Li Yunxiao touches his nose, wondering aloud why he was just sneezing. Yu Hajing, listening to the girl's request, seems to think he'll be in luck with romance. The pair walks away, one thanking the other for saving the princess. The other waves it off, saying all he did was help her undress. The woman is confused by the statement. She wonders how being naked in front of someone would allow them to perform golden needle acupuncture. 2 hours later, the pair arrives at Meng Wu's house. The woman comments on the house, saying it is no wonder he was able to open 7 chakras at such a young age. The woman is given 1,000 gold for her brother's medicine. She says that it is too much money for her, but the houses in the capital are too expensive for them to afford. She explains that her brother died on a mission 3 years ago. She and her brother had to depend on a tiny pension each month, so they had to move out of the capital. The woman is greeted by a man who calls her brother. The pair enters a room with a bed. The room is sparsely furnished. The man exclaims, looking at the bed. He says, "My brother Mengbai." Mengbai lies in the bed, his skin green and sickly. The man says that Mengbai has been like this for 4 to 5 months already. The woman explains that she worked all kinds of jobs to save enough money for him. She even agreed to launch phase schemes for money, but they will check on his condition first. Dark veins pulsed beneath the surface of his skin, a grim testament to his fading life. Li Yunxiao's expression shifted to shock as the girl with blonde hair and buns explained the dire situation. "I found many alchemists, and they can't do anything about it." Tears welled in her eyes as she confessed her deepest fear. "I'm so scared. Every day, I'm so afraid." Her sobs echoed in the room, a raw display of grief. Li Yunxiao reassured her, nothing's wrong. He gently placed his hand on her head, offering a silent promise. "I'm here now. I won't let your brother die, even if he wants to." Her eyes widened, a flicker of hope amidst the despair. "Really? What happened to Mengbai?" Li Yunxiao's gaze hardened, his voice grave as he revealed the grim truth. "Heaven and earth poison." The girl gasped, fear etched on her face. Heaven and earth poison? Such a scary name. Yunxiao, can it be cured? Li Yunxiao held up a dark, twisted object, his expression unreadable. "No." Tears streamed down her face as she begged. "Please, please save my brother. If you can save him, I'll do anything for you." He raised a hand to stop her, his voice firm. "Debate me like that. I'll think of something wrong if you put it like that." Li Yunxiao explained the nature of the affliction. "Stop crying. Heaven and earth poison isn't a disease. So how can you cure it? Let me put it this way. There are people who are born differently than others." He explains that those with special physiques and appearances differ from others. One of them suffers from heaven and earth poison. Mengbai's sister asks what can be done. Since he found the problem, he can cure it. Right? Li Yunxiao tells her it's not a disease. Li Yunxiao explains that her brother is like this because he is too weak and the poison is too strong, and he lost control. He says that all they need to do is stop the poison from spreading, then continuously increase his strength, then it will be solved. Needles are inserted into Mengbai's chest. Li Yunxiao thinks the poison is stronger than he thought. The needles remain in Mengbai's chest, the poison seemingly unaffected by the golden needles. Mengbai's sister is shocked that even golden needle acupuncture doesn't work, wondering what to do now. Li Yunxiao, looking worried, declares he'll just suck some of the poison out of him. Li Yunxiao leans over Mengbai, preparing to suck the poison from his body. Mengbai's sister asks how he can do that, questioning what happens to him after he sucked out the poison. He would hesitate if he had the complete heaven and earth poison. Li Yunxiao says that her brother only opened 5 chakras, so how strong can the poison be? He prepares to draw out the poison. Mengbai's sister looks on with shock and worry as Li Yunxiao begins the process. He leans over Mengbai, drawing the heaven and earth poison out. Mengbai lies still, the dark veins standing out against his pale skin. A single tear escapes from the corner of his eye. Li Yunxiao focuses, channeling the heaven and earth single chi technique. Mengbai reflects on Li Yunxiao's willingness to risk his life, a kindness he hasn't experienced since his father's death. Mengbai remains unconscious, while sweat beads on Li Yunxiao's brow as he continues the extraction. The green energy intensifies around Li Yunxiao's hands, coalescing into a glowing orb. A sinister smile spreads across Li Yunxiao's face as he realizes he's gaining innate energy from the poison. A dazed voice echoes in the darkness. The young man's eyes flutter open, confusion clouding his vision as he tries to make sense of his surroundings. Relief washes over the girl's face as she pulls Mengbai into a tight embrace. She exclaims that he is finally all right, her voice filled with emotion. From a short distance away, Li Yunxiao watches the reunion. He wonders who the girl is, his expression thoughtful as he observes the scene. The camera focuses on Li Yunxiao's feet as he stands silently. The air crackles with a faint, unseen energy. The girl urges Mengbai to thank the one who saved his life, referring to him as young Master Yin. She emphasizes the importance of showing gratitude. Mengbai, still weak, kneels before Li Yunxiao. He stammers out his thanks to young Master Yin for saving him. Li Yunxiao looks down at the kneeling Mengbai, a complex expression on his face. He wonders how there's so little poison. Li Yunxiao tells the girl that Mengbai's heaven and earth poison body is lacking. He states that it will need to produce a lot more poison than that. The girl laughs, telling her brother that young Master Yin sure can tell a joke. She seems to find his comment amusing. Li Yunxiao states that he wasn't joking. He tells the kid that it's good luck that he met him, and that if he kowtows to him 3 times, he'll take him in as his disciple. Mengbai laughs, questioning if Li Yunxiao is taking him as a disciple. He notes that Li Yunxiao doesn't look much older than his sister. Mengbai thinks that if he were to have a master, it would be someone who's at least a state guardian, a martial master. He internally scoffs at the idea of Li Yunxiao becoming his disciple. Meng Bai expresses his gratitude to Li Yunxiao for treating his illness. However, he remains hesitant about accepting him as his master. Meng Bai's sister urges him to hurry up and kowtow, insisting that Li Yunxiao becoming his master is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Meng Bai's sister looks distressed, asking if he's saying that she's hurting him. She reminds him of how much she suffered for his sake. Tears welling, Meng Bai's sister cries out, telling him not to cry and that she's in the wrong. She declares that she'll acknowledge Li Yunxiao as his master. Meng Bai relents, asking Li Yunxiao to please accept his kowtows. He bows deeply, his head nearly touching the floor. Li Yunxiao states that he knows Meng Bai is unwilling, but that's fine. He declares that he will now teach him the tyrant body tempering technique. Meng Bai's sister asks Li Yunxiao to teach him a cool martial technique. Meng Bai says he really wants to learn the tiger knuckle fist. Meng Bai's sister is annoyed that the tiger knuckle fist is actually a step below the tyrant body tempering technique in her eyes. She tells Meng Bai that he'll learn what his master wants him to learn. Li Yunxiao insists that they need to start with the basics, like the tyrant body tempering technique. He thinks they're a pair of simpletons. Li Yunxiao declares that he will have nothing to do with the tiger knuckle fist. He insists that Meng Bai must cultivate the tyrant body tempering technique, whether he likes it or not. It seems the technique can actually suppress the poison inside him. The sounds of laughter echo through the village as the sun shines brightly. Li Yunxiao explains that although it's only the first 3 parts, Meng Bai must tirelessly temper his body. Meng Bai questions what martial techniques Li Yunxiao knows, insisting that none can be inferior to the tiger knuckle fist. The text says that Meng Bai's teacher is too ashamed to teach him a rotten, trashy, bottom-of-the-barrel, lowly martial technique that only losers use. Li Yunxiao assures Meng Bai that he knows what he's doing and that he needs to temper his physical body to handle his innate poison. Meng Bai stares at a pile of stones, wondering if they are primordial stones. Li Yunxiao recalls accompanying Uncle Shi and others to mine ore, but stopped when the poison started to act up. He explains that the ores weren't good quality, so they accumulated there. Looking closely, Meng Bai notices something unusual about some of the stones. It's faint. Examining a stone in his hand, Meng Bai thinks that the stones in that pile don't really look like primordial stones. Li Yunxiao says he felt some energy inside them, so he collected them and brought them back. The stone emits a purple glow. Li Yunxiao asks where Meng Bai found these stones and how many there were. Meng Bai replies that they were on the outskirts of the Wufeng vein. He holds up the purple sunstone, explaining that it's a grade 5 material. Li Yunxiao adds that it can be used to condense gravity arrays. Meng Bai asks if constructing a gravity array is expensive. Li Yunxiao confirms, stating it's very difficult for a state academy to have one. The purple sunstone glows with an inner light. It's almost never sold in the market due to its unique properties. Meng Bai's eyes widen, stars practically bursting from them. He realizes that this was actually good stuff. Meng Bai is shocked by Li Yunxiao's generosity. He exclaims in disbelief at the gift. Li Yunxiao smiles, telling Meng Bai that leaving the stone with him would be a waste. He promises to protect it and return it when needed. Li Yunxiao reminds Meng Bai to tirelessly practice the 3 parts. He also tells him to maximize the amount of poison in his body. A voice muses that when the time comes, Li Yunxiao will come to suck the poison out. He didn't expect to take in a heaven and earth poison body disciple. Li Yunxiao walks away, thinking it's time for him to refine a Xian weapon. Now that he's found a purple sunstone, he'll have to change the refining technique a bit. Inside the Alchemist Guild, Li Yunxiao decides he'll first go to the Alchemist Guild. He walks through the halls. Today, a scarred man with an eye patch declares that they must find Li Yunxiao. The Alchemist Guild bustles with activity, its halls filled with robed figures moving between intricate arrays. Li Yunxiao seeks to borrow one of the Alchemist Guild's arrays, but is troubled by the mention of Sir Zhang and President Su. A woman's voice echoes, a simple acknowledgement hanging in the air. A woman leads Li Yunxiao, noting that something seems off with him, despite the honor of being summoned by 2 masters. The summons has arrived. Sir Zhang and President Su await. Li Yunxiao is brought before the 2 figures, but he prepares to leave. A voice calls out, questioning his intentions as he turns to leave. Seated on a raised platform, Li Yunxiao is asked what he is looking for. An invitation from His Majesty is presented, a banquet to celebrate Luo Yunshang's promotion and the princess's recovery. Li Yunxiao reads the invitation, noting he can bring 5 others, and wonders if that is all. He sits on the ornate couch, flanked by 2 figures in formal robes. A question hangs in the air. One of the men leans forward, his expression serious. He says, "We would like to know if you're Yang Di's disciple." Li Yunxiao curtly replies, "No." The man who spoke seems taken aback by the protagonist's blunt denial. Rising from the couch, Li Yunxiao states, "If that's all, I'll take my leave then," turning to depart. The man with the long white beard raises a hand, imploring, "Young Master Yun, please wait." The other man gestures toward a small chest and a long, thin box. This gift was specially prepared for you by me and Sue. The chest is opened, revealing a badge resting on a cushion. The text reads, a rank 2 alchemist badge? The white-bearded man explains that Li Yunxiao's golden needle acupuncture method is far above what a rank 2 alchemist can do, but they only have the power to hand out rank 2 badges. A hand opens the long, thin box. The text says that the stipend he receives each month for having this is quite a lot. The white-bearded man gestures towards the box, saying, young Master Yun, take a look at this. Li Yunxiao glances at the box, his expression unchanged. He declares, I don't need to take a look to know that this is a Xian weapon. Inside the box rests a gleaming, blue-bladed Xian weapon, radiating power. Elder Zhang presents the Xian weapon, inquiring if it meets Li Yunxiao's standards. He examines the weapon closely, noting its many flaws despite its expensive creation. The elders are taken aback by Li Yunxiao's assessment, questioning if he doubts their abilities. Li Yunxiao explains that the Springwater Sword's main component is 4th-grade Dark Water Elusive Iron. He elaborates that their rank 3 alchemist ability cannot comprehend the structure of 4th-grade materials. Elder Zhang is shocked by these revelations, thoughts he had never considered before. Li Yunxiao points out that the refining method, using the inner fire of a demonic beast, harmed the Dark Water Elusive Iron. Elder Zhang listens intently, realizing that they were merely relying on the material's high grade. The elders lament that the Xian weapon looks trashier by the second, calling it scrap metal. The elders reflect on how many years they have been without guidance in alchemy. The elders ask Yin Sir Yunxiao how to refine high-grade Xian weapons, feeling called to him. He offers to borrow their refining room to refine his own Xian weapon, implying they can learn from him. Elder Zhang stands with another elder as a disembodied voice echoes, emphasizing that their progress hinges on their own efforts. Tears stream down his face as he wipes them away, a mix of relief and regret washing over him. A massive structure hums with power, a glowing orb at its center radiating intense energy. He remarks that he has already called over all his disciples. A figure walks away, the speaker declaring that they are not allowed to cause trouble outside, or they will be disowned. 2 men stand in a chamber, one commenting on how the auxiliary array in Tianshui exceeded his expectations. He believes it will make the refining process much easier. An elder gestures, explaining that all these things were constructed when Yang Di was present. A man with a sinister smirk confirms that the materials are prepared and ready. He took in a disciple and plans to help him by refining a few detox and origin impact pills. With his arms crossed, he considers refining the weapon and the pills at the same time. Below, his subordinates react with shock and concern. One man urges young Master Yun to quickly take out the materials. Another suggests that he should concentrate on refining the weapon and leave the pills to him. Xiaorong is told that he seems uninterested in watching the refinement process. Young Master Yun is reminded that everything is here and that the speaker still hasn't forgotten what happened last time. 2 figures stand near a table laden with ingredients, as another man observes from below. The man below remarks that refining 2 different things in the same array is unheard of. Li Yunxiao's eyes widen as he overhears the conversation. Li Yunxiao declares that they are about to witness it. Elder Zhang and another man look on. Elder Zhang's companion comments that it's in young people's nature to horse around, and that he will learn to correct his temperament when he fails. Li Yunxiao places the materials into the furnace, the process having started. The furnace glows with intense heat as Li Yunxiao stands before it, seemingly unfazed. Below, Elder Zhang watches with concern. The furnace roars with power, the heat intensifying as the refining process continues. The man with Elder Zhang asks if Li Yunxiao is going to make 2 kinds of pills, and the man confirms that he is refining all the materials together in one furnace. The man is shocked that he is putting the materials all in one furnace, and at the same time refining a Xian weapon. Elder Zhang wonders what Li Yunxiao understands about alchemy, questioning if something happened to him back then to treat him as a master alchemist. The man laments that he should have just asked Li Yunxiao directly for the golden acupuncture method, and wonders where he learned it. Elder Zhang and the man are shocked, realizing they were fooled by him, and that their reputation will be ruined if word of this were spread. Li Yunxiao leaps into the air, surrounded by a complex, glowing array. The array hums with power, energy crackling around its intricate design. He steps onto the array, triggering a surge of energy, cauldron alchemy. Flames erupt around the cauldron as Li Yunxiao stands before it, focused. Within the array, a glowing orb pulses with an intense, ethereal light. The array eye refining process begins, swirling with mystical energy. Elder Zhang wonders aloud what is happening, while the other man speculates on the array's partial activation. Annoyed, Li Yunxiao tells the 2 men to shut up and watch. Li Yunxiao stands bathed in blue light, focused on the refinement process. The text explains that this spirit-opening axillary array is constructed of 48 basic arrays, each corresponding to a refining method. Elder Zhang notes that only 12 of the basic arrays are activated, but combining them will reach 108 effects. The 2 men are in disbelief, exclaiming that it was actually like that, and that this simple refinement is killing them. He watches, muttering to himself as he observes the ongoing refinement process. The elder seems to be taking in every detail. A blinding light erupts, revealing a figure standing at the end of what appears to be a newly opened path. The light seems to emanate from the figure. Li Yunxiao raises his hand, surrounded by swirling arrays. He explains that refining requires utmost concentration, comparing it to walking on a knife's edge. The protagonist continues, stating that a good alchemist must also be a good array master. He notes that Yang Di's ability to set up the spirit-opening auxiliary array proves his achievements far exceed theirs. Elder Zhang's companion exclaims in disbelief. He questions how Li Yunxiao can refine and talk at the same time, given the importance of concentration. Li Yunxiao retorts that he was afraid they wouldn't understand. His expression is one of slight annoyance and superiority. The other man, visibly frustrated, declares that he won't talk then, leaving them to their own devices. He appears to be giving up. Suddenly, the man is struck by a wave of energy. He realizes he was wrong, his face contorted in terror as he is overwhelmed. Li Yunxiao stands before a large, ornate cauldron, his movements drawing the complete attention of the three figures observing him. Every gesture is like a brushstroke, each movement exquisite as he manipulates a glowing orb of energy. The pill cauldron's true fire has stabilized, and the pills have already reached the gestation stage, the observers note. A swirling mass of dark energy crackles with blue light, the essence of something potent taking shape. The man with the long white beard exclaims that this is iron essence, as the dark orb pulses with energy. Li Yunxiao observes the swirling essence, knowing a rank 1 alchemist should always use grade 1 materials. He holds a purple sunstone, ready to begin refining the Xian weapon. The dark orb continues to swirl, crackling with potent energy as the refinement process begins. Purple energy surges around Li Yunxiao, a testament to the power he is channeling. The observers, using soul power, exclaim that they can see clearly now, the fog having lifted. Raw power coalesces, swirling with chaotic energy and crackling intensity. His gaze intense, the swirling mass begins to take shape. A blade is forming. He focuses his soul power, channeling it into the weapon's creation. Mystical discs spin around the forming blade, humming with arcane energy. The blade erupts from the earth, a testament to its immense power. Lightning crackles around the newly forged Xian weapon, a tangible sign of its strength. Elder Zhang and the others watch in awe. Wow, this sword. The tip of the blade pierces through reality itself, unleashing a wave of energy. The impact point shimmers, distorting the air with residual power. The onlookers are stunned. It looks like he's done. One of them stammers. One of the men looks up, startled by the sudden appearance of the weapon. Li Yunxiao holds out a small container. I want to give you this. He raises a white bottle to his lips, drinking deeply. Li Yunxiao holds out his hand, as Elder Zhang exclaims that the purity of the pills is extremely low, almost like dog food. He questions how a human can eat this. Elder Zhang states that the pills were bought for 1,000 gold. Li Yunxiao says that his grade 2 soul-nourishing pills are better. Another man says that he got the high-purity stuff for Sir Yunxiao. Li Yunxiao states that he has some too. Li Yunxiao holds a pink container with pills. Elder Zhang asks if the Dreamy Crane pills are an aphrodisiac. The man tells Su Han to make it clear that the pills are for old Zhang to use. Elder Zhang questions which old Zhang. Li Yunxiao declares that the pills will do. The other two men look surprised. Li Yunxiao sits in a lotus position, surrounded by a golden aura, undergoing a qi transformation. Elder Zhang and the other man are worried, asking if young Master Yun is okay after eating a grade 2 aphrodisiac. Li Yunxiao's refining has disturbed their minds, making them feel like they are in a dream. They simply couldn't believe what they had just witnessed. Li Yunxiao states that he only recovered a third of his soul power. He sighs, noting that refining takes too much energy. Below him, Elder Zhang and Su Han remark that he has already recovered a third of his soul power. Li Yunxiao raises an eyebrow, questioning what is so strange about that. He explains that he only has the soul power of a rank 1 alchemist, so it's normal to recover faster. Elder Zhang is taken aback by Li Yunxiao's statement. He exclaims that it would take him at least 7 days to recover, despite also having the soul power of a rank 1 alchemist. From below, a voice whispers, calling him a piece of trash. The speaker's eyes narrow with contempt. The man's face contorts in rage as he yells, questioning if Li Yunxiao is trying to compare himself with his master. Elder Zhang pats Li Yunxiao on the shoulder, commending his hard work. Elder Zhang asks Master Su how the Xian weapon looks. Master Su insists that Li Yunxiao call him by name, not Master. Elder Zhang and Master Su examine the sword with divine sense. Li Yunxiao, Elder Zhang, and Master Su all look at the sword with curiosity. Master Su marvels at the sword's construction and the vast amount of energy flowing through it. Elder Zhang comments on the sword's harmonious nature, questioning if it should already be unsealed. He then asks if it could be unsealed again. Li Yunxiao asks if they saw the purple sunstone he added, and Elder Zhang confirms it is a key material for the gravity array. Li Yunxiao explains that it's used for the gravity array, and he merged 2 gravity arrays into the unsealed Xian weapon, telling them to watch well. Li Yunxiao commands the weapon to unseal. He is enveloped in a surging purple aura, the gravitational force intensifying around him. Elder Zhang and Master Su watch with concern. The protagonist brandishes his Xian weapon, its power resonating with the gravity arrays. He notes that stacking the arrays would increase the force exponentially. Li Yunxiao explains that if all 3 arrays were unsealed, the Xian weapon would self-destruct, unable to withstand the immense pulling force. Elder Zhang and Master Su exclaim that the weapon has 3 arrays, 3 unsealed states. Elder Zhang asks Li Yunxiao to lend them the sword for research. The protagonist retorts that there are 3 pieces of trash and asks what he would use if he gave it to them. The 2 elders are taken aback by the protagonist's harsh words. Elder Zhang wonders if Li Yunxiao wants him to use his trash spring water sword. Elder Zhang reflects on how he would smugly show off his spring water sword. He now wishes Li Yunxiao would destroy it, not wanting anyone to know he refined it. Elder Zhang chuckles to himself, musing that being called trash by Li Yunxiao is an honor and an identity. Li Yunxiao declares that the sword's main purpose is cultivation. He will use it daily to withstand the gravitational force, improving his cultivation drastically. The 2 elders are now bleeding from their mouths, seemingly injured by the protagonist's words or actions. He stands behind them, holding his sword. Elder Zhang repeats Li Yunxiao's words. Things aren't always what they seem. The protagonist asks him to clarify. The protagonist is now speaking to a small, turtle-like creature carrying a broom. He wonders what the sword's name has to do with anything, and declares he'll call it what he wants. He stands with the 2 elders in the refining room, ready to proceed. A few hours have passed, and the aroma of the pills begins to fill the air. The scent invigorates the senses. One of the elders gazes at the pills, exclaiming over their purity. The elder holds a pill, marveling at its quality. He believes he is fortunate to be Li Yunxiao's slave. Li Yunxiao offers to answer any questions or doubts they may have, even about music, arrays, painting, chess, and flirting with girls. The elders react with surprise, seemingly overwhelmed by his offer. It is said that Li Yunxiao was a rank 9 alchemist, his name known across the world. Countless high-ranked alchemists begged to become his disciple. The elders call out to Master Yunxiao, their voices filled with respect. One of the elders thanks him for resolving their doubts. He says he will teach them when he has some free time, before excusing himself. One of the elders finds the situation unfathomable, marveling at his abilities. The elders discuss the importance of respecting masters of alchemy, and wonder if Li Yunxiao is truly Lord Yang Di's disciple. He finds a protagonist even more unfathomable than Lord Yang Di. At Meng Wu's house, the girl with orange hair announces her return. Meng Wu pulls back the curtain, stepping into the room. Meng Wu is surprised to see Li Yunxiao. She asks why he is there. The girl with orange hair is concerned, asking what is wrong. Li Yunxiao looks off to the side, seemingly searching for someone. Meng Wu wonders where Meng Bai is. A young boy with a basket announces his return. He says that it only matters that he is here. The boy presents his basket of ore to Li Yunxiao and Meng Wu, proudly declaring how much he dug. A fist connects with someone's face with a resounding thwack. The force of the blow sends the victim sprawling to the ground with a bang. Li Yunxiao's eyes widen in shock at the sudden violence. A figure stands with his sword, explaining its purpose is cultivation and that real skill comes from within. The figure in white stands over 3 fallen opponents, a spear held firmly in hand. Blood drips freely from their mouths as the figure declares, "Black girl." Could it be possible that Grandmaster Gu Feiyang's words aren't unfounded? The spear hums with power, a strange energy crackling around its dark, ornate surface. Let's have a look. The spear pulses with an eerie light, the energy intensifying. It seems to be calling out, "Have a look." The voice echoes from within the spear, as a face begins to materialize within its depths. "Have a look." The face solidifies, revealing the features of a young woman. The spear declares, "A black girl." The girl's face is now clearly visible within the spear, her expression unreadable. She is trapped within the weapon. A figure gives a thumbs up, stating that Grandmaster's reputation is well-deserved. Blood splatters the ground as Meng Bai coughs, struggling to breathe. Despite his pain, Meng Bai points an accusing finger. His sister tries to restrain him, her expression a mix of concern and anger. Li Yunxiao's eyes narrow, his face a mask of cold authority. The question hangs in the air, a challenge to Meng Bai's dedication. Had he truly mastered the tyrant body tempering technique? Tears welling, Meng Bai declares he needed to earn money for his family. He insists he is a man and must provide for his older sister. Meng Bai's sister, her face streaked with tears, demands he admit he was wrong to young Master Yin. Meng Bai's sister pulls him back, while he thinks to himself that Li Yunxiao hits people on a whim and hasn't taught him anything useful. Li Yunxiao, hand outstretched, commands Meng Bai to kneel. His expression is stern, unforgiving. With a swift, brutal motion, Li Yunxiao's foot connects. Meng Bai is sent sprawling, blood flying. Agony contorts Meng Bai's face as he crashes to the ground, a scream escaping his lips. Meng Wu shouts, claiming this is just the strong bullying the weak. He dares someone to kill him if they can, his face contorted in anger. Meng Bai, still prone on the ground, is addressed by a figure shrouded in shadow. The figure declares Meng Bai a useless disciple and a disgrace, threatening death. Meng Wu's sister stands protectively in front of him, her expression a mix of fear and determination. She knows that with Li Yunxiao's temper, he might actually kill him. Tears welling in her eyes, Meng Wu's sister berates him. She accuses him of killing her, questioning why she raised him all this time. Li Yunxiao enters the scene, his expression unreadable. He asks what all the fuss is about, his presence immediately drawing attention. Li Deyuan approaches, his footsteps heavy as he walks towards the commotion. He wonders aloud what is happening with Meng Bai and Meng Wu. Meng Wu points an accusing finger at Li Deyuan, exclaiming that he is the one. He claims Li Deyuan forced him to accept him as his master and now wants to kill him. Li Yunxiao stares intently at Li Deyuan, his gaze piercing. He questions who Li Deyuan is, noting his 3-star martial warrior status and apparent talent. Li Deyuan grabs Meng Wu's sister by the arm, dismissing Meng Wu's claims. He asserts he is teaching his disciple and questions how that is anyone else's business. Meng Wu, on the ground, insists that what he says is the truth. He declares that if he ever wanted a master, it would be Li Deyuan, an expert. Li Deyuan proclaims that when Meng Wu breaks through and becomes a martial warrior, he will form a mercenary group. He compares it to digging in the mines, saying their income will multiply 100-fold. Li Deyuan, looking towards Li Yunxiao, states that he knows the Tiger Knuckle Fist, the Vajra Fist, and the Iron Palm. He declares he will teach them all, but first, he will clean up this ridiculous master. He stands with a young girl, as Meng Wu warns that even though Li Deyuan is only a 5-star martial warrior, he is not Li Yunxiao's match. Li Deyuan assures Meng Wu that he will teach him a lesson. Li Yunxiao states that he won't really hurt him. He declares that he will stand still, not move, dodge, use his hands, or even use primordial qi. He adds that if Li Deyuan can injure even a strand of his hair, he'll kneel and lick his shoes. Li Deyuan repeats that he won't move, dodge, use his hands, or even use primordial qi. The girl looks on with concern, her eyes wide with worry as she listens to Li Deyuan's boastful claims. Li Deyuan, his eyes glowing with power, calls Li Yunxiao a brat ignorant of the ways of the world. He claims that even a 9 Heavens realm martial sovereign would get the *T kicked out of them by his Vajra, Fist, and Iron Palm. With a shout, Li Deyuan unleashes his fist, the force of his attack creating swirling gusts of wind around him as he declares that Li Yunxiao should eat his fist. The scene shifts to an abstract representation of the fight, showing the intense energy and speed of the combatants as they clash in a burst of power. A close-up focuses on Li Deyuan's eyes, now glowing with an intense red light, hinting at the dark power he is about to unleash against his opponent. Li Deyuan prepares a soul-binding art, the words appearing in a burst of energy as he attempts to constrict Li Yunxiao with his technique. Meng Wu and the girl watch in shock as Li Deyuan commands someone to kneel, their faces a mixture of fear and disbelief at the unfolding events. Li Deyuan is now on his hands and knees, seemingly defeated, as Li Yunxiao stands before him. Li Yunxiao tells him to come over and lick his shoes. Meng Wu, his face bruised and bloodied, urges Uncle Li to stand up quickly. He tells him to use his Vajra Fist to send him flying. Li Yunxiao stands over the defeated Li Deyuan, who is crawling on the ground. Someone urges him to use his Iron Palm and make him. He unleashes a devastating kick, the force of which echoes with a resounding clang. Li Deyuan, reeling from a blow, stares up in disbelief, blood trickling down his face as he spits out, "You don't deserve to lick my shoes." The fearsome Uncle Li has been kicked like a dog, sent sprawling to the ground. Li Yunxiao's eyes glow as he stares down at his opponent. "Didn't you want to die?" he asks. "It's your turn now." Meng Bai's face is bruised and battered, his eyes wide with shock and pain. He scrambles backward on the ground, raising his hands defensively. "Any closer," he shouts. A woman grabs Li Yunxiao's hand, pleading with him. "My little brother is young and ignorant of the world," she says, tears welling in her eyes. She continues, her voice thick with emotion. "If you want to blame someone, then blame me, his older sister. I didn't teach him properly." Li Yunxiao turns away, dismissing the situation. "Ah, forget it. I don't need this kind of disciple." Meng Bai's face is contorted with a mix of pain and humiliation, his mouth agape. Meng Bai groans as he remains on the ground. His sister cries out, "Hold on, don't go." Meng Bai's sister calls out his name as he crawls on the ground, while Li Yunxiao watches with his arms crossed. Tears stream down the boy's face as he clutches at the man's leg. Li Yunxiao's expression hardens. He declares that he won't take trashy disciples. The boy, Meng Bai, kneels, begging for forgiveness and another chance. Meng Bai's sister supports him, but Li Yunxiao says he will give him one more chance. Li Yunxiao warns that otherwise, Meng Bai should get the hell out. Meng Bai's sister explains that her little brother only opened 5 chakras. Meng Bai realizes that Li Yunxiao must think it's possible for him to become a martial warrior. In 5 days, Li Yunxiao will return to check on Meng Bai's progress. Meng Bai and his sister look up, concern etched on their faces. Elsewhere, Li Yunxiao finds a hotel near Meng Wu's house and begins cultivating, using Black Girl's unsealed gravitational force. Meanwhile, the Alchemist Guild's president, Su Han, and the head alchemist of the Imperial Palace, Zhang Qingfan, announced that they were going into closed cultivation together. Compared to such a major event, Jia Rong going into sudden closed cultivation was insignificant. Nobody really cared. The door swings inward, revealing the culmination of intense training. Meng Bai stands tall, a massive sword resting across his shoulders, signifying his breakthrough. A distant cry echoes, a desperate plea amidst the landscape. Meng Bai's sister urgently warns him to stop cultivating, fearing the poison reaching dangerous levels. Ignoring her pleas, Meng Bai declares he'll break through, even if it costs him his life. A surge of green energy pulses around him, a visible manifestation of his power. The green energy intensifies, swirling and crackling with raw force. He exclaims his success, having broken through to become a 4-star martial warrior. Determined, Meng Bai's sister resolves to find young Master Yun, believing he can cure the poison. Li Yunxiao observes the situation, noting the significant amount of poison affecting Meng Bai. Meng Bai proudly declares that he actually broke through and became a martial warrior in 5 days. Li Yunxiao agrees it's not bad, instructing Meng Bai to sit so he can let his master examine him. He is enveloped in swirling green energy as Li Yunxiao drains the poison. Meng Bai's sister watches with concern. Meng Bai, feeling weaker despite the pain subsiding, questions his master. He asks why he feels like he's lost strength. Li Yunxiao explains that Meng Bai's physique is the heaven and earth poison body. He elaborates that his poison is innate, containing innate qi, and the stronger the poison, the stronger he will be. Li Yunxiao continues, stating that once a balance is reached, Meng Bai will be able to integrate with the poison and use it. If he can properly use the innate poison, he will be invincible. Meng Bai is shocked by this revelation. He exclaims in disbelief at what he is hearing. Li Yunxiao confirms that there are many superb physiques in the world, including Meng Bai's. He adds that they are all pretty strong and that Meng Bai will eventually encounter them if he continues down the path of cultivation. Meng Bai asks if Li Yunxiao is saying that the poison in his body is actually a good thing. Li Yunxiao confirms, asking why else he would want to suck it out. Meng Bai has an epiphany, realizing that his master has actually been taking advantage of him this whole time. Li Yunxiao offers Meng Bai detox pills to suppress the poison for 3 days when he is not around. He urges him to thank his master. Li Yunxiao states that Meng Bai's talent isn't bad, but since he spends all day working to earn money and not cultivating, he's still a martial apprentice. He offers him an origin-impacting pill, which will definitely make him a martial warrior. The origin-impacting pill glows in Li Yunxiao's hand, ready to be taken by Meng Bai. Meng Bai's sister is shocked to learn that those pills are very expensive. She thinks that the pills Li Yunxiao refined in his previous life couldn't even be bought for 10 million supreme primordial stones. He is sitting calmly when Li Deyuan enters the room, asking if Meng Bai intends to mine today. Meng Bai's sister stands nearby, observing the interaction. Li Deyuan seems taken aback by something. Meng Bai remains seated, his expression unreadable from this distance. A child with bright yellow hair tugs at Li Deyuan's sleeve, excitedly declaring that he has become a martial warrior. Sweat beads on Li Deyuan's brow as he internally remarks that Meng Bai's master is even more of a monster. The group is gathered in the room, the child, Meng Bai's sister, and Li Deyuan all looking towards Meng Bai, who is still seated. Li Deyuan states that everyone calls him Uncle Li, and that it is fine if your grace also calls him Uncle Li. Meng Bai's expression darkens, his eyes narrowed as he demands to be called Li Deyuan, asking if the other man wants to die. Li Yunxiao tasks Li Deyuan with infiltrating the Li family's excavation team, promising 500 gold a month to help find the purple sunstones. An excavation team member assures someone that as long as the stones exist in the mines, they will definitely find them. Li Yunxiao instructs his subordinates to change into something clean, announcing they're going to a banquet. One of the subordinates questions where the banquet will be held, looking up at Li Yunxiao for an answer. Li Yunxiao tells them that their excavation team will be attending the palace, as the subordinates look surprised. So, the group prepares for the banquet, walking through the halls of the palace. One of the subordinates admires her new dress, ready for the banquet. The group continues through the palace, heading towards the banquet hall. Li Yunxiao suddenly remembers something important he has to do, his eyes widening. One of the subordinates tells Li Yunxiao to meet her at the palace entrance this evening. He strolls through the city streets, enjoying a snack on a stick. The protagonist muses that it's better to be alone. A masked figure's eyes narrow, the shadows obscuring most of his face. The air crackles with unseen energy. The masked figure stands tall, surrounded by several figures clad in white robes. The sound of tapping echoes in the air. The masked figure glances down at his hand, a strange expression on his face. He wonders what a strange fellow this is. From above, the masked figure and the robe figures are seen standing on a platform. Lines of energy crisscross the scene. The masked figure leaps forward, a look of determination on his face. He wonders aloud what this is. A close-up reveals the masked figure's hand, now bleeding. The sound of a sharp impact echoes. The masked figure recoils, a look of surprise on his face. He exclaims, how is this possible? The masked figure looks down at his hand, frustration evident. He thinks, I can't circulate my yuan qi. How can this be? Elsewhere, the masked figure is sent flying through the air, high above the city streets. People below look up in shock. The masked figure kneels on the ground, defeated. Li Yunxiao stands over him, asking who he is and what his business is. The figure, concealed beneath a wide-brimmed hat, clutches a bloodied cloth. He wanted to deliver this message in private. It's Li Xian of the Yasukuni Kingdom. He reveals himself, a wry smile playing on his lips. Li Xian asks why he isn't with his fourth uncle. He notes that the rumors about the young master are true, and that he's hidden his talents well. Li Yunxiao states that the fourth master heard he's going to tonight's imperial banquet. Li Xian says if he continues spouting nonsense, he's leaving. Li Xian says that the rumors have attracted the attention of Li Yi. The fourth master hopes that Li Yunxiao will cancel his plans for tonight and avoid confrontation. Li Yunxiao is told that Li Yi is not only strong, but has powers backing him. Li Xian says he's just an adopted son of the Li family. Li Yunxiao says that if Li Yi doesn't know better, he doesn't mind crushing him along the way. Li Xian looks shocked at Li Yunxiao's statement. Li Xian warns him not to look down on his enemy. He says that the whole Li family is practically under Li Yi's control. Li Xian says that his father did not act because he cares about Li Yunxiao and the old master. Li Yunxiao says he only needs to evade Li Yi's provocations and wait until their preparations are complete. He's not interested in their plans. Li Xian says that the emperor must have a hand in the powers backing Li Yi. He usually follows fourth master around and recently heard that his majesty might be involved. He listens as the other man expresses his shock at how easily Li Yunxiao figured things out. The man asks how he did it, but Li Yunxiao simply states that it's obvious. The speaker explains that his father controls 1 million troops stationed at the western borders. He continues, stating that the imperial army is essentially the Li family's private army. One of the figures explains that the rise of the Lan family is a trick to keep them in check. Even so, Qin Zheng is still worried, so he made Li Yi his puppet. The speaker declares that this is what his majesty wants. The old master has the most military achievements and can rally hundreds with one call. The man asks if they can do anything about this. He is told not to worry, to go back and tell the fourth master to relax, and to do what needs to be done. The man pauses, considering the implications of the order. He seems to be weighing his options, contemplating the best course of action. He states that he has no desire to participate in their plans, his expression firm and resolute. He seems unwilling to be a part of whatever scheme they are concocting. The man continues, saying that if Li Yi dares to mess with him, or if Qin Zheng thinks he has played emperor for long enough, he doesn't mind replacing him with someone else. A nearby person looks on with wide eyes, seemingly shocked by the man's bold declaration and the implications of his words. A distant city glows with lanterns, its buildings stretching high into the sky. Every palace banquet is attended by important ministers and nobles, an opportune time to converse and become closer to powerful people. Two students approach Li Yunxiao, one calling out to him, asking if he is Master Yin. The student cheerfully greets Li Yunxiao, asking where he has been these last few days. He playfully thumps him on the shoulder. The student recoils in pain, his hands swelling rapidly. He wonders aloud what happened to Li Yunxiao's body, noting it feels as hard as iron. Li Yunxiao holds out 2 pills, stating that with these 2 origin-impacting pills, they should be able to directly break through to martial warriors. The students are surprised, noting that the pills are as clear as glass, unlike the milky white ones refined by Sir Zhang Qingfan. A girl with blonde pigtails runs towards Li Yunxiao, calling out to him. The 2 students look on, confused by the girl's sudden appearance. Mengwu recognizes the girl as the one from the bar. He then asks Li Yunxiao how his body is holding up. They remark on Li Yunxiao's good eyes, noting his ability to spot beauty. Mengwu's friend is reintroduced, and it's revealed that her little brother, Meng Bai, has become a disciple. Meng Bai, a young boy with a cheerful demeanor, offers his greetings. He stands with his hands clasped in front of him, a polite smile on his face. The declaration that Meng Bai is a disciple causes surprise. One man wonders if young Master Yin is going to such lengths just to pick up girls. Meng Bai's sister questions if he only accepted Meng Bai as a disciple to score with her. Meng Bai looks shocked by the question. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to a grand banquet hall, adorned with intricate decorations and glowing lanterns. The hall is bustling with activity as people make their way toward the entrance. The main banquet hall exudes an aura of authority. Those who can enter wield tremendous power, key figures in the country's affairs. Inside the hall, figures sit at a long table, their faces obscured by the distance. Banners hang above them, adorned with symbols. Li raises a cup, seemingly enjoying the festivities. He is surrounded by food and drink, a picture of contentment. A close-up reveals a character's thoughtful expression, their eyes narrowed in contemplation. A crowd of people fills the hall, their expressions a mix of excitement and anticipation. They seem to be waiting for something to happen. More figures sit at the table, enjoying the banquet. The atmosphere is festive, with lanterns and banners adding to the ambience. Li Yunxiao's uncle, Li Baifeng, is introduced. It's noted that Li Yunxiao, once rumored to be trash, has recently gained a lot of fame. He sits regally, a lizard perched on his lap, his gaze sweeping over the banquet hall. Lan Hong, head of civil servants, observes the unfolding events with a calculating eye. Commander-in-Chief Xiao Qing Wang stands tall, his red mustache prominent. Beside him, Rank 2 alchemist Liang Wenyu adjusts his glasses. Tonight, all eyes are on Li Yunxiao. First Prince Qin Yang and second Prince Qin Yu are the primary focus of this banquet. The two princes stand side by side, observing the proceedings with keen interest. A voice cuts through the murmur, questioning Li Yunxiao's presence at the table. The speaker demands, "Aren't you a member of the Li family? How can you sit with another family?" The banquet hall buzzes with activity, banners bearing the Li family crest fluttering overhead. Servants weave through the crowd, attending to the guests' needs as the tension rises. A woman looks up, confused by the commotion. She asks, Why? Her companion seems to be the one who is speaking to Li Yunxiao. Another man observes the scene with amusement, remarking, if someone's nostrils face up, he seems to be enjoying the unfolding drama. Suddenly, a jet of water erupts, aimed directly at Li Yunxiao's face. The attacker sneers. Wouldn't they get filled with water during rainy days? Laughter erupts throughout the hall as the water strikes Li Yunxiao. The guests find the display highly amusing, reveling in his humiliation. Lan Hong chuckles, a hint of malice in his eyes. Another figure beside him also smirks, clearly enjoying Li Yunxiao's predicament. A hand gestures dismissively as someone declares, "This kid is amusing." The focus shifts back to Li Yunxiao, who remains seated. Suddenly, a figure lunges forward, striking at Li Yunxiao. He shouts, "Insolent! You're a member of the Li family. How can you not greet the master? Kneel and repent." He advances, face contorted in rage, hand outstretched to strike. The servant shouts that Li Yunxiao isn't greeting the master, but the words are cut short as he is sent flying backwards. The cup slips from his grasp as he is sent reeling, blood spraying from his mouth. Li Yunxiao stands firm, fists still clenched from the blow he delivered. The servant slams against the floor, the impact echoing through the hall. The onlookers are stunned into silence, their faces a mixture of shock and disbelief. One man, eyes wide with fury, shouts his disbelief and curses Li Yunxiao. The servant lies amidst the wreckage of the table, a broken mess of dishes and scattered fruit surrounding him. He is remembered as a servant of the Li family. Li Baifeng, holding a cup, coolly tells someone to watch their dog. From the throne room, a man's voice booms, threatening to shatter bones and feed them to the dogs. The man declares that today is a banquet hosted by His Majesty, unwilling to shatter bones in front of the officials. Several figures are sent flying through the air, crashing down with brutal force. A figure leaps forward, sword extended, ready to strike at the banquet. Another man points, his expression stern, as the chaos unfolds before him. One of the figures groans as they're sent tumbling, the impact clearly painful. The man from before states that today is a big day, a banquet hosted by His Majesty and his officials, ordering the disturbance to cease. Commander Xiao agrees, instructing someone to clean up the mess and set up another table for young Master Li. Elsewhere, Li Yunxiao calmly pours himself a drink, seemingly unfazed by the commotion. Another man warns Li Yunxiao to prepare himself, stating that his actions have consequences. The man's expression is stern, his gaze fixed on something unseen. One man scoffs, declaring that someone is all bark no bite as another drinks. His movements are seamless, flowing like water, floating like clouds, without even the slightest hesitation. His fists and movements followed his will seamlessly. Even he wouldn't claim to have such a deep understanding of martial arts, the man thinks. The emperor sits on his throne, as people bow before him, chanting, "Long live the emperor!" Tinshui's Emperor Qinzheng sits upon his throne, flanked by two women, as a banner hangs behind him. The emperor sits with a woman, their expressions unreadable as they sit together. Two women stand side by side, their faces showing a mix of surprise and curiosity. The speaker declares the banquet is held in celebration of two joyous occasions, but someone thinks it's lame. These two events bring him endless joy and relief, the emperor thinks, his face beaming. "Your Majesty, such great fortune," one man exclaims, adding that the heavens must have blessed Tinshui with talents. The old official has prepared two special gifts, he says as he claps his hands. A woman with pink hair looks up, her eyes wide with surprise. Moon pearls, taken from the Eastern Sea, rest in a box. They are intended for Commander Luo and Princess Rushue. The man with the red mustache states that the pearls cost a couple 100,000 gold coins. He has prepared 2 martial techniques as a gift. The man with the red mustache explains that one technique is the smashing axe Sunday. The women thank the commander for the gifts. The man in the gray robe says that he has refined grade 2 youth pills. He claims they can preserve youth for over 20 years. The Prime Minister commissioned Sir Shi Wanjiang to make a hairpin out of tranquil jade. He hopes Commander Luo's elegance and beauty will be eternal. The man with glasses explains that tranquil jade calms the person's mind. He says it's a rare treasure only fit to be worn by Commander Luo. The Emperor, Tianshui Emperor Qinzheng, sits on his throne. He states that Princess Rushue's beauty and temperament have always been admired by this one. A man tells Princess Rushue that he can't think of anyone or anything in this world that is worthy for her. A group of people look shocked, while Princess Rushue stares with wide eyes, seemingly speechless. An exclamation point punctuates the moment as Princess Rushue's expression intensifies. A man presents a demon beast egg to Princess Rushue, hoping it will be to her liking, purchased from the Hou Empire. The mention of a demon beast egg has caught everyone's attention. Demon beasts are the fiercest things on Tianwu. Many have tried to tame a demon beast to increase their strength, but most failed. The beasts have a cruel and violent nature. Eventually, someone came up with a different, more effective method. Get a demon beast egg and stay with it. Care for it and feed it. Because the demon beast grew up with you, it will be extremely loyal. Once this method became known, the value of demon eggs skyrocketed. Young people nowadays really go all out when flirting, one man thinks, covering his face with his hand. Princess Rushue holds the golden demon beast egg in her hands, her expression unreadable as she looks at it. Li Yanxiao looks on, thinking that the demon beast egg isn't fake, but what's the use of an already dead demon beast egg? Meng Wu, looking annoyed, asks if it is to eat, clearly not understanding the value of the egg. The inside of the egg is already rotten, so it's inedible, a voice says, though the speaker is not shown. A man in white stands on a platform, his back to the viewer as he speaks to the group assembled before him. Li Yanxiao's face is tight with anger as he questions the value of the egg. The man in white continues to address the group, while a woman in white argues with him. Li Yanxiao is warned to be careful with what he says and to not make wild claims without evidence. The man holding the egg states that both the demon egg's color and his divine sense point to the fact that it's a dead egg. The man explains that the 10 dragon eye pearls are a gift for his little sister Rushue, wishing her the best in her marriage. The speaker declares that the 10 supreme-grade primordial stones are a gift for Commander Luo, wishing him the best in becoming a martial king soon. The speaker notes that although they can't afford the astronomical price of moon pearls from the EC, what's most shocking is the supreme-grade primordial stones. A woman with red hair and glasses thinks that although dragonite pearls are precious, they're like mud when compared to supreme-grade primordial stones. The woman with red hair is described as not only one of the 5 commanders of the State Guardians, but also a prodigy and martial lord, with a limitless future. Liu Yunxiang reflects on his infatuation with Yunxiang and his repeated rejections. He wonders if this gift will finally win her over. Yunxiang, however, cannot accept the first prince's gift, deeming it too much. She stands with her back to the gift-bearer. Yunxiang slams his fist on the table, frustrated that Yunxiang still doesn't understand his feelings for her. He is clearly agitated. Before the entire court, Qin Yang proposes to Yunxiang, asking for her hand in marriage. Yunxiang looks on with a surprised expression. Yunxiang is beside himself, realizing that he has been rejected again. He can't believe it after coming so far. Yunxiang knows he is not worthy of Yunxiang, but he believes everyone else in Tianshui is even more unworthy of her. He is lovesick. Yunxiang demands to know who has captured Yunxiang's heart, vowing to challenge him to a fight. His face is contorted with rage. Yunxiang stands with her back turned, seemingly unaware of the turmoil she has caused. Qin Yang, the Tianshui emperor, remains silent, his expression unreadable as he observes the unfolding drama. The Tianshui emperor's hands rest on the arms of his throne, his grip firm as he listens to Yunxiang's outburst. Yunxiang declares that if he can beat the man who has captured Yunxiang's heart, he will put this matter to rest. Others look on, intrigued. Yunxiang, seemingly oblivious to the drama unfolding around her, hears someone call out to her. 15 years prior, someone had asked her a question. Back then, she was only 5, ignorant about love. She would cultivate without worries at the Shunxiao Temple on Snowfall Peak. One day, her master returned from a trip down mountain. It was as if she had changed into a completely different person. Even the disciple she doted on the most was constantly punished. She would often hear her master grit her teeth, muttering a certain person's name. She wanted to know who exactly made her master cry. She planned to get stronger and beat the sh*t out of that person. After a while, she learned his name. His name was Gu Feiyang. The 9-5 Sovereign Pill is one of the 9 supreme pills, one of the best in the world. It contains the 9-5 hexagrammic laws of heaven. The Shunxiao Temple has issued a decree. Who would dare disobey? Palace Master Chu, why give such a great gift? Just say what needs to be done, and we'll carry it out. The Shunxiao Temple only has around a dozen of 9-5 sovereign pills. She's inviting them all to help her fight, offering the pills as a suitable exchange for their assistance. Even a martial sovereign will receive huge benefits after consuming it. Tianwu Continent's #1 beauty, Nine Heavens Realm martial sovereign Shunxiao's Palace Master Chu Hongyan. Palace Master Chu is too generous. His cultivation has currently reached a bottleneck. With this 9-5 sovereign pill, he'll certainly break through. To deal with Gu Feiyong, Palace Master Chu actually gave up 10 9-5 sovereign pills. Isn't this a little too much? It's just Gu Feiyong. Luan Juanhao warned someone to not be careless, seemingly confident in their preparations. The bandage man explains that he was in seclusion cultivating a mystical art and missed the rankings. Now that he has achieved mastery, he worries there is no one worthy to test it on. Luan Juanhao asks if the bandage man is saying he can handle Gu Feiyong. The bandage man replies that he will try his best, but it would be safer if everyone attacks together. Luan Juanhao wonders what mystical art the bandage man could have possibly cultivated to actually believe he can best Gu Feiyong. A man stands with his arms outstretched, declaring the Great Ganji Seal. He wonders if anyone has ever heard of it. The man who declared the Great Ganji Seal stands with Luan Juanhao and the bandage man. They are discussing Gu Feiyong. The man who declared the Great Ganji Seal says that it is the Ganji's martial sovereign's supreme art. He boasts that his indestructible golden body will be flattened under his Great Ganji Seal. Sikenhai laughs, saying he was originally worried, but now that Brother Juanhao has mastered the Great Ganji Seal, his worries have been put to rest. He claims to have found a 9th-grade Xian weapon, the revolving spear. Wen Guoho states that all 10 of them are martial sovereigns, including Palace Master Chu, not to mention Gu Feiyong. Even the top 3 from the Heaven and Earth power chart wouldn't make it out alive. Shen Feizhou says that his only worry is that Gu Feiyong knows that they've all gathered and that he's too scared to come. Meanwhile, the narrator states that no man would ever dare take even a single step inside the Shunxiao Temple uninvited. So many men have gathered on Snowfall Peak. Such a thing has never happened before. The Shunxiao Temple, a renowned immortal paradise, sits atop Snowfall Peak, located at the end of the sky, on the border of heaven, in a sea of clouds. The man with the turban dismisses the idea of Gu Feiyong being a threat. The winged man with red hair seems to agree, confident in their numbers. They believe Gu Feiyong is no match for them. The white-haired figure pauses, considering a possibility. He wonders aloud if Gu Feiyong might seek assistance before confronting them, a question that hangs in the air. The red-haired man exclaims that even if Gu Feiyong invited 10 martial sovereigns, they would still win. Yi Yuan seems surprised by the confidence. A woman with long, dark hair listens intently, a subtle smile playing on her lips. She believes Gu Feiyong will not receive any help. The winged man questions the palace master's confidence. The woman's expression remains serene, hinting at a deeper understanding of the situation. Her gaze is intense, her red eyes gleaming with an inner light. She knows something the others do not, a secret that fuels her unwavering assurance. A figure descends rapidly from the sky, creating a powerful gust of wind. The arrival is imminent, the atmosphere charged with anticipation. The descent continues, the figure now visible against the backdrop of the temple. A voice declares that he is already here. The wind howls around the structure, its source still unseen. Inside, a figure wonders if Palace Master Chu Hongyan could be mistaken. Her eyes glowing, the woman declares that she is not mistaken. The assembled group wonders about the ascending wind, unaware of the power gathering around them. The wind intensifies, rushing through the halls with increasing force. The structure groans under the pressure as the wind continues to build. The assembled group exclaims as the ascent of the wind and clouds becomes undeniable. The great wind and cloud palm manifests, a colossal force taking shape. The heavens stir as the power of the wind and clouds reaches its peak. The force is immense, a testament to the power unleashed. Everyone, attack together. Don't falter, he shouts, urging his allies forward. Another warrior charges forward, heaven's spear at the ready, determined to blast through. Various techniques are unleashed, including Frost Finger and Buddha's Hand. Mystic art, Frozen Fist, Dragon art, Primordial Seal, and War art, Sword of Flame join the fray. The combined attacks converge, forming a swirling vortex of power. The vortex intensifies, a chaotic mix of energy and martial prowess. A blinding light erupts, consuming everything in its path. The warrior lies defeated, questioning the difference in strength between them. Chu Hongyan stands tall, her back to the defeated warriors. A slight smile graces her face as she thinks, he's still so handsome. A cloud of smoke rises, obscuring the aftermath of the battle. The battlefield hangs suspended in the clouds, a testament to power. A single eye reflects the aftermath, the weight of what has transpired. The red-haired woman's eyes widen in shock, a silent exclamation escaping her lips. A figure stands amidst the clouds, his presence commanding and resolute. The text declares, Nine Heavens Realm Marshal, Sovereign Gu Feiyang. He stands over fallen foes, the battle's cost evident. The woman's lips are parted, perhaps about to speak, or perhaps simply breathing hard. One figure asks if all of this was really necessary. Another wonders who she has danced for, who overturned the world for her. A tear streaks down a face, a silent testament to the pain and loss. The woman with dark hair asks if she can dance for him one last time. The man with blonde hair and red streaks states simply, "You've lost." One figure admits they lost a long time ago. Another chuckles, a sinister sound. The woman is in motion, perhaps dancing, perhaps attacking. Li Yunxiao stands defiant, surrounded by masked figures. They declare he is no match for them, questioning how he can possibly win. Xu Hongyan explains that she invited 10 people to deplete his primordial qi. She scoffs at the idea that those pieces of trash could withstand a single move. With a surge of power, Li Yunxiao ascends into the air, ready to face his opponents. "Let begin," echoes. The masked figures stand in formation, their faces obscured. They are ready to engage Li Yunxiao in battle. The masked figures are surrounded by glowing rings, their power amplified. A palpable tension fills the air as they prepare to strike. A surge of purple energy emanates, a visual representation of the power about to be unleashed. The array of purple stars intensifies, a sign of the ancient power being invoked. The air crackles with anticipation. Li Yunxiao faces one of his opponents, who expresses their determination to kill him. The air vibrates with magical energy. Li Yunxiao soars through the air, dodging attacks. The purple energy intensifies around him. One of the masked figures explains that the Shunxiao Temple's protection array has existed for tens of thousands of years, but hasn't been used for 1,000 years. Xu Hongyan declares Li Yunxiao an unfilial disciple, relying on the array and the sword of Purple Night. Li Yunxiao is targeted by a powerful attack. His enemy vows to kill Gu Feiyang. Streaks of green, yellow, and purple energy collide against a backdrop of jagged, mountainous terrain. The array of purple stars draws power, and under the stars, one reigns supreme on Snowfall Peak. Elsewhere, Gu Feiyang plummets downward, a fiery aura surrounding him as he falls through the sky. A figure stands tall, long blonde hair flowing as golden energy emanates from their body. The man, with a stern expression, says, "Old friend, I'll leave this to you." The scene shifts, showing a combination of the previous events, the energy clashes, and the falling figure. A figure is engulfed in a swirling vortex of orange and blue energy, ready to strike. The figure's face is partially obscured by the light, but their eyes burn with intensity as they prepare to transcend the world. A figure with a purple aura declares, "Purple Night, frost for thee. Seek one's demons." The sword of Purple Night seeks its target, ready to unleash its power. A young woman with red hair looks up, a sudden realization dawning. Her vision focuses, the memory of a powerful force overwhelming her senses. Endure. Her brow furrows, the weight of the past pressing down on her. She struggles to recall. A figure appears in her mind's eye, extremely handsome, wielding a radiant blade. The memory sharpens, the image of Gu Feiyang becoming clearer. Just another. The vision blurs, the edges of the memory fading. Just another look. The image flickers, the memory fragmented and incomplete. Another look. The girl recalls the end of her memory, the palace master going into closed cultivation. She remembers leaving the Shunxiao Temple, wandering the continent with a goal. The news spread that Gu Feiyang had fallen, his reputation soaring before his demise. But soon, she couldn't believe it, arriving in Tianshui, questioning how such a man could die. She decided to stay in Jialan Academy, drawn to the most vivid statue of Gu Feiyang. Luo Yunxiang gazes down at the scene below, her expression thoughtful as she observes the gathering. She recalls the day of the arena fight, the presence of the fighter identical to Gu Feiyang's statue. It's a pity that he isn't him. A man looks on, confused by her words. Another man, overhearing, demands to know who she is talking about. The man is told that he is already dead. He can only respond with a disbelieving, "Dead." The man is told that it doesn't matter who he is, since he's already dead. The man asks what he did to capture her heart to such an extent. Luo Yunxiang declares that others can also capture her heart, if they listen up. In the Soul Formation Sea, he refined a superb Xian weapon, the Star Slaughterer. He became the youngest rank 9 sovereign alchemist and the honorary elder of the Alchemist Guild. He eliminated one of the 3 superpowers of the continent, massacred the sea for a friend, and suppressed the masses in the Holy Realm. He seized the 3rd place on the Heaven and Earth power chart and received the martial sovereign title of Vanquisher. In Snowfall Peak, he traded the clouds, defeating 10 martial sovereigns in a single move. The world's #1 beauty, the palace master of the Shunxiao Temple, Xu Hongyan, was unable to move his heart. There's too much to tell. Luo Yunxiang asks if they now know who captured her heart. As long as they can do 1% of what he's done, she, Luo Yunxiang, will marry them. The man's eyes dart upward as he declares that everyone present knows of the deceased, who passed away 15 years ago. He seems to be trying to convince himself. Declaring that she is tired, Luo Yunxiang takes her leave. She descends the stairs, while a figure in red walks away from the assembled crowd, offering his apologies. Meanwhile, the woman in the white dress stands alongside the man in the red robe. Below, a group of onlookers watch the scene unfold with varying expressions of shock and awe. Elsewhere, Li Yunxiao stares ahead, a golden cup held in his hand. His expression is unreadable as he contemplates the scene before him. The girl seems surprised by something, while the boy appears deep in thought, a string of unspoken words hanging in the air. Commander Luo, seated regally, declares that he is not feeling well and instructs everyone to continue without him. A close-up reveals the man's inner thoughts. If Commander Luo had agreed to the marriage proposal, Qiang would have gained tremendous power. Amidst the ongoing discussion, a figure decides it's time to present a gift, hoping to sway the situation in their favor. The man presents his offering, but another voice interrupts, hinting that something else is amiss, something the master should know. The conversation shifts to a mysterious woman and the statue in Jialan Academy, which they believe is of Lord Gu Feiyang, Lord Yang Di's master. One of the group exclaims that it was him, while another coughs, and a third is shocked that he rejected the #1 beauty in the world. The man, agitated, declares that they don't know anything, and that it's all about keeping your options open. The group continues to speculate, one suggesting he's either an idiot or gay, while another agrees, adding that they've never seen Xinxiao's palace master. The man scolds the others for being disrespectful towards a legendary martial artist, while the woman beside him demands respect for her ass. The figure with the dark eyes is being discussed by onlookers. They believe he is stronger and more fierce than them. Li Yunxiao is confronted by a woman in a white dress. She demands to know if he prepared a gift for her. Two figures whisper amongst themselves. They question why they came to eat and what gift is being discussed. Another figure remarks that someone seems to have forgotten their gift. He asks if they're a moocher. Li Yunxiao scoffs at the accusation of being a moocher. He is then asked to show his gift quickly. A figure instructs someone to take out the gift they prepared, noting that everyone is watching. Another figure says that Yunxiao saved Ru Xue. A figure walks away, thinking about playing the zither to celebrate the princess's health. He already knows that he possesses nothing good to give her. Someone asks who would want to listen to a poor man play the zither. Another figure is told to know their place, but someone else wants to listen. A man laments the huge amounts of gold spent on gifts. He notes that the princess is happy with the performance. A zither sits on a stand, surrounded by people. The scene is bathed in a warm, golden light. Duke Jinghua was a military man, and General Feilong was skilled in martial arts. Someone didn't expect that one of their descendants could play music. A figure plays the zither, their hair flowing in the wind. The sound of the instrument fills the air. The zither hums with building energy. Below, a man's eyes widen, startled. Believe it, booms a mustached man, as Li Yunxiao's performance takes hold. The music swells, the air itself vibrating with unseen force as he plays. The melody extends beyond the instrument, rippling through a pond teeming with life. Magical butterflies flutter around the zither, drawn to the music's enchanting power. Two children watch in awe. The music is identified as guangling. Melody, someone exclaims, as the magical butterflies dance around a pointing finger. His eyes reflect the power of the music, a deep focus within them. The zither player is surrounded by blooming flowers and magical butterflies. The music continues to swell, the flowers blooming in response to the melody. Meanwhile, panic erupts in the palace. Your Majesty, flowers are blooming in the courtyard. The courtiers are shocked. What? How are flowers blooming in the middle of the night? A spring breeze carries the scent of countless blossoms, a guangling melody in full bloom. The flowers bloom under the moonlight, a sight so pretty it takes their breath away. It's a pity teacher Luo already left. The listener reflects on the experience, the lingering notes of the guangling melody still resonating within them. Legend says that when Gu Feiyang and Chu Hongyan first met, this guangling melody was played in the purple bamboo forest. He didn't expect to have the great fortune of listening to such a piece, the music weaving through the blooming flowers. Seriously, this heavenly melody should only be found in the heavens, yet few mortals have heard it. Back then, the forest was covered in frost, but upon hearing the melody, the flower's spirit awoke. Who have I danced for? The man with the long beard laments the state of music, declaring the court musicians worthless. Another man, with long dark hair, questions the value of musical skill. The woman with blue hair scoffs, unimpressed by the gifts given to the princess. Commander Zhao's companion questions his harsh words, but he insists that the melody must be heard again. Commander Xiao explains that certain conditions are needed to play the heavenly melody. The blue-haired woman blushes, flattered to be compared to the #1 beauty in the world. Commander Xiao states he has prepared gifts for Commander Luo and Princess Rushue, as well as a small gift for himself. Young Master Li claims he has done nothing to deserve a gift. Commander Xiao offers a water dragon eye pill, explaining that he acquired it after hearing of young Master Li's injuries. Commander Xiao orders Fang Zhen to bring out the pill and present it to young Master Li. Rank 1 alchemist Fang Zhen presents the glowing pill, promising expedited cultivation. The king recalls that Li Yi found a cure with the water dragon eye pill. A servant expresses his wishes, his face betraying a hidden agenda. The king declares that Princess Rushue will marry Li Yi, causing her to exclaim in shock. The king thinks that he needs to obtain a high status, and Princess Rushue is quite beautiful. The king states that he truly likes Princess Rushue, asking her father to fulfill his wish. The king tells Rushue that this isn't up to her to decide, his expression stern. The king believes Li Yi marrying Rushue will put his heart at ease, and he'll also use Li Yi to tie down the Li family. Princess Rushue's eyes widen in shock and disbelief at the king's decision. Rushue reflects on the fact that the one who doted on her the most is her father. With a defiant yell, Princess Rushue hurls the offered pill away. She declares she doesn't want this, her face a mask of anger. A cracking sound echoes through the hall as the crowd looks on in stunned silence. The murmurs begin to rise. It was a rotten egg. A figure stands atop the shattered remains of the egg, the air thick with an acrid stench. Princess Rushue points accusingly, her voice laced with betrayal. You see, he gave me that. How can you say he truly loves me? One of the onlookers comments that a demon egg is rare and precious, questioning how one can appraise its quality. He believes Li Yi was also fooled. Princess Rushue stands before the emperor, listening as one of his advisors claims that one mistake won't obscure Li Yi's great service. Tears welling in her eyes, Princess Rushue declares that she hereby declares something. The princess is reminded of the water dragon eye pill. The crowd reacts with shock as Princess Rushue declares the pill is fake. An official states that presenting a fake pill in front of all the officials and His Majesty is a sin punishable by death. Princess Rushue's eyes widen in disbelief, whispering that the pill is fake. Princess Rushue demands that her father behead someone, while another man claims Li Yunxiao spent a fortune to buy that sixth-grade pill. He asks what this slander is. She stands beside the emperor as Sir Liang addresses him. He admits that the pill does not appear to be fake, but a sixth-grade pill is beyond his understanding. Li Yunxiao is challenged to provide evidence that the pill is fake. He explains that while the pill isn't inherently poisonous, it will produce a deadly poison upon contact with blood. A kneeling man dismisses Li Yunxiao's words as nonsense. He suggests that if General Xiao takes the pill and recovers, it will prove the pill is real. Li Yunxiao proposes testing the pill. A woman argues that a sixth-grade pill is too precious to waste on a test, especially since they can't afford it. Li Yunxiao counters that they will find a dog to ingest the pill. If the dog dies, the pill is poisonous. If the dog lives, the pill is fine. The emperor approves of the idea. He demands that someone bring over a dog to test the pill's effects immediately. A woman, her face contorted in anger, demands to know who has such gall to question the emperor's judgment. The woman demands to know why he won't use his own blood. She accuses him of starting the whole thing. The man's face contorts in anger. He demands to know what she just called him, his eyes narrowed. Li Yunxiao stands calmly as a young boy runs toward him. The boy announces his arrival, calling him young master. Li Yunxiao is greeted by a crowd of people. They bow and call him predecessor as he looks on with a blank expression. Two men discuss the Li family situation, noting that it is starting to get messy. Meanwhile, Li Yunxiao instructs the boy, number 8, to drop some blood on a pill. Number 8 questions if it's enough blood, but Li Yunxiao insists it's just a drop and demands more. The boy looks like he is about to cry. Li Yunxiao kicks number 8 away, sending him flying. He explains that the pill will become a deadly poison upon touching blood. Two men stand in a courtyard, discussing the origin of all poisons. One man explains that even a rank 9 alchemist couldn't diffuse the poison. Li Yunxiao tells someone to wait and get out. He orders them to let the guard come, his expression stern. Li Yunxiao gestures for someone to come. A man in a black cloak stands nearby, awaiting instructions. A glowing orb hovers before the wolf, drawing its curious sniff. The wolf stands before the man, a question mark floating above its head as one declares there seem to be no problems. A man's face fills the frame, his expression one of utter shock. Princess Rushue, seated on her throne, vows to protect Li Yunxiao's life, even if it means accepting the marriage. A man points, declaring that today shall be someone's death. With arms crossed, a man looks on, surrounded by others who watch with varying degrees of concern. The man's eyes widen, his face contorted in a silent scream of disbelief. The wolf lies dead, and a man kneels beside it, questioning the poisoned state of the animal. Standing before a massive moon, a figure demands to be told something. Accusations fly as a woman points at a man, convinced he hid the real dog and replaced it. Amidst a feast, the atmosphere is soured by the presence of the dead dog, as people demand the real one be brought forth. A man on a throne reflects on how easily the strife within their Leaf family would be fixed. The man in the ornate red hat declares that the Leaf family must be locked away. He seems enraged by recent events. One of his advisors suggests a more permanent solution. He insists that Li Yunxiao and his entire family should be killed. The advisors whisper amongst themselves, questioning the emperor's motives. They wonder if he has other plans for the Li family. A man with a distinctive red beard announces that his old injuries are acting up. He states that he must take his leave. The emperor tells General Xiao to take care of himself. He promises to send 100 nourishing pills to the Xiao mansion. A woman asks General Xiao to slow down. She offers to examine his injuries, concerned for his well-being. The emperor suggests that General Xiao might be able to cure Princess Rushiwe's 5 pulses of inexhaustion. He seems desperate for a solution. Meanwhile, Li Yunxiao sits in a meditative pose, his hands glowing with power. He appears to be using some kind of ability. The ability is identified as Divine Sense, a network of glowing blue and gold energy. A meeting is underway, with many people in attendance. General Xiao stands out in his red attire. General Xiao leans in, asking the boy how it is. He seems to be inquiring about something specific. Li Yunxiao's eyes widen in surprise. He seems shocked by what he has discovered. He sits opposite an older man with a long red beard, who questions him. Several figures stand behind the older man, observing the exchange. The older man continues to probe, asking about acupuncture points and qi dissipation. Li Yunxiao responds affirmatively to each question, confirming the man's suspicions. Silence descends as the gravity of the situation settles between Li Yunxiao and the red-bearded man. The older man is impressed, calling the youth's words spot on. He then notices Li Yunxiao eating and asks why he's doing so. Li Yunxiao continues to eat, seemingly unconcerned by the older man's questions. He claims he was just asking casual questions. Dead silence. The onlookers watch as Li Yunxiao eats, the sound of his chewing echoing in the tense atmosphere. The older man, clearly agitated, says that no one has ever swaggered to him like this before. He asks what else he should call the protagonist besides Kid. Without warning, Li Yunxiao throws the contents of his cup at the older man, declaring that he should be called Young Master Yun. Close up on the older man's face, contorted with rage. He demands to know if the protagonist knows who he is talking to. Li Yunxiao continues to eat, stating that no one has ever dared to call themselves Young Master in front of him. He adds that he is not forcing the older man to call him that. The older man, now furious, tells him to shut up and stuff his mouth. The onlookers are visibly shocked by the exchange. A shadowy figure looms, observing the scene from above, their intentions unknown. He stands, towering over Li Yunxiao, who remains unfazed by the display of anger. The room is draped in heavy fabrics, obscuring the details of the space. Yunxiang takes a sip of his tea, but his eyes burn with fury. His face contorts in rage, his red mustache bristling with barely contained anger. A man in red stands at a table laden with food and drink, the atmosphere thick with anticipation. Li Yunxiao raises a cup, the liquid inside swirling gently as he observes the scene before him. The protagonist's expression is unreadable as he listens to the murmurs of the crowd, their words laced with a mixture of fear and excitement. 2 men discuss Li Yunxiao, one calling him crazy, the other hoping for his sake, given the reputation of his grandfather. The man in red throws his head back and roars with laughter, the sound echoing through the hall. With a swift motion, the man strikes Li Chunyang's descendant across the face, the force of the blow evident. The crowd watches in stunned silence, wondering how Xiao Qingwang could become such a pushover. Yunxiang leans in, inquiring if there's a way to cure his injuries, his expression a mix of concern and veiled amusement. Yunxiang retorts that the slap just now broke his shoulder blade, accusing Li Yunxiao of doing it on purpose before asking if he has thought of a treatment. Yunxiang insists they drink first, promising to discuss the treatment later, declaring that he shall get drunk with him today. The men discuss Li Yunxiao, acknowledging his talent. They realize they can no longer underestimate him, recognizing him as more than just the laughingstock of the Li family. Yunxiang reflects on his recent loss. He admits that he feels a little better about losing to him now, acknowledging Li Yunxiao's growing strength. A bird's eye view shows a gathering of people. They stand on a large, ornate platform, their robes flowing around them as they listen intently. A woman calls out to Li Yunxiao. Her expression is urgent, her eyes wide with concern as she shouts his name across the distance. Li Yunxiao acknowledges the woman's call. He tells her not to mention it, stating that it was the least he could do for her. The woman is flustered. In the background, Commander Xiao is told that he will be informed once a solution is found, and that he better not forget. One man comments that the poison hasn't been that bad. Another man asks how he knew the water dragon eye pill was poisonous, as they stand near a cloaked figure. Another man praises Yunxiang. He asks how he knew just from glancing at it, while another confirms that it wasn't poisonous, but a real water dragon eye pill. 3 men react with surprise. Li Yunxiao tells them not to speak there, and that they will talk while on the move, his expression serious. Li Yunxiao explains Meng Bai's heaven and earth body to the group. They stand outside a large building, the atmosphere tense with anticipation. One man calls Yunxiang ballsy. He is told that he dared to do such a trick in front of so many people, and that one wrong move would have been the end for him. A man with a lantern asks if he is the young master of a Li family, Yunxiao. The group stands in the background, their faces obscured by the shadows. A figure stands in the center of a courtyard, surrounded by guards. A message is being sent to invite young Master Yun for a talk. Li Yunxiao states that it is already dark and he is sleepy. He seems uninterested in whatever is being proposed. The guards stand in formation as he walks away, seemingly dismissing the invitation. Golden leaves fall around him. Tianshui's second prince, Qinyu, believes he is worthy of becoming young Master Yun's friend. He awaits Yunxiang's presence. It is the middle of the night, but Li Yunxiao declares that he will pass on the offer. He waves his hand dismissively. A voice urges him not to be so hasty, boasting of an entourage of maids. Each one as pretty as a flower. They will pour wine and sing while they drink. Two women stand ready with a bottle and cup, awaiting the arrival of their guest. They're dressed in ornate robes. Li Yunxiao, now intrigued, responds that now they are talking. He seems to have changed his mind.